On day 1, I spawned into the prairie as an awesome Venom Dragon! Whoa! That must be what happens when an alien symbiote fuses with a dragon! I wonder what awesome powers this will give me! But I didn't have much time to think about what awesome powers being a symbiote-infused dragon would get me, because I suddenly saw a small group of heavily armored royal guards running towards me! Uh-oh, those guys look a little sinister! I should get out of here! I turned and ran as far from the royal guards as I could, but I was only a baby Venom Dragon with 10 hearts, so I didn't have that much energy. Still, I was able to outrun the royal guards and stop to rest. Jeez, I just got here, and already I've got gangs of armored goons running after me. What's going on here?
Your capture is going on here, knave.
I turned and saw one of the royal guards standing right behind me. I haven't done anything wrong.
Trespassing and suspicious behavior. Our master, the Chief Evoker, demands that we take in any possible accomplices of the Accursed One.
Accursed One? I've never even heard of him.
Oh, forgive me for not believing that. Come with me right now, little Venom Dragon, or I'll be forced to call in reinforcements, and they're a lot less kind than me.
At my current tiny strength, I had no choice but to go with him. On day 2, the royal guard who'd captured me took me back to a base somewhere in the prairie. There was a small structure that seemed like a headquarters and a large walled courtyard protected by a secured door. What is this place? Is this where that Chief Evoker guy lives?
The Chief Evoker is in a different biome, trying to build alliances with other factions so we can ally against the Accursed One. We will keep you in our storage center until he returns.
I promise, I've never heard of the Accursed One. Can't you just take my word for it?
The Chief Evoker has a good sense for the content of people's souls. When he returns, he will judge your worthiness.
He didn't tell me anything after that. He just locked me inside the courtyard, where I was trapped with a fungus thrower.
Hey, bub. Name's Bogey. What are you in for?
I'm Zozo, and honestly, I'm not even really sure why I'm here. I guess because I thought I had something to do with this guy they call the Accursed One. How about you?
I'm in here because I don't like authority. The Accursed One, the Chief Evoker, doesn't matter. I don't think anyone should tell anyone what to do for no good reason.
Can't say that I'm keen on them right now either. Before we do anything else, I need to get us out of this place.
I'm open to ideas, fella. I've been in here for 3 weeks. I think I'm starting to go insane.
Bogey's insanity aside, there was still hope here. I waited until nightfall, and then I put my plan into action. I have wings. Maybe, just maybe. I focused really hard until my wings started to carry me upwards. I flew up and out of the courtyard and then landed next to the door outside. I opened it and freed Bogey.
You're a real one, Zozo. I hope we meet again someday.
We both ran off in different directions, relieved that the royal guards hadn't noticed our daring escape. On day 3, I took flight and sailed through the sky above the prairie. Everything below me looked so tiny. It was breathtaking. I felt like I could do it forever. But I couldn't, as I suddenly realized that my hunger bar was looking uncomfortably low. I needed to get back on the ground and quickly get some food. I landed and started searching for fruit or some animals. That's when I happened upon an apple tree and gathered apples. I tasted them and they poisoned me. I guess a dragon only eats meat. Apples, me no likey. I decided to stay on the ground and rest my wings for a bit when I heard huge, thundering footsteps somewhere in the distance. It was way too loud to be one of the royal guards from earlier. Who could that be? I should check it out. I quickly ran over until I saw a massive figure strolling across the prairie. A giant, tough, redstone golem. Whoa, he's so big. I bet nobody messes with him.
You're right about that, kid.
Oh, you could hear me?
I can hear a lot. Just because I'm big and tough, people assume I can't be smart and perceptive too. But I'm the whole package. My name's Red. How about you?
I'm Zozo, and a lot of people have been giving me trouble lately. Can you teach me how to be big and tough like you?
Sure thing, Zozo. So long as you pay me back. Follow me. I'm sure I can teach you a thing or two.
From day 4 to day 5, the redstone golem led me to his home biome, the Red Desert.
Fun fact, it's named after me, Red. I'm just that cool, you know?
Whoa, you're awesome, Red! I'm so happy you're my friend. He led me back to his base and gave me a stone sword and a stone pickaxe.
Take these and go make your own place. Red's a lone wolf. Well, a lone golem. You get the idea. First step of learning to stand up for yourself. is learning to fend for yourself. Make yourself a base, and then we'll talk about making you big and tough, like me.
Sure thing, Red. I took the stone sword and stone pickaxe and flew across the red desert, where I started gathering materials to build myself a cool base of my own. It was quite a sight to look at. A beautiful clock tower home I made. It felt good to have something I could call my own. I'm the Venom Dragon, and with help from Red, I'm gonna become the coolest creature in the overworld. I may have yelled that I was the Venom Dragon a little too loudly though, as a small group of royal guards appeared and came running towards me. Oh no, it's time to fight! I pulled out my stone sword and ran in to battle the royal guards. It wasn't easy, but my pure willpower saw me through. I defeated the royal guard detachment and gained enough XP in the process to level up. I got bigger, stronger, went up to 30 hearts, and gained a new power, Venom Breath. Oh man, Red is gonna think this is so cool. I can't wait to show him. From day 6 to day 8, I continued to test out my powers, blowing flames onto trees and cactuses to test their strength. Feels good to finally have some power. Some firepower! Is that even a joke? Oh gosh, who knows? But during my fire practice, I happened to run into an old friend, Bogey the fungus thrower. Hey Bogey, how's it hanging?
Been better, been worse. Say, have you had any luck finding that Accursed One? I've been on the lookout. I need to find a new authority to rebel against while the Evoker is still out of town.
Does the Accursed One count as an authority? I'm still not really sure what his whole deal is.
I've been asking around a lot lately. Turns out, he's been causing trouble around here for years. He's rolled through towns, and they've disappeared that same night. He rarely ever leaves survivors, so it's hard to know who he is and what he looks like.
Well, that's worrying. I think I know exactly who to ask about this. I flew over to my good buddy Red and told him everything that Bogey had told me. He immediately knew what I was talking about and had a great idea.
Yeah, I've heard about this Accursed One. He's a tough customer. Pretty cool, apparently, but obviously evil, too. I've heard that his true power comes from a bunch of dangerous magic users. One of them is the Windcaller. He lives in the Red Oak Forest not far from here. You want my advice? Go take him out. The Accursed One won't like that.
From day 9 to day 10, I flew straight to the Red Oak Forest, searching for the Windcaller, the first magic user who helped prop up the power of the Accursed One. If I can defeat him, it'll bring me one step closer to defeating the Accursed One himself. When I spotted the Windcaller, I immediately flew down towards him and landed a few feet away. He did not seem happy to see me, to say the least.
Get away from me, please! I don't want to fight. I don't want any trouble.
That excuse won't work on me, Windcaller. I know the truth about the Accursed One. You're going down!
The Accursed One? You think you know the truth? You arrogant little dragon! I'll show you how little you really know!
He fired an energy blast at me, and the fight was on. The Windcaller was a formidable opponent because of his magic use, but in the end, I was able to take him down thanks to a combination of Venom Breath and Sword Strikes. Sadly, I lost a lot of hearts in the process. Less sadly, Bogey appeared soon after and let me drink one of his healing potions to regenerate my lost health. Bogey, I can't thank you enough. Why are you here? Were you just following me around?
Nah, man. I just been told the Windcaller was the right man to speak to about finding the Accursed One. But I guess you beat me to him.
He attacked me first, and besides, Red told me to.
You shouldn't let other people tell you what to do and think, Zozo. At least not without questioning why first.
Come on, Bogey, it's fine. Red has my best interests at heart, I think. From day 11 to day 12, I returned back to Red at his awesome base to tell him that I'd defeated the Windcaller in the Red Oak Forest.
Good work, Zozo, good work. Bet you're feeling tougher already, right? Just like I told you, if you listen to your boy Red, everything will turn out all right.
It just felt a little weird though. It didn't seem like he wanted to fight. Isn't that a little strange? Especially if he used to work for that Accursed One guy?
Don't be a dum-dum, Zozo. He just told you that to try to trick you. You can't trust everything that people say. People lie to get what they want literally all the time. Except me, of course. I'm old school.
Fair enough, Red. What do you want me to do next?
There are more magic users out there who want to help that big, probably handsome Accursed One jerk. In the end, you can destroy that evoker. But first, you need to go back to the Red Oak Forest and take out the Geomancer. Upgrade your gear first, though. He's a tricky customer.
On Red's advice, I explored until I found a deep, dark cave, and followed it until I discovered a rich vein of iron ore. This is exactly what I needed. I mined enough iron ore to make the equipment I needed, then created an underground furnace to smelt it all. Soon enough, I had an iron pickaxe, iron sword, and iron helmet. Just in case of a flying accident, my head is protected. Remember to always wear a helmet when riding. But on the way out of the cave, I found another royal guard blocking my path.
I found you! The evoker has returned to the base, and he requests an audience with you!
Oh, I'll see the evoker soon enough, but I won't be going with you! With a powerful burst of venom breath, the royal guard was gone. From day 13 to day 15, I returned to the Red Oak Forest, flying through the trees and keeping my eyes peeled for the geomancer that Red wanted me to find. It took until nightfall to find him, where I discovered him by the light of his campfire. He was just standing next to it, trying to stay warm. Rather than attacking him straight away, I hesitated, remembering that the wind caller didn't want to fight me, or at least said that he didn't. Maybe I should at least try to talk to him first. That's the least I could do. So I descended onto the ground and approached the geomancer. When he saw me, he didn't seem to be bothered.
Hello, stranger. It's getting cold. Why don't you come over and warm yourself?
I approached the fire and felt its warmth. The geomancer didn't seem aggressive at all. I had no idea why Red wanted me to destroy him. Mind if I ask you a personal question?
I don't see any harm in it.
Do you have anything to do with the thing they called the Accursed One? There was a long pause before the geomancer replied.
The Accursed One is one of my greatest mistakes. It was me, the wind caller, and the evoker that created him. He was meant to be a weapon for good, but he developed a mind of his own. We have no control over him anymore. He's the monster we created.
Something about this whole conversation unsettled me. I didn't know what to believe anymore. I needed to talk to Red as soon as possible. I left the geomancer to his own devices and flew away. From day 16 to day 19, I flew back to the Red Desert and returned to Red's base. But to my surprise, he wasn't there. Instead, I found a note left by Red, simply reading, "I'm going to do what you should have done. Don't contact me again. We're done, Zozo." It was a devastating note to see. But before I could even properly process this, a familiar person came walking up behind me. It was Bogey. Bogey, what are you doing here?
I was about to ask you the same thing. I'd come here to pick a fight with that Accursed One guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I asked around. Some big stone guy around here is that Accursed One you told me about. I figured I'd come down here and beat him up.
Big stone guy? That sounds like... Oh no, I need to get back to the Red Oak Forest. I took flight again and flew back to the camp at the Red Oak Forest as quickly as I could. But when I reached the camp, the fire was out, the geomancer was gone, and only Red remained. Red, are you?
The Accursed One? Duh! I'm amazed it took you this long to figure it out. I wasn't even that subtle about it.
The geomancer told me the truth.
Yeah. That's why I needed to destroy him and the wind caller. And after this, I'm gonna destroy the evoker too. They made me, and once they're gone, no one will be able to unmake me.
That's where you're wrong. I'm going to unmake you right now. I ran in, ready to strike Red with all my might for the terrible things he'd done. And he punched me so hard, I was immediately knocked unconscious. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, my head still aching from that powerful strike that Red gave me. Ugh, even with that helmet, getting punched in the face by a literal stone fist, that's no fun. The dead campfire next to me only reminded me of the geomancer's horrible fate and the part I played in it. I didn't get to wallow in self-pity for long because Bogey the fungus thrower was emerging from the trees.
Get up, bub. We don't have any time to waste.
What do you mean?
Well, we've got to defeat that big rock guy, right? The Accursed One or whatever. You're not just gonna let him walk all over everyone, are you?
You still want to help me, even though I used to work with that monster?
Let's not focus on the past. We're not going there. Instead, let's go back to your place and work on a plan to take on and destroy that doofus before he can hurt anyone else.
You know what? I think you have a point. I went back to my base with Bogey and mined enough wood to build him an entire house for himself. He deserves it with all the help he gave me so far, and this way we can be neighbors and work with each other. I showed Bogey the house, and he loved it. I'm gonna make Red realize he messed with the wrong Venom Dragon! From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the prairie where I spawned in to do some exploring. I heard the telltale sound of a creeper nearby and flew into the air to get a better look at the terrain. From up above, I saw where the creeper was. It was heading for a witch who was completely oblivious to the hostile mob. Witch, watch out! There's a creeper behind you! I flew down and landed in front of the creeper, burning it with my venom breath. To my surprise, it didn't explode and struck back with a close-range attack. I fought ferociously until the creeper was vanquished. You've creeped for the last time. After that, the witch came back and cast a power-up spell on me.
Here, Venom Dragon. This should enhance your strength and increase your health.
And that it did. I gained 50 hearts and some mighty shooting claw attacks. But I won't use them without just claws. Like just cause? Get it? From day 27 to day 31, I found some sheep in the prairie and decided to pay them a greeting. Hello there, sheep. The sheep's wool looked very overgrown. Perhaps they had been wandering for a while without a trim. I invited them back to my base so that I could help them shed their extra wool. It was the biggest sheep barn I have ever built. Never have the sheep had so much space under the roof. I want to keep their wool nice and dry. When I had placed the last piece of the barn, Bogey the fungus thrower showed up. He had some news of his own about the state of the base.
Great work herding those sheep, Zozo. While you were doing that, I built us a storage building. You're welcome.
Super! I've always wanted a place to store things. Now all I need is some things to store.
Let's gather some resources then. We'll have to be well stocked if we want to take on Red.
You got that right, Bogey! Elsewhere in the Red Desert, our nemesis, Red the Accursed One, was gathering resources of his own.
Go forth, my Dark Knight Rider. The Evoker must be eliminated, along with that pesky Venom Dragon and anyone else who tries to step on my coolness.
You can count on me, Red. I want to rest until all the uncool fools are cut down by my axe.
From day 32 to day 35, I made my way back to the headquarters of the Chief Evoker in order to warn him about Red. The guards at the gate were quick to attack me, thinking that I was a potential threat to their boss. I defended myself with some normal attacks, but avoided using my shooting claw attacks so I could hold back and not hurt them too badly.
You've gotten stronger, Trespasser, but why are you not fighting us with all you've got?
Because you don't want to get hurt, and I don't want to hurt you. I bring news about the Accursed One, and I'm glad I made it here before the Red Golem did.
He knows the true identity of the Accursed One. We should let him through to speak with the Chief Evoker.
It seemed like my words had gotten through to the royal guards, so I followed them inside when they told me to enter the humble base to a room full of bookshelves. The Chief Evoker was standing right in front of me. He turned around and looked at my Venom Dragon form with much curiosity.
Your soul is conflicted. It holds the power of both great good and great evil within it. I'm not sure how to judge you just yet.
Forget about judging me. The Accursed One is coming to destroy you, so that nobody will know the secret of his creation.
I should have known it would come to this. Creating that golem was a mistake that cannot be fixed. The best I can do is hide out here and hope that the Accursed One doesn't find me.
You won't be able to hide forever. Not from that monster. He's too powerful.
The Accursed One may be strong, but he isn't unbeatable. If we can gather all three of those who made him.
We don't have that option anymore. You're the only one left.
Well, in that case, I'm going to stay put. You try to figure it out yourself.
Bogey was right. Trusting authority doesn't always work out. From day 36 to day 39, I went mining for the materials I would need to complete my iron armor. If the Chief Evoker is gonna hide from Destiny, I will face it with a full suit of armor. I didn't just unearth iron either. Once I found enough of the metal to build my armor pieces, I was able to find diamonds in the ground as well. Oh yeah, diamonds! These will come in handy later. I crafted the rest of the iron armor and equipped it. Now don't I look snazzy in this armor? Leave a like if you think so, and don't forget to subscribe. I went back above ground to my base in the Red Desert, where I met up with Bogey and told him what happened at the Evoker's base.
It looks like we're gonna have to take this matter into our own hands. We'll stop that accursed monster without the help of the Evoker.
Yes, that might be the only way to get it done. It's you and me, Bogey.
Here, Zozo, you can have my favorite machete. It'll help you the next time you're in a tough fight.
I equipped the machete and gave it a couple swings. It didn't deal any more damage than my sword, but it sure looked a lot cooler. Later on, I was patrolling the outside of the base when a camel came walking towards me across the sands.
You, Venom Dragon, come with me. Someone you know wants to speak with you.
Bogey says I don't have to follow orders, but maybe this time I should do what this camel says. From day 40 to day 43, I went to the location that the camel specified and found out that it was none other than the Chief Evoker waiting to meet with me. I thought you were hiding, Chief Evoker.
You thought right. I am hiding. Someone is coming after me. I need you to protect me.
Really? Your guards throw me in prison? You let your fellow mages die, and you won't do anything about the Accursed One, but now I need to help you?
Only if you want to. Your soul has the potential to protect or destroy.
Okay. Where is this enemy that is following you anyway?
It's coming. Prepare yourself.
I looked across the prairie and saw someone on a horse.
There you are, Chief Evoker. I'm going to chop you up for being so uncool.
Who are you, buddy?
I'm the Dark Knight Rider, and it looks like I've got another target right here in front of me.
Not now you don't, because we're running away! And we did. From day 44 to day 49, I had run all the way back to my base, only to find that the Chief Evoker had arrived there before me. So it's not just hiding, but running you're also good at.
I am not your enemy, Zozo. You don't need to get sassy with me.
If you say so, but don't expect I'm going to let you hide here at the base.
I'll return to my own base soon enough, but for now, I'm going to give you this.
The Chief Evoker handed me a mace, even though I already had a powerful weapon. He also showed me a book of secrets full of magic spells. What are these for?
My companions who helped forge the Accursed One, the Geomancer and Windcaller, might be gone now, but the magic we used to create the golem existed before us, and remains without them. I have written my part of it in my book of secrets, and if you can find the other two, we can enchant the mace with a breaking spell to unmake the Accursed One.
Now that's more like it. I'll take on this quest and gain the power to defeat Red. Where should I start?
Return to the Red Oak Forest. There you may seek the Windcaller's magical secrets.
And with that, I was on my way. From day 50 to day 53, I sought the magical secrets of the Windcaller deep in the Red Oak Forest. Here, secret, secret. Here, secret. Finding secrets was a way more difficult task than I had thought. But then again, I guess that's what made them secrets. In its current condition, the mace was not a powerful weapon, so I couldn't even use it to fight regular mobs. I was about to head back home when I ran into a mummy.
Did somebody say secret? As in the magical secrets of the Windcaller?
Yes, I did. But don't tell anyone. It has to be a secret.
I remember back when the Windcaller and those other two were first building their golem with the intention to protect us all. The Windcaller said that the golem would have the power to listen to the wind and know when others are in trouble.
That probably has something to do with finding the secret, but I can't figure it out right now. I walked away and traveled off through the woods. I'd be back to scout this area again on another day. From day 54 to day 57, I was taking a scenic walk through the prairie on the way back to my base when I encountered that Dark Knight Rider who was working for Red.
Time for me to ask you a question, Venom Dragon. And the answer is your demise!
Why are you even working for Red, Dark Knight Rider? Don't you know that he's a loner?
Simple, because I've got a score to settle with the Chief Evoker. But you won't need to hear about that. I'll just chop you to pieces!
The Dark Knight Rider ran towards me, and I used my Venom Breath on him. It barely did any damage, and he just kept charging forward. I'd better get out of here. I flew away, escaping through the sky where the Dark Knight Rider couldn't reach me. While his handyman was tracking me, Red was brooding all alone in his base.
I can hear him now, those voices on the wind. Yes, that's a sure sign that my enemies are in trouble. It's cool to know that people I don't like are failing.
From day 58 to day 62, I came in for a graceful landing in the middle of my base, where Bogey was quick to welcome me back home.
Our base has become much more self-sufficient thanks to my efforts. Come check this out.
I looked around inside to see Bogey had installed a furnace for regulating temperature throughout the base. This is excellent, Bogey. Who doesn't need a furnace in the desert for when it gets cold?
I also started work on building a defensive bunker in case things really get dangerous out there. Can you gather some materials to help complete it?
Of course! The mines were full of the materials I would need to reinforce the bunker, so I went down below to gather them. I went further than the usual mines and arrived at the deep mining cave. There was iron and stone, and of course, diamonds! Never can have too many of these. I should upgrade my gear with these shiny diamonds while I'm here. I mined the diamonds and crafted myself a diamond sword, diamond pickaxe, and diamond helmet. While I didn't have enough diamonds for a full suit of armor, I was armed with a strong weapon now in the form of my diamond sword. I returned to Bogey the fungus thrower and gave him all the materials I gathered so he could finish the defensive bunker within the base. From day 63 to day 66, I found the Evoker had come to visit my base again with further knowledge on how I could complete the mace and the unmaking spell.
I have found the secret location of the magical secrets that the Geomancer had once brought to the table in the creation of the Accursed One.
That's great news! I wasn't able to find the Windcaller's magic secrets, but at least we can use the Geomancer's secrets.
They are in a new biome that you've never seen before. Allow me to guide you to that place.
The Chief Evoker led me down to the lush caves, a forest beneath the surface of the overworld, which had unique plants seen nowhere else in the world. This looks like the work of geomancy, no doubt about it. We soon came upon a huge door that was sealed with geomancy magic.
The magical secrets are behind here.
That's good to know, but it looks like the door itself can't be opened.
It's true. The Geomancer was so ashamed of playing a role in the making of the Accursed One that he sealed his secrets behind this door.
I guess we'll need to backtrack here once we've learned the way to get through this door. From day 67 to day 70, the Chief Evoker once again asked me for help with another matter.
It is urgent. There is a bad soul running loose around the prairie. You have to stop it.
I guess I've got to do what you say. I arrived at the prairie and saw exactly what the Chief Evoker was talking about. An evil wraith was going absolutely crazy and tearing the place apart. I drew my machete and moved towards the wraith, cautiously. It fired a lightning bolt to me, which I dodged. I returned the favor with my venom breath.
You've achieved true power. I don't need anyone anymore. I am strong all by myself.
Just because you're cool by yourself doesn't mean you should go destroying things.
I bet somebody else made you believe that so you wouldn't destroy him. Life is better when you're on your own.
And you're only saying that because you aren't listening to others. If you listen to me, I promise you'll be stronger with someone to help you. The Wraith thought about it for a moment.
You have convinced me to accept help from others. If it really does power me up.
I solved the problem without fighting. I guess not every bad soul is beyond convincing. From day 71 to day 74, the Dark Knight Rider showed up and started breaking down my base with his deadly horse.
Not so cool after I pillaged your base. Then again, you were never cool.
You're the one who's about to find out what cool is after I slice you. I drew my machete and we battled each other, weapon to weapon. The fight was even for a while, but then the Dark Knight Rider disarmed me of my machete and stole it for himself.
It'd be hard to slice me without this. See you later, you uncool fool.
Wait, this isn't over! The Dark Knight Rider didn't wait, and just like that, he was gone. I may have survived with my life, but I lost Bogey's favorite machete, and that made me extremely sad. I ran into my room and cried about it for a long time, wishing I had only hung on to the machete a little bit tighter. After a few hours of crying, Bogey showed up in my room. I was almost too sad to talk to him. I'm sorry, Bogey. I can't believe I lost your favorite machete.
Zozo, it's only a machete. At least you're still okay. You're my best friend.
You're right. Thanks, Bogey.
Clown play. I've already fixed the base up from the Dark Knight Rider attack.
I spent some time with Bogey, not knowing that Red was once again plotting something all by his lonesome.
Try to unmake me, will they? I'll unmake them when I get my hands on the fully completed Mace of Magic.
From day 75 to day 78, the Chief Evoker was back at my base once again. You show up here a whole lot, don't you?
It's because you're so useful, Zozo. Now have all these javelins.
Okay, I'll have all those javelins. I took the javelins that the Chief Evoker was giving me and asked him if there was any other reason why he was here.
There is. I thought you could help me deal with the Dark Knight Rider that has been plaguing us. That is because he tried my magic secrets, but I said no, and kept him from learning.
Why didn't you let him learn your magic?
Who knows? But secrets are meaningless unless you keep them.
That sounded kinda cool, but not in a nice way. Either way, I took my javelins and went to track down the Dark Knight Rider. From day 79 to day 84, I explored the Red Desert until I found Red's base. There, I saw the Dark Knight Rider, obviously about to report to his boss, the Accursed One. Eat javelins, you thief! I flew around the Dark Knight Rider and hurled the javelins one after another. He was barely damaged at all. The javelins were ineffective, so I switched to my shooting claw attacks.
Why would I eat those? Javelins and claws aren't food, but you're going to be minced meat once I'm done with you!
The Dark Knight Rider attacked me with his horse, which even with my diamond armor, still did a lot of damage.
See? I don't need magic to be a cool guy. All I need is a horse and style, and I can do whatever I want with my life.
You need more than that, Dark Knight Rider. Life isn't about doing whatever you want. It's about doing what must be done. That's what real coolness is all about. Inspired by my own words, I embraced the power of coolness and leveled up into a big-sized Supreme Venom Dragon with 100 hearts. How do you like me now? Probably not a lot, because I'm gonna destroy you with my coolness.
Oh, no! He's so cool now!
I sure am. But enough about me. Here's something that isn't cool. My 1,000,000-degree Dragon Fireball! I used my new special attack to defeat the Dark Knight Rider! The Dragon Fireball scorched him and his horse, leaving behind no trace he was even there, beyond my machete and a special key marked with geomancy magic. I have a feeling I know where this goes. From day 85 to day 89, I saw that Bogey the Fungus Thrower had almost completed the defensive bunker that I had gathered all those materials for.
All it needs is a strong door to keep out the authorities.
I can handle that. Leave it to me, Bogey. With a few more pieces of iron and glass, I crafted a set of metal warning doors and sealed the chamber by placing down the doors. The defensive bunker was complete. I'll be heading to the lush caves. Stay inside the bunker where it's safe. I brought the special key I got from the Dark Knight Rider to the caves and used the item to unlock the Geomancer's door. Finally, I can enchant the mace with the magic secrets of the Geomancer. On the other side of the door was a giant tarantula that spit poison at me. I struck back with a Dragon Fireball. The tarantula was too tough to go down in one hit, but the second and third fireballs hit their mark and flame-broiled the spidery mob. Now for those delicious secrets. The Geomancer had written the secrets on the wall, and as I read them, the mace became infused with power. Could this be the unmaking spell I need to defeat Red? I certainly hope it is. From day 90 to day 94, I exited the Geomancer's secret cave with the mace in my hand and found that Red was standing there in the lush caves menacingly.
What are you gonna do with that, Zozo? Are you gonna try and unmake me now, punk? Are ya?
It seems like the thing I must do, right?
Wrong! You could be free and cool like me if you put down the mace and stood by my side. I can still show you how to be awesome.
I'm not listening to you. It's unmaking time. I hit him with the mace, but the charged up magic didn't accomplish much of anything. Was the spell still incomplete? He hit me with a big punch that knocked away almost half of my health. That knocked me so hard, I dropped my mace, which he grabbed and hit me again. Before I could do anything back, I was frozen by some magic. Oh no, I can't escape.
You actually believed what Chief Evoker said? He doesn't know how to destroy me, and soon nobody will be able to. Goodbye, Zozo.
Red left, and I was still frozen by the scared still effect. I have to find a way out of here. From day 95 to day 97, I waited just long enough for the effect to wear down and go away. Now that I was released, I traveled through the lush caves. I knew that I had to talk to the Chief Evoker to find out the real way to unmake Red. When I arrived at the Evoker's base in the prairie, I found that all the royal guards were dead, and the Evoker himself wasn't far from it.
Zozo, where were you? The Accursed One rampaged through here and took out everyone, including me.
I tried my hardest, Evoker, but I was trapped, and Red, the Accursed One, was too strong for the unmaking spell.
I guess there really is no way to undo a mistake. I was the most uncool fool of all.
As he faded away, I was reminded of something I had known for a long time. I'd need to take this matter into my own hands. Red was going down. On day 98, I found my base in the Red Desert had been reduced to ruins. The sheep had all wandered far away. This was probably the work of Red, since I knew his base wasn't far from mine. I guess this desert really does belong to him now. He's made it clear that nobody else is welcome here.
Since when do we have to listen to what the Accursed One says?
It was Bogey the Fungus Thrower. He had survived the attack by hiding inside the defensive bunker. Bogey, you're alive!
I'm more alive than ever. We'll protect the overworld now, just you and me. I've got an idea to deal with Red.
Let's hear it. You've always come through for me, just like your favorite machete.
If we can take the mace from Red, we might not be able to unmake him, but we can reprogram him to be what he was always meant to be, a protector.
I like that plan. On day 99, I went to Red's base and flew in circles, shooting dragon fireballs at it until he came out to face me. After a while, Red finally appeared.
Give it a rest. You lost. I'm too cool to care about anybody now.
That's what you think. I'm pretty cool too, and I bet you can't beat me without the mace.
You mean this mace? I don't need it.
He threw the mace onto the ground, and we began to fight each other. I avoided his punches and hit him with my shooting claw attacks, then my machete. Red hit me with a strong attack, and I needed to get some distance on him. I blasted him with dragon fireballs. He ran towards me and tried to punch me again, but I flew into the air to avoid them. The damage from the fight was difficult to withstand, but I bought enough time for Bogey the fungus thrower to sneak up and steal the mace off the ground.
Zozo, I got it! Let's get out of here!
Great work, Bogey! I shot another dragon fireball at Red to distract him, and then retreated back to the base with Bogey. Once we were there, we used all the magical secrets to change the Unmaking spell into a Make Better spell. You stay here, Bogey. I'm gonna use this spell on Red, the Accursed One, and make him Red, the Reversed One. Or the Nice One. On day 100, I flew back to Red's base and went inside. Red, the Accursed One, was there waiting for me, but I was ready to face him.
All this time you've had to learn how to be cool, but you really just learned how to keep being a fool.
Actually, I've learned the best lesson of all. People who are really cool don't have to say it all the time. And they don't just do whatever they want, they do what they must.
No more speeches! I will unmake you like you tried to unmake me!
I was wrong, Red. I won't unmake you anymore. I'll make you better. We battled in melee combat for some time. I used the machete to chip away at his defenses until I could use the Make Better spell from the mace. The spell worked its secret magic, and soon Red was starting to seem a whole lot less mean. He grew in size and changed his color to a friendly green, becoming a golem with a kind streak as big as his arm span.
Wow, I don't want to be a loner anymore. I want to protect other people.
And everything was better! Now, thanks to my Make Better spell, Red, or should I say Green, would be the world's protector, and I would have a chance to relax until I was needed again. On day 1, I spawned into the Great Lake Isles as a blaze! Whoa, this is so cool! I'm one of Minecraft's most powerful fire creatures! Or at least a baby version of one. But I'd spawned into a very hostile environment. As you can probably tell from the name, the Great Lake Isle is surrounded by a lot of lakes. It's lucky that all I need to do is avoid the water. It's not like the water can come after me. But I would soon eat my words as a huge figure rose out of the lakes near me. Oh no, who are you?
I am Aquarius, the Lord of Water Elementals, and I will do my duty to the power of water by annihilating you, fire creature!
Let's not be so rash. I'm Zozo, and I may be a blaze, but I don't want to hurt anyone.
As if the great Aquarius would ever trust the words of a petty blaze like you, Zozo! Let the water purify your pathetic soul!
Aquarius blasted a water blast at me, and I needed to dodge it before floating away as quickly as I could. There's no way that I'm gonna be safe out here while that guy is still hanging around. I need to figure out a way to defeat him, or I'm gonna get drowned by him. On day 2, I continued fleeing from the lake that Aquarius emerged from, trying to stay as far on dry land as I could. I only have 10 hearts. It's not like I can afford to take any risks. A big enough water blast from that evil elemental, and I'd be reduced to a soggy pile of ashes. My running away had also made me incredibly hungry. That's why I searched around until I found some apples, and threw them into my burning furnace of a mouth. Ah, that's good. The water is dangerous, but I'm glad I'm safe on land. Once again, I'd made a habit of speaking too soon, because as soon as I'd said that, a small gang of huge, terrifying bugs swarmed out of the ground. Oh no, who are you guys?
We're the sectoid gods, the baddest, meanest bugs this side of the overworld, and we work for the water elemental.
Why?
Because in exchange for working with him, he floods the nests of our enemies. It's a pretty sweet deal. All we need to do is destroy all the fire creatures we see inland. Get 'em, boys!
And the boys did indeed try to get me. That's why I floated away as quickly as I could, knowing I didn't have the strength to take them all on yet. I thought I was doomed when suddenly I turned invisible. All the sectoid guards just ran right past me, leaving me safe, at which point I became visible again. How did I do that?
You didn't do that. I did.
Where did that voice come from? A funky colored sheep appeared in front of me. I'd never seen anything like it.
I am the mystery sheep. It is in my best interest to guide you on your journey, and it is in your best interest to follow me.
Well, you just saved my life, so I'm not gonna argue with you. Lead the way, Mr. E-Sheep. On day 3, the mysterious mystery sheep led me through the Great Lake Isles, speaking very little, which made him even more mysterious.
We will soon reach our destination. There, you will confer with the Iron Chicken, and he will give you your next steps.
If you say so. Man, this day just keeps getting weirder and weirder. The mystery sheep zapped away, and I was left alone until I saw the iron chicken standing in the distance. He noticed me as I approached.
Come as close as you like, son. All this iron makes me completely fireproof.
That's a relief. I've never actually met an iron chicken before.
I wasn't always an iron chicken. I'm a veteran. I was a war chicken. But as I got injured in various wars, I replaced my injured parts with iron. In the end, I'd gotten so injured over time, iron was all that was left of me.
No offense, but that's really strange. So, does that mean you're still the same chicken? Or because you replaced everything with iron, are you a whole new one? Oh, wow, my head hurts.
It's okay. I'll get that a lot. I hear that you're involved in some kind of quest.
It's true. I'm on a quest to defeat Aquarius, the water elemental. But I don't know where to start.
You start by getting tools, and then you get stronger. Here, take this stone sword and stone pickaxe. Take them and make a base where you can train and get stronger. It's the only way you'll ever beat that water elemental, young Blaze.
I picked up the stone sword and stone pickaxe and set off to leave. Thank you for your encouragement, Iron Chicken. I hope we meet again someday. From day 4 to day 5, I left the Iron Chicken to do whatever Iron Chickens do and found a perfect place a little inland of the Great Lakes to start building my base. I cut down some trees and mined some stone and started building myself a basic base, one that was fireproof enough for a blaze to stay in without burning it to ashes. But my burning body wasn't the only potential threat to my base. I saw a terrifying ender creeper emerging from the distance and zeroing in on my base. I need to stop it, or all my hard work will be blown to Kingdom Come. I ran in and attacked the ender creeper, but I wasn't there fast enough to stop it from exploding. I was expecting to see the pearly gates, but instead, I was totally unharmed in the middle of the crater it left behind. Whoa, my firepower must keep me safe from explosions. That's awesome. And then the mystery sheep appeared once again.
That was a courageous act, Zozo. You went forth into danger bravely, and for that, I will bestow upon you 1% of my power.
Suddenly, I felt myself getting bigger and stronger. I had 30 hearts now, and a new ability, breathing fire. Thanks again, Mystery Sheep. You're so mysterious. From day 6 to day 8, I left the Great Lake Isles and went to explore the Jacaranda Forest. I need to be careful. I don't want to accidentally set anything on fire out here. But setting something on fire was the least of my worries. I soon found that the area was infested with bubble monsters. Bubbles come out of water. These monsters must have been created by the water elemental. They're probably out here searching for other fire beings. I needed to stand up for myself, and with my new fire breath, I had the power to do it. I floated in and started releasing jets of flames onto the bubble monsters, not letting up until all of them had been evaporated. I'm so proud of how strong I'm getting. But I wasn't the only one who was proud. A fire elemental emerged from behind one of the nearby trees.
Thank you, kind Blaze. Those bubble monsters were after me. It isn't easy being a fire entity out here, as I'm sure you know.
Believe me, I know. The name's Zozo. I'm trying to get strong enough to defeat Aquarius, the water elemental.
Then follow me, Zozo. I know a monstrous beast that will be perfect training.
From day 9 to day 10, the fire elemental led me to a clearing in the forest where a huge monstrous worm was writhing. Oh, jeez, what is that thing?
That's the dead worm. It's completely crazy and extremely dangerous. If you can take care of it, you'll be far stronger for the experience.
Well, I guess I'll give it a try. I ran into the clearing, my sword drawn, ready to take it on. But I wasn't ready for just how absurd the dead worm was.
Wee-hee-hee-hee! 'Tis I, the wormy death worm! Come any closer, and I'll worm you, boy! I'll worm ya!
You are incredibly strange! I used my sword and fire breath against the deranged worm, but it was no good. He was too strong. I needed to retreat back to the fire elemental. I think I need to get strong before I can take on the worm fire elemental. But in the meantime, how about you come stay at my base? We should stick together during hard times like this.
I'm honored by your offer, Zozo. Please, lead the way, and I shall follow.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my little base with the fire elemental and began building another solid stone room for him to sleep in. Perfect kind of rooms for creatures like us, because there's no way to burn them down.
Good thinking, Zozo. And feel free to take a look around. I admire the work you're doing to keep the overworld safe for entities like us. I built a few extra upgrades around the base.
I looked around and was astonished. The fire elemental had built a storage room and a new furnace. Well, I better put them to good use. I hunted down and found a mining cavern. I ventured inside, and deep down in the dark, I found some iron ore that was easy enough to mine. I took my ore back to the furnace on my base and smelted it into ingots. With those ingots, I made myself an awesome iron sword and an iron pickaxe. By the time my smithing was done, the ever-mysterious mystery sheep arrived again, appearing right in front of me.
Zozo, as you know, sheep are the finest of creatures. That is why, to aid in your quest, I recruited a number of my sheep friends and built a paddock for them to live in.
Thanks, mystery sheep. That'll be great if I need any wool. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to talk to the mystery sheep again and ask him what he, in his infinite wisdom, thought I should do next.
Well, Zozo, Aquarius's power is supported by his monstrous sectoid guards. If you take the fight to them, it will weaken him. There are 2 groups of them I can sense around here. One in the Jacaranda Forest, and another in the Jagged Peaks. Go forth and take the fight to them!
Seems like a good idea to me. First, I returned to the more familiar territory, the Jacaranda Forest. It didn't take long for me to find a small detachment of sectoid guards, and they seemed surprised to see me.
What? We were meant to perform a sneak attack on you, not the other way around.
I ran in with my iron sword, slicing and dicing with fiery passion. Once most of the sectoid guards were defeated, I used my awesome fire breath to finish them off. When the last one was defeated, they dropped what looked like a health potion. I picked it up and drank it, and felt some extraordinary power coursing through me. I got bigger, stronger, fierier, and gained a new ability, Fireballs! Hey, that's more like it! From day 16 to day 19, I journeyed to the treacherous Jagged Peaks, but I wasn't alone up there in this unforgiving cold. There were a gang of deadly sectoid guards waiting for me.
Finally, the blaze is here! Let's put out that sad little loser's fire, and our boss will reward us with great riches!
I sure hope all those riches are worth what's about to happen to you! I was through holding back. I unleashed my full power, blasting fireballs and spewing my fire breath, frying sectoid guard after sectoid guard, until only I remained on those unforgiving slopes. Next time I see Aquarius the water elemental, I'm gonna blow him to pieces! As I was walking back through the peaks, I came across an old book lying against the stone. It was titled The Legend of the River Demon. I opened it and read it, and it said, there once was a petty river demon who dreamed of being powerful and important. To do this, he changed his name. He pretended to be a friendly elemental, a protector, but really, all he ever cared about was power. Wow, that explains a lot. From day 20 to day 22, I decided I'd complement my new offensive powers with a little extra defense. I know just the place to go. I returned to the mining cavern and explored until I found some more iron ore, which was easy enough to mine and take back to my base. There, I used the furnace to turn the ore into ingots and make an iron chestplate that hid beneath my flames. I feel so strong now. I think I'm finally able to go back and face an enemy I never had the strength to beat before. It's the feeling that led me back to a clearing in the Jacaranda Forest, where the dead worm was waiting for me.
Waha! Wormy, wormy, wormy! It's me, Dead Worm! Oh, wormy!
I'm really glad I won't have to hear you talk anymore after this. I blasted fireball after fireball at the dead worm, giving it all I had until it was reduced to ash. Just one more monster defeated for the good of the world. But I was so distracted by my victory, I didn't notice the even bigger threat sneaking up behind me. It was Aquarius, the water elemental.
I don't normally like coming this far inland, but to destroy you, I'll make an exception.
You won't be destroying anyone. You're not a protector. You're a demon. Eat fire, you big nasty jerk. I shot a fireball at him, the same kind that destroyed the dead worm, but he shrugged it off.
Weak!
I knew that I still stood no chance in a battle against him. All I could do was turn and run again. From day 23 to day 26, I rushed back to base to evade getting annihilated by Aquarius the water elemental. I wasn't proud of having turned tail and run. It felt like a cowardly thing to do. but I wasn't strong enough to defeat my adversary, so I had no choice but to run if I wanted to survive. At least I had defeated the deadworm though, which the fire elemental would be impressed by. First things first though, I should work on upping my defense. On my way back, I made a stop at the mining caverns and explored underground until I came across some iron ore. Bringing my newfound resources back to base, I had enough to turn into iron ingots, which I then forged into an iron helmet and matching pair of iron boots. Afterward, I went to tell the elemental about my run-in with the deadworm.
Good going beating that wormy weirdo, Zozo. You're getting stronger every day. In honor of your victory, I've been working on these new improvements to the base. We have a perimeter wall now.
I checked out his handiwork, and it sure was impressive. Plus, it was reassuring to know the base would be protected, even while I was away. I'd like to see Aquarius even try to attack this place. From day 27 to day 31, I decided I'd travel back to the Jagged Peaks. The last time I had been there, I'd come across some useful information about who and what Aquarius really was, so maybe there was something there that could give me an idea on how to defeat him. Sadly, I didn't come across what I was looking for, but I did bump into a mutated bee.
Hey, you're that Blaze causing all that buzz by bashing those bug-eyed sectoid guards, aren't you?
That's me.
Blimey, you really did us a big bonus favor with that one. Do you have any idea how bad things have been around here with that invasive species of bugs about? Raking everything, being a real blight on the rest of us.
I'm happy to help.
Still, it barely done anything to belay Aquarius. Not that anyone blames you, bud.
I'm working on that. But in the meantime, you should head back to my base with me.
Oh, you have a base! That's brilliant! Better show me how best to get there!
We headed back to my base in the Great Lake Isles, and I decided it was time to spruce the place up. Thanks to the sheep pen being so close by, I was able to gather up some wool and turn that into some decorative banners to really have the place looking nice. But that led to another conversation with one sheep, who was still something of a mystery. The mystery sheep.
Zozo, it is I! I have once again parted the woolly veil of mystery to appear before you.
What's up, mystery sheep? You enjoying hanging out with the other sheep in the paddock?
I have no time for enjoying things. There is trouble afoot. The Iron Chicken needs your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the mystery sheep and I rushed through the Great Lake Isles to find the Iron Chicken.
Hurry, Zozo! The Iron Chicken calls for aid, and he doesn't possess the might of a greater animal, such as the noble sheep.
Well, he's a veteran, right? He should be able to hold his own until we get there, I hope. When we arrived, though, we were met with a horrible sight. The Iron Chicken had clearly been battling for so long that his tiredness was beginning to show. Sectoid guards were coming at him from all angles, and although he had fought off many more, all it took was one to sneak up behind him and… No! I leapt into action and launched a flurry of fireballs at the remaining sectoid guards. I managed to scorch those that were left, but I was too late to save the Iron Chicken. From day 36 to day 39, I left on my own for a while to mourn the loss of the Iron Chicken. The mystery sheep had offered some mysterious words of comfort, but I just needed to be alone with my thoughts. Although, I wouldn't be totally alone for too long, as while I was carefully making sure not to burn down the forest by accident, I stumbled across a rich mummy.
A blaze? You command fire!
Yeah, I'm a blaze, and I can control fire a little.
Another serpent disturbed my slumber when it made a nest in my tomb. I need you to smoke it out.
Sure thing. I guess I can help. It didn't take long to track the nether serpent down. It had made a home for itself in the temple the old mummy had been buried in, but that was about to change. I launched a barrage of fireballs, catching the sleeping serpent off guard. As it frighteningly recoiled from the flames, I was able to back it into a corner and finished it off with a swing of my sword. I went back to my new mummy pal afterwards.
Nicely done, Blaze. Now to get back to my eternal slumber. I'm exhausted.
Question though, you're pretty old, right? You don't happen to know anything about Aquarius the water elemental?
You mean the river demon? Oh, good luck with him. He's a nasty customer. But if you're hoping to find him, then I'd check out the Dead Sea.
From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base for the first time since losing the Iron Chicken. I was expecting things to be somber, but when I arrived, the mystery sheep had something to share with me.
Zozo, you made a valiant effort to save the life of the Iron Chicken.
I still failed though.
But you tried, and that is important. Endurance is something almost as mysterious as me, and you possess it. It is for that reason that I called out to my brethren, the other mystery sheep.
We live here now.
All around were a mystery number of other mystery sheep, although some of them seemed to think the base needed some improvement.
A normal mind would crumble under the weight of our collective knowledge. We need a way to archive all of life's mysteries. And also comfy chairs.
I got to work making some brand new bookshelves for the mystery sheeps, and a nice comfy living area for them. When I was done, the mutated bee came buzzing up to me.
Blimey, Blaze! I've had a bad time trying to make it to this base of yours. This bunch of creeper spiderlings decided to bully me. If you could be a bro and blast them for me, that'd be the best.
Rude creeper spiderlings? I'll take care of those bullies, don't you worry. From day 44 to day 49, I headed off to the Jagged Peaks once again to take care of the creeper spiderlings that were giving the mutated bee such a hard time. Couldn't seem to find any trace of them, but I was soon met with the presence of the last person I wanted to see. It was Aquarius, the water elemental.
There's the little Blaze. How's your cowardly chicken friend?
If it weren't for you and your sectoid guards, the Iron Chicken would be fine. You didn't have to go after him just to get to me.
Oh, you think that's why I wanted him gone? He was a war chicken. He opposed me in a resistance back when I first tried to ascend. I wanted to turn the overworld into an underwater paradise, but the pesky land animals fought back. Now I'm going to finish the job.
Not if I have anything to say about it. Once I can control my fire powers, I'll boil you into steam.
That'll be a neat trick, if you were alive to do it.
Suddenly, a scary creature burst out and attacked me. I only just had time to block its attack with my sword before I realized what it was. A snarling wolfman! While my head was turned, Aquarius managed to slip away, leaving me to face his minion. From day 50 to day 53, I fought hard to defend myself against the Wolfman. He was by far the toughest opponent I had ever faced, and much faster than I was used to. Every time I shot a fireball at him, he'd leap out of the way. Why even work for Aquarius anyway? There's no way you really trust him. He said he wants to flood everything and do away with land animals, and that includes you.
Not me. I can swim. Just look how fast I am.
That was it. I needed to slow him down. Instead of aiming my fireballs for the Wolfman, I fired some at the ground near him. Then, as he moved to evade, his fur caught fire and stopped him from running.
Ow! 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 I could really do with some water to douse these flames, boss. Wait, boss? Where did he go?
I told you, you can't trust Aquarius. He used to be a river demon. There's no way he's got good intentions. But I'm gonna stop him.
Then you'll need something stronger than a few fireballs and a plucky attitude. Only magic can stop a demon, like these.
The Wolfman presented what had made him so fast and strong. Some mystical diamonds. Thanks for the tip. With that and another swing of my sword, I defeated the Wolfman and held on to the diamonds for later. From day 54 to day 57, I got back to my previous quest to take care of the creeper spiderlings for the mutated bee. And thankfully, it didn't take me too long to find their nest. With a volley of more fireballs, I was able to burn down their webs and drive the creeper spiderlings out to where I was waiting, ready to finish them off with my sword. Afterwards, I headed back to my base to tell the mutated bee the good news.
That's brilliant! I'm beyond grateful to have a Blaze watching our backs again.
Wait, there used to be other blazes?
Oh yeah, before the Big Bad Blue. Before the River Demon became Aquarius, he blasted all the blazes with water to snuff out their fire, since it's basically the opposite of water. Blazes used to be a way to maintain the balance in the big bug world. But now they're all gone, besides you.
From day 58 to day 62, now that I was back to base and had a few moments to spare, I decided it was time to work on some upgrades. I expanded the sheep paddock, knowing that now all the mystery sheep were staying alongside the normal sheep. The last thing I needed was for it to get too crowded. Then I set off to mine for some more diamonds. I already had a handful of mystical ones from the Wolfman, but I needed more to actually put them to use. And lucky for me, I found some. With my mystical diamonds, I had enough to make a sword imbued with their magic, and plenty left over to craft a new diamond pickaxe. Once I was done, the mystery sheep had some more words of mysterious wisdom to impart.
Zozo, my flock and I appreciate you letting us take refuge here. As a show of our gratitude, we have used an incredible 3% of our boundless knowledge to improve the living conditions here.
I had no idea the mystery sheep was so well versed in interior architecture. He and the others had made a brand new spacious living area for everyone, as well as a big fireplace. With a quick fireball in there, I could keep the base nice and warm. From day 63 to day 66, I spoke with the fire elemental, who was still residing at the base. I asked him if what the rich mummy had mentioned about the Dead Sea was true.
If there's anywhere near here that you could find Aquarius and take the fight to him, then it'd probably be the big body of water synonymous with death.
Yeah, the Dead Sea does sound like a place an evil river demon masquerading as a water elemental would hang out.
You'd best be careful out there then, Zozo.
I headed off to investigate, and before long, had made my way to the Dead Sea. The name seemed accurate, not just because it was a grim, foreboding place, but just because it was so quiet. In fact, so much so that I got startled by someone coming up behind me. It looked like another blaze, but something was different. Who the heck are you? Did Aquarius send you?
What? No. You've got it all wrong. Sorry for sneaking up on you. I just couldn't believe that there was a living blaze here again.
Wait, do you mean that you're not a blaze or not alive?
Technically, neither. When the river demon snuffed out all the blazes, this is what became of us. We're ender blazes now. Our flames can't warm this world any longer. But yours still can, and I need your help.
From day 67 to day 70, the Ender Blaze led me around the savannah next to the Dead Sea.
Since Aquarius flooded the place, nature's been thrown off kilter. Without blazes to help keep the elements in balance, all kinds of crazy mobs have emerged, just like this one.
The heck is that? I was stunned at what I was seeing. It was part spider and part llama.
Spider llama. These things are nasty critters. I can't stop it from devouring the food sources of other creatures, but you might be able to.
So, I jumped right into action and drew my new mystical diamond sword. The llama and spider hybrid was startled, but retaliated with vicious attacks. I had to parry its blows with my sword, then managed to chop off its legs and slowed it down enough to deliver the final strike.
Thanks, young Blaze. You make the rest of us proud.
From day 71 to day 74, I continued to search the Dead Sea and found a stone path leading deeper into the sea. I searched for clues as to where I could find Aquarius's hideout. I didn't come across anything helpful, although I could see something in between the rocks. Would you look at that? It's my face! Why not search for more of our videos by typing ZOZO above? Suddenly, Aquarius the water elemental burst from the Dead Sea right before me, angrier than I'd ever seen him.
How dare you come here? A blaze this close to my waters? I'll make you pay for this. You'll be nothing but soggy ashes when I'm done with you.
I barely ducked out of the path of his attacks in time. Unsheathing my mystical diamond sword, I was excited to see that a swing from it could finally leave a little bit of damage. But it wasn't enough. I tried using my fiery blaze powers to make the water elemental evaporate, but my flames weren't hot enough and got extinguished by Aquarius. I had no choice but to get away. This close to the Dead Sea, I was already in danger, and if I didn't escape, it would be all over for me. From day 75 to day 78, I made it back to the safety of my base, but didn't feel all that reassured about it. I had narrowly escaped Aquarius, but I was beginning to think I wouldn't be able to beat him, despite all my best efforts. I wanted to be alone in my room for a while, until the mutated bee came to talk to me.
Hey, Blaze Bro! Hope you don't mind, but this big old base of yours badly needed some better defenses, so I've built up a brand new watchtower. Should be a lot easier to see any bad stuff coming our way.
I realized that the mutated bee was trying to cheer me up, and being reminded that the others were still safe from Aquarius in the base did lift my spirits a little, and I was about to feel even happier after my next chat with the mystery sheep.
Zozo, you continue to endure despite setbacks. As such, me and my fellow mystery sheep have decided to grant you but a tiny fraction of our power.
We saved this essence from the creature that created the first generation of blazes. Take this.
It was a lava bottle. I immediately drank it, and wasn't harmed thanks to my awesome command of fire. And it suddenly ignited a newfound power within me. I now had up to 100 hearts, and my fireballs were improved too. I could now launch dragon fireballs! From day 79 to day 84, now that I'd been powered up, I decided to once again take the fight to Aquarius in the Dead Sea. Unfortunately, when I returned, there was no sign of him anywhere, although I did get a chance to try out my new upgraded abilities on some nearby mobs. A few feathered serpents were flying around nearby, and I made quick work of them all with a blast of my dragon fireball attack.
Impressive.
The gruff voice belonged to a creature I'd never seen before. It almost resembled a blaze, but it had a lot of characteristics similar to a wolf. Who are you?
I'm the Blaze Wolf. I only appear to those who are worthy to wield the flame. Come, walk with me for a while.
I hung out with the Blaze Wolf for a while. It seemed he had gotten pretty lonely since Aquarius got rid of all the other blazes, and I was happy to keep him company. To say thank you, he even gave me an old diamond helmet he'd found. Now I had added protection against Aquarius's attacks. From day 85 to day 89, I was making my way back to base when I saw a horde of sectoid guards attacking. I rushed over to stop them and reduced a huge number of them to smoldering cinders with my upgraded dragon fireballs. The rest turned and ran away, but I couldn't let them escape. Those nasty bugs would no doubt tell Aquarius where to find my base, and he might come and flood it with my friends still inside. I gave chase and followed the surviving sectoid guards as they fled. I struggled to keep up as they split off from each other, and before long, I thought I had lost them.
Hey, you looking for those ugly bugs?
It was a giant mosquito. Yeah, I am. You didn't see where they went, did you?
Of course. You better get after them. Can't have them muscling in on my habitat. I've got mosquito kids to feed.
I followed the giant mosquito's directions, and it led me to a few of the sectoid guard stragglers who were no match for my Firefly Blaze powers. From day 90 to day 94, I went after the last remaining sectoid guards and decided I would try to head them off at the pass. I did my best to outpace them and tried to get to the Dead Sea before they could make it back. But as I arrived, I noticed they were heading towards a certain structure I'd been looking for. It was Aquarius's lair. And outside was a creature standing guard that the sectoid guards reported to, a big axolotl.
Out of my way, bugs! I'm going to snuff out this place once and for all, so the boss rewards me in his new water world.
I got my sword ready and leapt into the fight. The big axolotl might have looked cute, but he was one dangerous adversary. I tried using my fireball attacks, but his hide was protected from the flames, so I'd have to try a different approach in order to take him down. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed head-on with the big axolotl. My dragon fireballs weren't effective enough, so switching to my mystical diamond sword was the only way I could stand a chance. Why even work for Aquarius anyway? He'll betray anyone to get what he wants, and he's trying to destroy all the land animals.
Axolotls are amphibians. We can survive underwater. And Aquarius has promised me a kingdom of my own under the sea. A position that I'll secure once I tell him the last blaze isn't burning anymore.
I had to rely on my sword and speed to fend off the big axolotl. But lucky for me, the mystical diamonds I had used to forge my new weapon weren't just good at dealing damage against river demons, but also against oversized amphibians.
Oh no, this can't be! Aquarius promised me!
I told you, he can't be trusted.
Oh, then let me repay him for his betrayal in kind before you finish me off. The water, it's his greatest strength, but also his ultimate weakness. He has to absorb water to survive, you see. It's why he doesn't like to venture inland too often. You need to dry him out.
Thanks for the advice. I'll make this part quick. With that, the big axolotl was defeated. I had beaten my toughest challenge yet, and now I knew exactly where I could find Aquarius to confront him and put an end to all this. But I pumped the brakes on my eagerness and decided to first return home to resupply and check my friends were okay. On day 98, I arrived back home and was pleased to see everyone was okay. First, I spoke to the mutated bee.
Be careful, Blaze Buddy. Go show that big bad bully river demon that you're the boss around here.
Thanks, bee. Then I spoke to the fire elemental.
You're carrying the flaming torch now for all of us fire creatures, Zozo. Your fellow blazes would be proud. I know I sure am.
I couldn't have done it without your help. And finally, I spoke to the mystery sheep.
Zozo, go forth into the great mysterious unknown with all the grace of us mighty noble sheep. Channel our greatness and you will prevail.
You know, I don't think I'll ever fully understand you, mystery sheep.
I know. That is the point. I'm mysterious.
With that, I headed off to the Dead Sea for the final confrontation. On day 99, I arrived back at the water elemental's lair to find an army of sectoid guards crawling in the lobby. Whew, guess the only way in is through them.
Still, it'll be easier with some help.
It was the Ender Blaze from before!
All the other blazes trapped with me are channeling their power to keep me here. I should have just enough firepower to help you out in battle. Go on, Zozo. Finish this once and for all. I'll hold them back here.
So I dashed inside! On day 100, I came bursting into the lair and was finally face to face with Aquarius, the water elemental, or as he really was, the river demon.
You! Who are you to challenge me? You think you're special because you're made of fire? I'm the Lord of Water Elementals! I'm the unstoppable tide that will purify this overworld!
You're nothing but a liar and a pretender, Aquarius, and I'm the Blaze who's gonna stop you. The final showdown was on. I knew my mystical diamond sword could do some serious damage against the river demon, but I didn't want to play my hand too early. He could try to knock my main weapon out of my hand. Then I'd only have my flames left. But I thought back to what the big axolotl had said. I needed to dry Aquarius out, and I now had powerful dragon fireballs at my disposal. But how? I was hurling fire at Aquarius, but it wasn't working. Then I remembered building my base to make sure it was fireproof so I didn't burn it down. And then I thought of it. If I couldn't evaporate Aquarius with a direct fireball attack, then I'd have to burn the area around him. I launched more dragon fireballs and spread flames all over the place while clashing with Aquarius. Before long, the temperature was rising and his attacks were getting weaker. With one last fireball, his water started to evaporate. This is from my friend, the Iron Chicken. You're fresh out of cluck, Aquarius. The true river demon he was had been made vulnerable to damage, and one final swing of my mystical diamond sword finished him off for good. I had done it! I'd survived 100 days and defeated Aquarius, finally putting a stop to his schemes.
No primeiro dia, eu apareci como um cara bem normal. Mas caramba, olha só essa cidade linda. Esses 100 dias vão ser muito fáceis. De repente eu escutei um som de alguma coisa em cima de mim. Olhei pra cima e vi um pequeno avião voando. Onde será que ele tá indo? Eles devem estar apreciando essa vista linda. Mas enquanto eles se afastavam, eu vi eles derrubarem algo do avião, o que deixou uma fileira de fumaça preta atrás, enquanto caía. De repente eu ouvi um estrondo, e tudo ficou muito claro. Era uma bomba nuclear. Meus ouvidos estavam zumbindo, e eu tava ficando meio enjoado. Caramba, o que tá acontecendo? O prédio embaixo de mim começou a tremer e houve um longo estrondo quando o prédio começou a desmoronar. E eu acabei desmaiando. Quando eu acordei, eu estava debaixo de uma pilha de escombros. Eu consegui sobreviver. Ai, minha cabeça, onde que eu tô? Olhei ao redor e vi um tipo de luz vindo atrás dos escombros. Eu peguei uma picareta de madeira que eu vi por perto. Vamos ver se eu consigo sair daqui. Eu comecei a quebrar os blocos e não demorou para que eu saísse. A cidade estava toda em ruínas. Alô? Tem alguém aí? Quando eu me virei, eu escutei um barulho. Tinha alguma coisa me observando. Era um dragão mutante gigantesco. Que dragão da hora. Só não chega muito perto. Assim que eu disse isso, o dragão decolou e começou a voar em minha direção. Eu tinha que dar o fora. Eu me arrastei sobre os escombros enquanto o dragão soltava soldado de fogo. Eu quis me esconder. Talvez eu possa encontrar um lugar seguro no prédio. Eu corri pra dentro da escada do prédio mais próximo e o dragão ficou lá fora. Eu não tinha percebido antes, mas eu tava com muita fome e sede. Eu precisei encontrar comida e água. Isso parece um prédio de escritórios antigo. Talvez tenha uma máquina de venda automática, com água e comida. Eu comecei a procurar e não demorou muito pra encontrar essa máquina. Eu abri ela e encontrei uma sopa enlatada e água purificada. Ah, eu tô com tanta sede. Essa água vai me salvar muito. Eu não sabia que sopa podia ser tão bom. Acho que vai ser um pouquinho mais difícil do que eu pensava. No dia 2, eu acordei com o som de tiros. Eu fui de fininho até a janela. O que será que tá acontecendo? Lá embaixo eu pude ver um grupo de invasores de terreno baldio lutando contra uma horda de zumbis. Um dos invasores parecia um pouco diferente dos outros, deve ser o líder. Eu fiquei assistindo enquanto os invasores derrotavam os zumbis. Eu tava tão distraído com o que eles estavam fazendo que eu não percebi que um deles estava atrás de mim. Oi, abaixa a faca, não quero nenhum problema.
Se você não quer problema, então esvazie os bolsos.
Eu não tenho nada que você queira, só umas garrafas de água e sopa enlatada.
Você acha que eu não quero isso? Cada fonte de água na cidade está contaminada. Água purificada de lixo radioativo é um luxo que eu quero e mereço, e não você.
Por que você tá fazendo isso? Porque a gente não trabalha junto.
Você tem vivido embaixo de uma pedra, é? Nós trabalhamos para Finkel, o novo chefe da cidade. E eu não conheço você. Ou seja, você não trabalha para ele. O que significa que você precisa entregar tudo que tem.
Eu não tava gostando nada disso. Eu tinha que sair dali, mas ele me encurralou. Talvez se eu empurrar ele com força, isso me daria tempo para escapar. É uma oferta bem interessante, mas não obrigado. Eu dei um empurrão nele e comecei a correr para as escadas.
Ei, volta aqui!
Ele estava quase me alcançando quando de repente o chão caiu e o invasor de repente caiu num buraco no chão. Acho que isso deve ter doído. Eu dei uma olhada por cima da porta e vi o invasor deitado no chão. Não tinha como ele sobreviver a isso. Eu desci até lá embaixo bem rápido. Eu acho que ele não vai precisar mais dessa faca, não é mesmo?
Ei, quem tá aí?
Eu olhei pra fora da borda e o líder deles estava olhando bem pra mim. E eles começaram a atirar.
Atrás dele. Eu vou pegar você.
Eu fugi o mais rápido que eu pude. Era só o segundo dia e eu já tinha vários inimigos. Sinto que não vai ser a última vez que eu vou ver esses caras. No dia 3, eu continuei correndo até encontrar um prédio pra parar e recuperar o fôlego. Tá bom, ok. Então uma bomba nuclear explodiu a cidade. As fontes de água estão contaminadas e tem gangues de invasores nas ruas. Sem falar na horda de zumbis e dragões voadores. Acho que eu preciso dar o fora dessa cidade. Eu corri de volta pra estrada e comecei a sair da cidade. Eu não sei como lidar com criaturas mutantes, mas talvez eu possa conversar com esse chefe da máfia. Como era o nome dele? Finkel. Mas antes que eu pudesse fazer isso, eu tinha que ficar vivo, né? Enquanto eu estava atravessando o deserto, eu logo encontrei uma fazenda. Olha só esse lugar. Será que tem alguém morando aqui? Ao me aproximar, eu vi que tinha alguém chegando perto. Mas não era muito amigável. Era um zumbi. Toma isso, cérebro de mingau. Eu consegui dar uns bons golpes. Lutar contra os zumbis parece meio errado, mas eu sei que é o único jeito de eu sair vivo daqui. Depois de derrotar o primeiro, eu comecei a lutar contra outro zumbi. Me desculpa pelo seu amigo, mas eu não quero virar jantar hoje. A faca que eu peguei estava se mostrando bem útil. Eu consegui acertar os bons golpes e sobreviver mais um dia. Foi por pouco, mas talvez eu possa montar uma base no celeiro. Eu fui pro celeiro só pra encontrar mais zumbis. Eles estavam tentando me agarrar, mas eu derrubei eles com a minha faca. Será que essas pessoas moravam aqui? Quantos zumbis tem aqui dentro? Eu não quero ser infectado. Eu continuei lutando contra a horda e finalmente eu consegui eliminar todos eles. Com os zumbis derrotados, eu decidi entrar pra tentar montar um acampamento improvisado.
Ei, você aí.
Eu olhei pra baixo e pude ver um fazendeiro olhando pra mim.
Foi você que derrotou aqueles zumbis? Eu acho que você acabou de salvar minha vida. Por que você não desce aqui pra conversarmos?
Eu decidi descer. Ele parecia amigável, mas dá pra ver que ele tava tenso.
O que traz você por aqui? Não recebemos muitas visitas.
Então eu tava na cidade e acabei sendo atacado por invasores. E eu continuei correndo até encontrar essa fazenda. Ele pareceu relaxar um pouco depois que eu disse isso.
Sim, esses invasores estão causando problemas para nós. Eles matam tudo que vem, ou qualquer um que fique em seu caminho. Tudo por um chefe que ninguém conhece.
O Finkel, né? Eu meio que já sei quem ele é.
Sim, ele está tentando reunir todos os recursos para manter o poder sobre todos os outros sobreviventes. Aliás, você está com fome?
Ele jogou um pouco de água e pão pra mim, e eu rapidamente tomei e comi tudo. Muito obrigado, eu precisava disso.
Sem problema. Mas por que você não fica aqui um tempo? Vou arrumar uma cama pra você em casa. Aliás, meu nome é John.
John então me levou para sua casa na fazenda. Nos dias 4 e 5, John e eu começamos a construir minha própria seção da fazenda. Era bom ter um amigo por perto. Eu esperava que pudéssemos trabalhar juntos para localizar o Finkel e acabar com essa loucura toda. Com o exterior completo, preenchemos a parte de dentro com itens básicos que eu precisava. Obrigado, John. Acho que eu vou ficar muito feliz aqui. Depois de um tempo, perguntei pro John sobre lutar contra os invasores. Eu não tenho nada para me proteger além da minha faca.
Se você vai sobreviver aqui, tem que ter equipamento para isso. Não há muito por perto, mas posso ajudá-lo a obter o que precisamos. Espera aí.
John entrou e depois de um tempo ele saiu de novo.
Aqui, meu machado. Vai e corte umas dessas árvores e traga madeira pra nós.
Eu peguei o machado e fui até as árvores. Eu tenho que trabalhar pra cortá-las. Enquanto eu cortava, eu não conseguia parar de pensar no que aconteceu com os invasores. Será que ele ia conseguir me encontrar mesmo aqui? Eu terminei de cortar a madeira e voltei pro John. John me devolveu um pouco de madeira e me ensinou a fazer uma mesa de trabalho. Ele então mostrou como fazer um machado de pedra, usando alguns itens que eu coletei antes.
Bom trabalho. A outra coisa que eu quero mostrar. Vá no celeiro e procure nos barris. Deve ter um couro lá dentro que você pode usar.
Eu fui correndo em direção ao celeiro para pegar o couro. Não podia acreditar o quão sortudo eu era de ter um amigo. O John era como o irmão mais velho para mim. Eu mal podia esperar para ver o que ele mais ia me ensinar. Ok, eu peguei todo o couro que eu achei. O que eu faço com isso? Comecei a colocar todo o couro enquanto o John explicava.
Essa não é a arma mais forte, mas vai te manter seguro se você se encontrar em uma situação difícil. Você pode usar as suas habilidades para fazer armaduras de todos os tipos de materiais. Vai ser bem útil.
Com a armadura pronta, eu rapidamente equipei ela. Eu já me sinto mais seguro. Nos dias 6 a 8, eu acordei cedo para ir buscar mais mantimentos. Eu queria muito entrar em um acordo com o Finkel, mas por precaução eu tinha que estar preparado. Logo eu vi um pequeno povoado à distância. Assim que eu me aproximei, eu fui atacado por zumbis. Vocês são muito fedidos. Eu nem me sinto mal com isso. Havia uma horda grande de zumbis aqui, e os zumbis eram implacáveis. Da onde vocês estão vindo? Mas depois de um tempo eu consegui abrir caminho usando minha faca. Eu entrei na primeira construção e encontrei um pouco de ferro e sílex dentro. Legal! Mas quando eu saí, um outro grupo de zumbis atacou. Não, mais de vocês? Esses zumbis parecem ser mais rápidos que os outros, mas eu consegui segurá-los. Enquanto eu lutava para chegar na próxima estrutura, eu pude ver alguns zumbis presos nas janelas. Vocês não são muito espertos, né? Eu derrubei o resto da horda e fiz um trabalho fácil com os idiotas. presas na janela. Eu verifiquei os baús e consegui encontrar mais ferro e muito mais ouro. Um dos baús tinha até uma lâmina. O que será que eu posso fazer com isso? Eu verifiquei atrás do balcão e encontrei um armário de remédios com um kit de primeiros socorros. Legal, espero que eu nunca precise disso, mas é bom ter no bolso, né? Eu comecei a verificar a sala de armazenamento e coloquei em minhas mãos um fio de cobre e bateria, e também um pouco de borracha. Eu saí bem rápido e fui correndo para a próxima estrutura. Aqui tinha uma cozinha, e no baú tinha um pouco de água e mais sopa enlatada. Ainda bem que eu não tenho frescura para comer, que sorte. De repente eu escutei uma pancada no armário que estava atrás de mim. Ah não, será que alguém tá preso aqui dentro? Eu abri a porta só pra encontrar mais zumbis. Nem sei porque eu imaginei que teria outra coisa aqui. Os zumbis me pegaram de surpresa, mas eu consegui eliminar todos. Lá dentro eu consegui arrumar mais baterias e bandagens. Parece que eu consegui bastante suprimentos. John vai me ensinar a fazer muitas coisas legais com isso. Com os bolsos cheios, eu voltei pra fazenda. Mas quando eu cheguei, parecia que tinha alguma coisa errada. De repente, o lugar todo começou a explodir. Ah não, John! Foi então que eu vi o que causou toda a destruição. Foram os invasores de antes. Ah não.
Nós dissemos que iríamos encontrá-lo. Você vai pagar pelo que fez com meu amigo.
Mas foi um acidente, ele me atacou. Cadê o John?
É olho por olho aqui, cara. A única pessoa que você tem que se preocupar é consigo mesmo.
O que você fez com ele? Na minha raiva, eu comecei a atacar os invasores. Esqueci completamente que eles tinham armas. Enquanto eu avançava, eu levei alguns tiros, mas minha armadura me protegeu de sofrer muito dano. Toma só isso. Eu consegui acertar um deles, mas os tiros foram demais e rapidamente me nocautearam. Minha cabeça. Onde que tá o João? Eu comecei a perder a consciência quando eu escutei uma voz ao longe. Corram todos! Uma velha veio correndo pro acampamento. O Skylurker está vindo! Skylurker? Ela deve estar falando daquele dragão mutante.
Deixem-no, meninos. Vamos sair fora daqui.
Os invasores fugiram, mas eu não consegui me mexer. Enquanto eu perdia a consciência, eu pude ver o rosto daquela mulher. No dia 9, eu acordei uma pequena cabana, com a velha por perto. Ela estava costurando minhas feridas. O que aconteceu? Como a gente escapou do dragão? Ela começou a sorrir de repente.
Não ouvia, Skylurker. Eu só fiz isso para salvar a sua pele. Meu nome é Maggie.
Nossa, obrigado, Maggie. Eu não teria saído dessa sem você. Cadê o John? Quando eu perguntei, o sorriso dela desapareceu.
Não tenho certeza. Eu vi os capangas levá-lo de volta pro celeiro, mas eu não quero pensar muito nisso.
Eu não consigo deixar de sentir que é tudo minha culpa. Eles só encontraram ele porque foram atrás de mim.
Como eu disse, melhor não pensar muito sobre isso. Concentre-se no futuro.
Eu sabia que ela tinha uns segredos, mas eu não queria bisbilhotar. O que aconteceu aqui, afinal? Eu lembro que uma bomba explodiu e quando eu acordei, o mundo estava diferente. Eu acho que eu apaguei por um bom tempo.
O mundo já estava em estado de caos quando a bomba caiu, mas como você imagina, a bomba mudou tudo. Finkel Fredrickson, ou Finkel, agora como chamam, rapidamente subiu ao poder, comandando vigilantes, prometendo poder e controle. Eu o vi apenas uma vez. Ele é metade homem, metade máquina. Dizem que ele tem um esconderijo, acumulando recursos, mas ninguém pode alcançá-lo. Ele vive do outro lado do deserto. Não tem como chegar. Se você quer derrotá-lo, você vai ter uma grande tarefa.
Eu levei um segundo para pensar em tudo que ela tinha me dito. Bom, eu sobrevivi a uma explosão nuclear. Desafiar o impossível não é nenhuma novidade. Eu podia ver um brilho em seus olhos quando ela me deu um sorriso.
Então vamos começar o trabalho.
Nos dias 10 a 11 eu estava me sentindo um pouquinho melhor e decidi que já podia sair. Obrigado pela ajuda, Meg. Bom saber que tem pessoas boas por aí.
Foi um prazer, Zozo. Mas você não precisa ir embora. Você pode ficar se quiser.
Bem que eu queria, mas depois do que eu fiz com o John, eu não posso deixar isso acontecer com você.
Bom, se esse for o caso, pegue o cavalo e desça a estrada. Há umas estruturas que podem ser úteis.
Eu fui lá pra fora e subi no cavalo de Meg. Meg tinha tudo aqui. Se o Finkel encontrasse ela, ele teria uma luta, entanto. Ao longe eu pude ver uma grande estrutura. Parecia um posto de gasolina. Enquanto eu cavalgava, eu vi uns zumbis por aí. Mais de vocês, né? Por que não estou surpreso? Eu montei no cavalo e comecei a atacar o primeiro zumbi. Até que foi fácil. Depois de derrubar o primeiro, eu me virei e percebi que havia mais. Então, eu deixei o cavalo para lutar com eles em pé. Eu não queria matar o cavalo da Meg. Tá achando que você vai comer meu cérebro? Acertei um crítico e derrubei o primeiro carinha. Então, rapidamente dei uns golpes para derrubar o segundo. Esses caras são fáceis. Tinha uma horda inteira vindo direto pra mim. Cara, vocês não ficam cansados, não? Dá pra ficar longe de mim? A horda me perseguia, enquanto eu derrubava eles um por um. Eu continuei atacando e finalmente consegui derrotar todos eles. Isso foi muito trabalhoso. Acho que tem mais lá dentro. Vamos ao trabalho. Eu fui até o posto de gasolina, lutando contra os zumbis ao longo do caminho. Enquanto lutava, contei que havia algumas máquinas de venda automáticas. O lugar também era bem grande. Se eu pudesse acabar com esses caras, seria uma ótima base. Eu lutei no caminho até a próxima sala e me defendi de um ataque final dos zumbis restantes. Finalmente derrotei todos eles. Até que enfim, agora, deixa eu ver se eu consigo arrumar esse lugar. Vai ser uma ótima base. Minha primeira tarefa era cortar aquelas árvores gigantes lá fora. Eu vou precisar de muita madeira se eu for reparar todos os buracos desse lugar. Assim que peguei o que precisava, comecei arrumando a entrada com portas e tábuas de madeira. Putz, olha só esse telhado. Isso não vai dar certo com tantos buracos. Qual qualquer um pode entrar aqui dentro. Então comecei a trabalhar usando tábuas de madeira para preencher os buracos. Demorou muito tempo, mas eu não podia arriscar o zumbi ou o invasor saltando em mim. Depois de arrumar o telhado, eu comecei a limpar a bagunça que tava. Eu limpei pilhas de pedras e remendei os buracos na parede. Depois, eu fui pro corredor da base e coloquei algumas luzes. Esse lugar parece ótimo. Agora vamos ver se tem alguma coisa nas máquinas de venda. Eu dei uma olhada e fiquei feliz que tinha água e batatinhas também. Eu dei um pouco de água pro cavalo e fiz um lanchinho. Mas que sorte, não vai demorar pra eu rastrear o Finkel e eu espero fazer umas mudanças positivas nesse mundo. Nos dias 12 a 15, eu voltei para a casa de Meg para devolver o seu cavalo. Quando cheguei, ela estava em uma cadeira sentada do lado de fora. Bom dia, Meg. Eu encontrei um ótimo lugar para uma base. Valeu pela dica, viu?
Fico feliz em ajudar, Zozo. Aliás, tem outra dica pra você. Há uma instalação de armas na estrada. Dizem que houve uma atividade zumbi, mas deve ter bastante loot. Se você quer enfrentar o Finkel e seus invasores, você vai precisar desses equipamentos.
Com certeza. Obrigado pela dica. Vou ver o que eu posso encontrar. Eu comecei a correr em direção ao armazém. Eu vi o terreno começar a mudar. Eu devo estar chegando bem perto. Mais à frente eu vi mais um grupo de zumbis. Esses caras devem fazer parte da atividade zumbi que Meg mencionou. Será que eles lutearam? Eu corri até eles e comecei a lutar contra a horda. Foi quando percebi que um deles estava segurando algo único. Ei, esse cara tem um facão. Isso pode ser útil. Essa faquinha que eu tô usando já está por um fio. Eu continuei com a luta e levei até uns golpes, mas ainda bem que eu tinha essa armadura, que não deixava eles encostarem em mim para me infectar. Agora sim, deixa eu ver esse facão. Eu peguei o facão que dropou do zumbi. Acho que ele pegou isso aqui novinho em folha. Nos dias 16 a 19, eu podia ver o armazém logo à frente. Quando cheguei um pouco mais perto, eu pude ver outra horda de zumbis bloqueando meu caminho. Mas esses caras se vestiam todos iguais? Hora de apresentar vocês ao meu novo amiguinho. O facão, eu tô falando do facão. Quando comecei a lutar, eu cheguei perto e pude ver que eles estavam com trajes de proteção. Parece que teve um acidente grave aqui que deixou todos infectados. Mesmo com roupas de proteção, se eu pudesse ter um traje de proteção também, eu vou conseguir andar por vários ambientes tóxicos. Oi pessoal, tudo bem com vocês? Vocês não se importam se eu pegar isso emprestado, né? Com minha arma nova e habilidades de luta, eu consegui derrubar o último zumbi. Eu continuei avançando e fui pro armazém. Mas assim que eu entrei, eu escutei um som aterrorizante no teto. Mas o que é isso? Pro meu horror, havia algum tipo de urso mutante pendurado no teto, e ele estava olhando bem pra mim. Tinha uns caixotes do outro lado do prédio. Talvez tivesse alguns trajes de proteção. Relaxa aí, amiguinho, não precisa entrar em pânico. Eu tentei escapar, mas não adiantou. O urso mutante rastejou bem em cima da minha cabeça e caiu em cima de mim. Por que tudo cai na minha cabeça? Isso não era qualquer tipo de urso mutante. Ele dava bastante dano. Ele conseguiu até quebrar o meu capacete. Se eu continuar apanhando desse jeito, eu não vou conseguir sobreviver a essa criatura. O urso usou suas garras gigantes e me golpeou de novo. Mas felizmente eu consegui usar o novo facão a meu favor e derrubar ele. Cara, esses monstros mutantes são realmente brutais. Essa aqui realmente foi por muito pouco. Pelo menos não era um Skylurker, né? De repente eu escutei um som de trovão e as nuvens se aproximaram. E depois começou a chover. Pera, chuva? Talvez eu possa pegar um pouco de água. Eu saí na chuva, mas na hora eu comecei a me machucar. Será que era chuva ácida? Ah, tá queimando. Eu quase esqueci. Será que tem um traje de proteção aqui? Eu vasculhei as caixas que eu vi mais cedo. Opa, perfeito. Tem um traje aqui dentro. Eu vasculhei outras caixas e encontrei o resto do traje. Depois de me vestir, eu vi que estava com muito mais armadura. Agora sim eu tô protegido. Vamos testar esse negócio. Eu corri pra fora e nada aconteceu. O traje era perfeito. Eu até me esgueirei até a beira de um mirante pra dar uma olhada melhor. Sem problema, parece que eu tô pronto. Eu vou sair fora daqui. Nos dias 20 a 22, eu estava voltando do armazém quando eu encontrei o acampamento no deserto. Eu me esgueirei até a beira de um mirante para dar uma olhada melhor. São os invasores que eu vi antes, mas parece que o líder não está aqui. Essa vai ser uma ótima chance de saltar sobre eles. Então, me esgueirei pelo cume e fui por trás. Com um pouco de areia, eu coloquei uns blocos para escalar o topo de sua base. Ok, parece que tem apenas uns caras aqui. Acho que eu posso pegar os dois de surpresa. Eu pulei e rapidamente derrubei o primeiro com meu facão. Fez um pouco de barulho, mas os outros invasores não perceberam nada. Parece que você é o próximo. Eu me esgueirei até o outro invasor e consegui derrotá-lo antes que ele pudesse soar o alarme também. Depois que ele sumiu, eu percebi que ele dropou uma coisa. Uma espingarda. Maravilha. E o que é isso? Ordens? Assim que eu abri o livro, eu percebi que eram ordens do chefe. Deve ser o Finkel. Ele deve estar expandindo a operação. Parece que vou ter que me esforçar muito mais. Com minha nova espingarda, eu me esgueirei até o canto e espiei os caras perto do fogo. Isso é pelo John! Eu explodi o primeiro cara antes de pegar meu facão pra finalizar ele. Vocês não vão machucar ninguém nunca mais. Eu balancei meu facão e acabei com o segundo cara também. Sem guardas, agora eu tinha liberdade pra vasculhar. Eu comecei a olhar dentro dos baús e consegui munição de espingarda, ferro, e eu encontrei um acessório também, que coloquei na espingarda. Parece que eu já peguei tudo que tinha aqui, mas tem mais caras aqui. Eu tenho que acabar com eles, e logo. No dia 23, eu estava atravessando o deserto quando vi algo estranho alojado na terra à frente. Caramba, será que isso é o que eu tô pensando? Ao me aproximar, eu vi que era um submarino gigante. Um submarino por aqui? Eu não sei como chegou até aqui, mas é um absurdo ver um submarino num lugar desses. E tem um sinal também que parece um sininho. Sabe? E toque o sininho. Se você conseguir entender, então manda bala. Nos dias 24 a 29, eu cheguei de volta à base e vi que ela estava cheia de zumbis de novo. Ai, não, pensei que eu tinha me livrado de vocês. Eu peguei minha espingarda e acabei com eles. Eles não tinham chances contra minha nova arma. E um a um, eu derrubei todos eles. Dessa vez vocês não vão levantar de novo. Eu fiz o caminho até a base matando eles. Eu poderia ficar aqui o dia inteiro, mas eu não teria munição pra isso. Eu decidi que essa base precisava de melhorias se eu quisesse sobreviver aos perigos à frente. Assim que o último zumbi foi eliminado, eu decidi começar a trabalhar cavando um bunker sobre minha base. Se já explodiram uma bomba nuclear, a segunda ia ser fácil. Imagine se o Finkel tivesse uma. Ninguém ia ficar seguro. Eu consegui limpar um grande espaço na minha base, mas depois eu acabo. Depois comecei a trabalhar na construção de uma parede, usando materiais que eu coletei cavando o bunker. Enquanto eu andava pela base, eu encontrei uns carros largados fora do posto. Isso me lembra uma coisa que John mostrou. Deixa eu dar uma olhadinha mais de perto. Eu fui pra estação e peguei um macaco de carro, assim como ferramentas, e as trouxe pra fora. Eu levantei a van com o macaco e dei uma olhadinha mais de perto. O bloco do motor tá em ótimas condições. Eu acho que eu vou conseguir consertar a van usando isso. Eu fui pra loja e coloquei o motor dentro da van. Também coloquei umas rodas que eu achei pelo posto. Eu pulei dentro da van. Bom, eu preciso da chave e um pouco de combustível. Assim que eu conseguir os dois, eu vou andar muito mais rápido. Animado com meu brinquedo novo, eu fui pra fora e continuei com a parede. Eu cheguei à beira do posto e comecei a voltar por onde havia começado. Eu tava quase terminando quando de repente ouvi um grito.
Socorro, socorro, senhor, socorro!
Eu olhei pra cima e vi um grupo de zumbis do deserto perseguindo o garotinho morro abaixo. Aguenta aí, garoto, eu te salvo. Eu não tava com a minha arma, então eu corri com meu facão mesmo. Uou, esses caras são rápidos. Eu levei alguns golpes e eles estavam dando bastante dano. Por que vocês não brigam com alguém do seu tamanho? Eu continuei lutando e consegui derrotar a horda. Ei, garoto, tudo bem com você?
Agora sim, obrigado. Mas minha família ainda está em perigo. Um monte de zumbi apareceu do nada. Eu não sei se eles sobreviveram.
Então não temos tempo a perder, eu te ajudo. Me mostre o caminho. O garotinho voltou correndo com ele na cima. Tomara que a gente chegue a tempo. Nos dias 30 e 35, o garotinho e eu corremos de volta para a base de sua família. Mas ao chegar perto, não parecia nada bom. O lugar estava todo em chamas e tinha zumbis para todos os lados. Isso não parece nada bom, garoto, mas eu vou ver o que eu posso fazer. Fique aqui. Eu corri em direção à base enquanto os zumbis me atacavam. Seus dias de comer cérebro acabaram. Depois de matar uns zumbis, eu notei que o garotinho tinha me seguido. O que você está fazendo? Isso é muito perigoso.
Minha família está aqui. Eu não posso ficar atrás e me esconder.
Tá bom, só fica atrás de mim, enquanto a gente avança. Depois de acabar com o último zumbi da horda, eu vi que um deles tinha dropado uma arma. Olha só, é uma K-47. Agora sim. Eu comecei a correr descarregando o pente em vários zumbis. Essa arma era bem forte, mas não tinha muitas balas, que logo acabaram e eu tive que mudar pra minha faca.
Continua, senhora, a gente vai atravessar.
Enquanto eu lutava, eu pude ver que esse garoto era pequeno, mas bem corajoso, e eu respeitava isso. Enfim, chegamos à rua principal do assentamento e começamos a procurar os prédios em busca de sobreviventes. Desculpa, mas parece que não tem ninguém aqui. Eu vou continuar procurando. Eu lutei contra mais zumbis enquanto me movia para outros prédios, mas não importava o quanto eu procurasse, não tinha ninguém ali. Eu consegui acabar com o último zumbi, então me encontrei com o garoto. Desculpa, mas parece que todos foram exterminados pelos zumbis. É melhor a gente sair daqui o mais rápido possível. Mais deles podem aparecer. O garoto concordou e começamos a sair. Mas pouco antes de sairmos da base, nós ouvimos alguns gritos.
Socorro! Socorro! Tem alguém aí? Eu acho que é minha irmã.
O garotinho começou a correr em direção aos gritos. Pouco tempo depois, ele voltou correndo junto de uma garotinha.
A minha irmã estava escondida em uma caixa. Obrigada por ajudar, senhora.
Eu fico feliz em ajudar, pessoal. Por que vocês não ficam na minha base? Eles concordaram e quando começamos a sair, eu vi que tinha uma bancada de trabalho por perto. Então aproveitei para fazer armas e munição. Eu fui bem rápido e fomos embora. Nos dias 36 a 40, eu voltei pra base com as crianças. Eu as levei para dentro da minha base e disse que teria água fresca e comida. Fiquem à vontade que eu vou construir um lugar para vocês ficarem. Eu comecei removendo essas prateleiras. Depois eu fiz um outro andar. Assim que a plataforma estava pronta, eu fui em frente e montei umas camas e outros móveis para as crianças e para mim. Um lugar para vocês. Eu sei que é novo, mas eu espero que vocês possam ser felizes. Tudo parecia bem, então decidi começar a trabalhar em uma área de trabalho. Eu tinha coletado um monte de coisa, mas até agora não tinha como usar. Logo, o espaço de trabalho estava completo. Eu estava sem munição e minhas armas precisavam de umas melhorias. Eu comecei pela espingarda, fazendo algumas melhorias. Assim que eu terminei, fiz a mesma coisa com a K-47. Com tudo pronto, eu usei um pouco de ferro, ouro e pólvora para moldar umas balas. Eu também usei meu facão para fazer um facão elétrico, para eu bater 2 vezes mais forte. Quero só ver o Finkel mexer comigo agora. Então eu saí e comecei um novo projeto. Eu me senti meio mal com o que aconteceu com as crianças, mas eu tive uma ideia para talvez animar elas. E não demorou para eu fazer o playground para eles brincarem. Olha só, pessoal, eu fiz isso para vocês.
Uau, Zozo, obrigado! A gente adorou!
Enquanto eles brincavam com seus novos brinquedos, eu tentei arar o solo e plantar umas sementes. Eu fiquei feliz em cuidar dessas crianças, mas procurar comida não ia resolver. A gente tinha que ser autossuficiente. Depois de um tempo, porém, o solo rejeitou as sementes. Isso não tá dando certo, mas acho que eu tenho outra ideia. Eu voltei pro bunker e comecei a trabalhar cavando um jardim interno. O solo não era muito bom para o cultivo de trigo, mas talvez cogumelos pudessem sobreviver. E depois de um tempo estava tudo pronto. Agora que temos uma fonte de alimento, eu precisava de um lugar pra gente comer a comida. Eu trabalhei criando uma área no bunker para todos nós guardarmos os alimentos que cultivamos e, claro, comê-los. Foi bastante construção, mas acho que a gente vai ficar de boa nessa base até o final. Nos dias 41 a 43, eu decidi olhar uma cidade próxima em busca de suprimentos. Eu também queria testar as novas armas atualizadas. Quando cheguei perto dos zumbis, eu peguei meu facão elétrico e coloquei ele pra trabalhar. Caramba, essa coisa corta, esses caras iam golpe. Minha arma nova era incrível, mas eu não podia ficar muito animado porque eu ouvi um gemido aterrorizante à distância. Da onde veio esse barulho? Eu terminei de lutar contra os zumbis e vi um zumbi gigantesco parado fora de uma loja velha. Foi quando eu consegui ouvir alguns gritos de socorro vindo de dentro.
Oh não! Saia de perto de mim! Socorro!
Ah não, alguém tá preso lá dentro. Segura aí, eu tô chegando. Eu corri com a minha AK atualizada e equipada, pronta pra lutar. O zumbi me viu e começou a caminhar em minha direção. Um dos outros zumbis estava em meu caminho, então o grandão deitou e esmagou até a morte. Caramba, esse cara não tá de brincadeira. Ele andou mais um pouco na minha direção e então soltou um rugido de medo. Me causou dano. Ai, meus ouvidos! Eu abri fogo pra tentar diminuir um pouco a sua vida. Isso deixou ele doido. Com muita raiva, ele pegou um bloco de areia e jogou em mim. Eu mal consegui sair do caminho. Come chumbo, sua besta! Eu continuei atirando e notei que toda vez que ele soltava esses gritos, mais zumbis apareciam no chão. Eu queria me concentrar em derrubar esse cara, mas eu continuei tendo que lutar contra novos zumbis. Ele continuou jogando blocos em mim, até que me acertou, causando cegueira temporária. Ai não, eu não consigo ver nada. Eu atirei às cegas e quando minha visão voltou, um zumbi estava apenas alguns passos de mim. Uou, peraí. Como que eu vou vencer esse cara? Pareciam que os zumbis não iam acabar, então eu não conseguia atingir ele. Eu tava ficando quase sem vida bem rápido. Foi quando eu tive uma ideia. Ei, sem cérebro, vem aqui. Os zumbis pequenos eram bem mais rápidos, então consegui afastá-los do grandalhão, agrupando eles. Agora que eu tava fora do alcance do grandão, eu pude matar os pequenos um por um. Não é à toa que vocês querem meu cérebro. O de vocês é inútil. Por fim, eu eliminei todos e consegui me concentrar no grandão. Sempre que novos zumbis apareciam, eu eliminava eles rápido para poder focar a atenção no grandão. Finalmente ele caiu e desapareceu. Essa foi por pouco. Agora, quem que tava pedindo ajuda? Eu fui pra loja e comecei a procurar. Atrás de um balcão estava um cara vestido com roupas de comerciante.
Meu bom senhor, você foi incrível!
Ah, obrigado. Fico feliz que você está bem.
Depois dessa exibição incrível de luta, como que eu poderia não estar? Pegue este incrível item como símbolo de minha gratidão.
O comerciante me deu um sombreiro? Ah, obrigada, isso é muito legal.
Você não tem que me agradecer. Você não faz ideia de quantas pessoas simplesmente matariam para ter essa coisa. Mas só porque somos bons amigos, estou disposto a lhe dar algo ainda melhor. Uma arma inestimável, mas por um preço, é claro.
Eu não confiava muito nesse cara, mas se ele realmente tivesse uma arma poderosa, isso podia ajudar. Tudo bem, qual que é o preço?
Eu tenho uma outra loja não muito longe daqui, cheia de suprimentos, mas um certo monstro ficou por lá. Se você cuidar disso para mim, ficarei feliz em lhe dar essa arma especial.
Acho que eu posso fazer isso. Quão perigoso esse monstro é?
Baseado no que acabei de ver você fazer, acho que esse monstrinho não vai te causar nenhum tipo de problema.
Se você diz, bom, eu já volto então. Nos dias 44 e 49, eu cheguei fora da loja que o comerciante falou. Esse lugar parece abandonado, e eu acho que ninguém deve ter vindo aqui por um bom tempo. Mas acho que é bom dar uma olhada mesmo assim. Mas quando eu entrei, eu não vi nada diferente. Prateleiras vazias, não parecia ter nada aqui dentro. Eu olhei uma das caixas e consegui arranjar umas balas. Bom, eu não consigo ver nada, o monstro deve ter saído daqui. Acho que eu vou voltar e contar as boas notícias. Foi então que eu escutei um barulho terrível da janela, e uma torrente de fogo veio rasgando. Ai não, é o Skylurker. Eu comecei a correr enquanto ele veio estourando pela janela, me perseguindo. Eu pulei uma outra janela e tentei escapar. Vamos ver se você gosta disso. Eu comecei a atirar usando as balas que eu peguei pra minha K-47. Eu sabia que eu tava causando dano nele, mas ele também tava. O fogo dele começou a doer de verdade. Eu tô ficando sem coração. Eu preciso de cobertura. Eu comecei a comer pra tentar recuperar minha vida. O dragão ficou atirando fogo, mas eu consegui recuperar minha vida. Você não vai fugir de mim agora. O dragão começou a voar enquanto eu atirava nele, e eu comecei a achar que eu ia derrotar esse bicho. Finalmente ele pousou e depois de mais uns tiros, eu acertei o tiro final. Esse cara é poderoso. Eu espero que ele seja o único por aqui. Eu voltei pra loja pra ver se tinha mais alguma coisa que eu pudesse usar. Eu logo vi um recipiente de combustível em uma das prateleiras. Perfeito, é tudo que eu precisava pra usar minha van. Olhei mais umas caixas e encontrei um conjunto completo de equipamentos militares pesados. E eu equipei tudo rapidinho. Dá uma olhada, minha armadura tá completamente cheia. Bem que eu podia ter achado isso antes da briga com o dragão. Parece que não tem mais nada pra mim aqui dentro, então eu saí pra avisar o comerciante. Mal podia esperar pra ver qual item poderoso ele iria me dar. Nos dias 50 a 53, eu voltei pro comerciante. Ao entrar de novo na cidade que ele tava, eu abri caminho através de uma pequena horda de zumbis. Sai do meu caminho. Depois de matar os zumbis, eu entrei só pra ver o comerciante cochilando na sua cadeira. Ei, amigo, eu tô de volta. Ele lentamente se mexeu e quase caiu da cadeira quando me viu.
Você sobreviveu? Você sobreviveu, como eu tinha pensado. Eu estou muito feliz em ver que você sobreviveu, como pensei que você iria sobreviver.
É claro, o Skylurker era bem forte, mas eu derrubei ele. E agora o item poderoso que você prometeu.
Sim, um item poderoso. Eu devo ter isso. Deixa eu ver.
O comerciante foi até um baú e começou a vasculhar.
Isso vai dar certo.
Quando ele se virou, ele tinha um enorme lançador de foguetes.
Você acha que isso é um item poderoso?
Uau, isso parece incrível! Eu vou derrubar toneladas de inimigos com isso.
Sobre isso. Acho melhor apontar para apenas uma dessas toneladas de inimigos. Essa é simplesmente a maior e mais poderosa arma já feita. Na verdade, ela é tão poderosa que não pode aguentar mais do que apenas um tiro. Então, use com muita sabedoria. De preferência longe de mim.
Ele me deu a arma e eu vi que se chamava Comet Fall. Legal esse nome. Eu vou guardar ela para um inimigo bem poderoso. Nos dias 54 e 57, eu voltei para minha base quando ouvi um barulho estranho, mas aterrorizante à minha frente. O que foi isso? Parecia um Skylurker, mas era diferente. Eu continuei correndo à frente quando eu vi algo se rastejar por cima do prédio à minha frente. De repente, eu congelei.
Isso é um Skylurker zumbificado?
Certeza que o Skylurker que eu matei estava bem na minha frente. Ele foi transformado em um zumbi. Ele decolou do prédio e pousou bem na minha frente. Oi, eu sei que tivemos maus entendidos, mas... O dragão começou a soltar um rugido alto. Eu não podia arriscar dessa vez. Desculpa, mas você me obrigou a fazer isso. Eu peguei o Comet Fall. Acho que agora seria um bom momento para ter esse grande poder de fogo em minhas mãos. Hora de você ir pro submundo, só que dessa vez pra sempre. Eu puxei o gatilho, o foguete disparou e nada. A arma era totalmente falsa. Mas o que é isso? O dragão soltou outro rugido e começou a me pulverizar com seu sopro de dragão morto-vivo. Ele estava ainda mais forte do que antes. Aquele comerciante, quem ele pensa que é? Ele vai acabar comigo assim. Eu consegui dar uns tiros nele, mas não adiantou. Minha última esperança era fugir. O dragão me seguiu um pouco e eu tava praticamente sem nenhuma vida. Mas eu consegui comer e por sorte eu escapei sem morrer. Nos dias 58 a 62, eu finalmente consegui chegar na minha base. A primeira coisa que eu fiz foi trabalhar em um quarto de um bunker. Com aquele dragão zumbi por aí, eu senti que qualquer coisa acima do solo não seria segura. Mas antes que eu pudesse terminar, eu ouvi um som estridente atrás de mim. Que é isso? Quantas baratas? De onde vocês vieram? Eu devo ter mexido em algum ninho, porque meu bunker inteiro estava cheio de baratas. Eu matei algumas, mas eu tinha que sair dali. Que nojento. Como é que eu vou limpar minha base agora? Não podemos viver num lugar assim. Foi então que eu tive uma brilhante ideia. Era a solução perfeita para esse probleminha de pragas. Para começar, eu fui para fora da minha base, bem onde eu tinha visto uma cascavel. Com licença, não liga para mim, eu só preciso pegar o seu rabo. Eu cortei a cascavel e peguei o chocalho de sua cauda. Eu corri até a mesa de trabalho e usei madeira para fazer o maracá. Mas antes que eu pudesse pôr em prática meu plano brilhante, a garotinha de antes correu até mim.
Zozo, meu irmão me disse que você encontrou um comerciante viajante. Eu sei quem ele é. Ele já foi no meu acampamento.
Deixa eu adivinhar. Ele tentou ganhar dinheiro fácil vendendo itens lixos, não é mesmo?
É isso mesmo, mas é bem pior. Ele trabalha para aqueles saqueadores de terrenos que estão te causando problemas. Ele rouba pessoas e dá suas coisas a invasores, em troca de proteção. Eu sei onde você pode encontrar.
Eu sabia que tinha algo errado com aquele cara. Ele é tão parte do problema quanto aqueles invasores. Eu vou ter que ensinar ele uma lição. Nos 4 dias seguintes, eu fiz planos para encontrar o comerciante na base dos invasores. Mas primeiro, eu precisava cuidar de umas coisinhas na minha base, principalmente as baratas. Vamos lá, espero que isso funcione. Comecei a sacudir o maracá e várias baratas vieram correndo até mim. Elas realmente gostam da minha música, não é?
Ei,
cara, belo ritmo. A gente pode tentar? Que bom que você gostou, eu fico feliz em compartilhar. Mas vocês precisam saber que não podem ficar aqui. É um risco para a saúde. Relaxa, já a gente vai embora. Joguei o maracá por uma delas e elas realmente gostaram. Uma simples infestação se transformou numa festa bem rápido. Até eu não pude deixar de pegar o sombreiro que eu tinha conseguido do comerciante e entrar na diversão. Muito obrigado pela diversão, amigo. Pegue isso como agradecimento. Eu sei que vocês humanos gostam desse tipo de coisa. Então quer dizer que a barata tinha a chave da minha van? Perfeito, era bem isso que eu tava procurando. Obrigado. Pouco depois, as baratas foram embora. Então eu decidi tentar ligar a minha van. Eu peguei o combustível que eu tinha juntado e completei o tanque. Então pulei no banco do motorista e girei a chave. E o motor deu sinal de vida. Tá funcionando, tá funcionando. Foi então que o garotinho entrou correndo na sala.
Uau, você conseguiu! Abre essa porta e vamos dar uma volta.
E a porta? Eu esqueci totalmente da porta. Não temos energia, então eu não sei como tirar o carro. carro.
Você viu a central elétrica lá em cima? Eu acho que é de lá que o posto pega energia, não é?
Ótima ideia. Rapidamente eu fui pra colina em direção à usina. Quando eu cheguei perto, guardas zumbis começaram a me atacar. Acabou o expediente, galera. Eu comecei a atravessar as hordas de zumbis até conseguir chegar lá dentro. Lá dentro tinha mais zumbis, mas eu consegui acabar com eles. Parece que o interruptor tá desligado. O que será que acontece se eu virar isso aqui? Eu virei o interruptor e eu vi umas máquinas ligarem. Parece que tinha luz aqui dentro. Ok, então tá funcionando. Mas deixa eu ver essa placa lá fora, pra ver se a energia tá saindo da estação. Chegando lá fora, eu liguei o interruptor do outdoor. E depois de um tempo, ele ligou. Então parece que tá funcionando. Vamos voltar pra base. De volta na base, eu ativei o interruptor do portão, que começou a se abrir. Então eu liguei a van e eu finalmente podia começar a dirigir. Hora de mostrar quem é que manda por aqui. Nos dias 67 e 70, eu fui até a base principal dos invasores. Segundo as crianças, o comerciante gostava de ficar por aqui. Assim que eu cheguei, eu vi que a base estava guardada com a grande porta pesada. Bom, eu tenho que entrar de algum jeito. É hora de fazer uma entrada bem dramática. Eu pisei fundo e fui em direção à porta. Acabou a festa por aqui. Eu saí da van e vi que alguns invasores próximos começaram a me atacar. Havia muitos deles, mas não eram páreos para minha armadura e armas novas. Cadê o líder de vocês? Eu corri através do pátio e encontrei outro esquadrão de invasores. Usando a cúpula como escudo, eu corri pelo lado de fora, pegando eles um por um. Vocês não são tão espertos assim, né? Assim que eu fiz a volta, eu comecei em direção à base. Eu tava indo muito bem, mas onde estava o negociante? Achei que os invasores nunca mais iriam acabar. E quando eu pensei que estava na vantagem, de repente eu escutei uma enorme explosão. Uou, de onde que veio isso? Um dos invasores tinha um lançador de granadas e ele estava dando trabalho. Eu procurei por cobertura e decidi ir por trás do prédio. Eu fui de fininho e consegui pegar ele por trás e fiz ele derrubar a sua arma. Olha, um presente, muito obrigado. Agora sim eu tava ficando forte. Eu continuei avançando e mostrei pra eles quem é que manda. Eu lancei granadas, usei minha AK, atirei neles com minha espingarda. Eu era uma equipe de demolição inteira de um homem só e ninguém me parar. Nos dias 71 e 74, eu ainda estava lutando contra a base. Quando finalmente eu vi um rosto familiar. Era o comerciante.
Eu tenho um novo presente pra você.
Ele jogou alguma coisa pra mim. Era uma granada. A granada quase explodiu na minha cara. Mas era só de fumaça. Esse cara não tinha armas boas nem mesmo pra ele. Mas que piada! Usando a fumaça como cobertura, eu rapidamente mudei de posição, lançando granadas enquanto isso. Vocês me enganaram pela última vez. Eu lancei uma granada no comerciante. Atingiu ele, mas não forte o suficiente. Eu tinha que ir lá em cima. Eu saí do meu canto e consegui pegar os invasores restantes. Agora não tinha nada entre mim e o comerciante. Nem pense em correr. Eu subi por trás do barco e fui até o comerciante. Você vai fazer gracinha? Ele balançou a cabeça e guardou sua arma.
Ok. Você me pegou. Eu não queria que acabasse assim. Por favor, pegue tudo que eu tenho. Pode levar.
Ele começou a despejar tudo que tinha nos bolsos. Ele só tinha um monte de lixo. Você acha que eu quero seu lixo? Pode dropar tudo. Ele jogou umas esmeraldas e outros itens valiosos.
Isso é tudo, eu juro.
Tem certeza? Ele fez uma pausa e jogou mais alguns itens.
É verdade agora. Isso é tudo, eu juro.
Eu dei um passo à frente pra olhar mais de perto, mas ele conseguiu escapar por trás de mim e fugir do barco. Ah, não. Bom, que seja. Ele não é muito forte mesmo. Eu olhei mais de perto que ele havia dropado. Como eu suspeitava, era principalmente um monte de porcaria. Pelo menos a maioria. O que é isso? Recipiente de antídoto. Reduz a duração de efeitos negativos. Eu acho que isso pode ser útil. Eu então equipei ele no meu cinto. Beleza, agora eu só tenho que encontrar o líder e fazer ele mostrar onde que tá o Finkel. Nos 4 dias seguintes, eu continuei explorando a base e finalmente fiquei cara a cara com o líder dos invasores. Ei, lembra de mim?
Você acha que é um herói agora?
Esse mundo não precisa ser um lugar horrível para se viver. Me ajuda a encontrar o Finkel e vamos acabar com essa loucura.
Quem disse que não é um bom lugar para viver? Eu até gosto de como as coisas estão.
Então acho que eu vou ter que tirar você do meu caminho.
Eu quero ver você tentar.
Ele de repente pegou um frasco. Era uma poção. De repente ele começou a crescer em uma versão maior e muito mais forte. E depois pegou a minigun.
Cadê o herói agora?
O líder deu um salto e de repente começou a chover balas de sua minigun. Por essa eu não esperava. Eu tinha que me esconder.
Já tá correndo? Achei que você queria conversar.
Eu dei uns tiros nele com a AK enquanto eu fugia. Mas eu não sabia se eu estava causando dano. Não pareceu afetar ele nem um pouco. Hora de mudar a estratégia. Eu peguei umas granadas e joguei nele. Assim que eu abaixei, eu escutei a explosão. Será que eu peguei ele? E eu aproveitei esse tempo pra me curar. De repente ele apareceu no canto.
Não vai ser tão fácil assim.
Eu continuei correndo enquanto ele atirava. Eu peguei a espingarda, assim como as granadas, mas nada parecia acabar com ele. Uma hora ele me derrubou pra apenas um coração. Tudo que eu podia fazer era me esconder atrás da parede. Ele é muito forte.
Tá ficando com medo agora? Você tentou e falhou. Você não foi o primeiro e não vai ser o último.
O líder veio correndo pra acabar comigo, mas eu consegui me esconder em outro canto.
Já chega de correr. Isso acaba agora.
Ele conseguiu me alcançar, eu não tinha pra onde correr, mas de repente eu escutei uma explosão.
Deixe suas mãos longe do meu garoto.
A Maggie veio pulando no pátio, descendo um monte de balas do líder.
Essa mulher de novo, quem ela pensa que é?
Eu me apressei e corri pra me proteger enquanto eu vi Maggie trocar tiros com o líder. Eu engoli um pouco de comida e água pra poder voltar à luta o mais rápido possível. Assim que minha vida encheu, eu corri de volta pra luta. Foi quando eu escutei o clique inconfundível de um cartucho vazio. Quando eu encontrei eles, percebi que Maggie estava encurralada.
Parece que a velhinha ficou sem balas. Alguma última palavra?
Zozo, agora é com você.
A Maggie começou a avançar para atacar, mas quem derrubou ela? Maggie! Não! Primeiro John, agora a Maggie? Isso vai acabar agora mesmo. Com raiva eu pulei do prédio e bati nele com meu facão. Eu bati nele com tanta força que ele não conseguia nem me acertar com os tiros. Eu joguei uma bomba de fumaça para esconder os meus rastros.
Cadê você?
Ele ficou meio confuso, então ataquei mais uma vez. É hora de acabar com isso. Você já era. Eu dei o golpe final e o líder desapareceu. Depois que ele sumiu, eu vi que ele dropou a minigun. É claro que eu peguei. Agora é minha vez de administrar o terreno. Nos dias 39 e 84, eu tirei um momento para refletir sobre Maggie e tudo que ela fez por mim. Eu coloquei uma flor onde ela tinha morrido. Maggie foi uma das pessoas mais corajosas que conheci. E se não fosse por ela, eu não teria sobrevivido. Eu devo a ela encontrar o Finkel e salvar esse mundo. Eu dou minha palavra. Depois de um minuto de silêncio, eu saí para procurar coisas pela base. Tinha que ter alguma coisa que pudesse me ajudar. Ao verificar os baús, eu achei que eu estava procurando mapa pro boss. Agora eu vou conseguir atravessar o deserto e chegar até o Finkel. Muito feliz, eu voltei para minha van. Também peguei mais gasolina e pneus off-road. Eu precisava chegar lá rápido. Só mais uma paradinha na base para me preparar e devo ser capaz de acabar com isso para sempre. Nos dias 85 a 89, eu fui de volta pra base. Quando eu parei, o garotinho saiu correndo e abriu a garagem pra mim. Era bom vê-lo de novo. Eu não tinha muito tempo, então comecei a trabalhar para atualizar as armas. Eu comecei com o meu lançador. Eu atualizei usando um bloco de ferro. Depois eu peguei a minigun para que eu pudesse ter uma cadência de tiro ainda maior. O Finkel não vai nem ver o que atingiu. Com as armas atualizadas, eu segui para o meu carro. Usando a chave, eu tirei as rodas e substituí pelas rodas off-road que encontrei. Daqui a pouco essa coisa vira um veículo tático. O próximo passo era terminar a minha base. Se alguma coisa acontecesse comigo, eu tinha que ter certeza que as crianças iriam ficar bem. Primeiro, eu tinha que deixar tudo bem iluminado. Eu fui em cada cômodo, assim como ao redor do terreno, e montei um sistema de iluminação. Agora posso ligar a base inteira só com um interruptor. Antes de ir pro bunker, eu tinha mais um grande projeto pro exterior. A Maggie era uma grande inspiração pra mim, e sempre ajudou quando eu precisava. Eu fiz uma estátua para que pessoas por gerações possam se inspirar nela. Com a estátua pronta, eu fui para o bunker e construí uma porta de segurança. Então me apressei e terminei o resto do interior. Eu finalmente terminei o bunker, incluindo o arsenal adequado e uma sala de construção. Agora vou atualizar a armadura. Peguei tudo o que precisava e comecei a atualizar a armadura. E usando esses materiais, eu consegui aumentar a durabilidade da armadura. Com tudo pronto, era hora de partir. Eu peguei minha mais nova armadura do suporte e saí. Nos dias 90 a 94, eu atravessei aquele deserto que parecia impossível. Os ventos eram muito fortes e de vez em quando havia enormes nuvens de poeira, o que deixava difícil de ver para onde eu estava indo. Agora eu sei porque eles dizem que é impossível. Se eu não tivesse esse mapa, eu estaria perdido. Eu continuei avançando mesmo por um monte de trincheiras. Havia até piscinas de lava nas quais eu podia facilmente ter caído. Depois de viajar um pouco, eu pude ver um oásis ao longe. Perfeito, eu acho que eu vou desmaiar de insolação com todo esse equipamento que eu tô usando. Infelizmente, minha van não tem um ar-condicionado. Eu parei no oásis e tirei o capacete para dar um mergulho. Ah, sim, eu precisava disso. Eu acho que não falta muito. Eu tava de boa quando comecei a ouvir um barulho estranho. Eu saí da água e puxei minha arma. O que é isso? Parece estar cavando. O som continuou, até que de repente um velho de areia saiu do chão e me atacou. Uou, peraí! Eu comecei a atirar, mas ele voltou pro subsolo. Um pouco depois, ele saltou de novo. Ah, quase não dá pra acertar ele. Parecia que ele tava ficando maior. Ele ficava se escondendo, mas eu consegui acertar alguns tiros. Bom, agora já chega. Eu peguei a minigun. Quando o bicho apareceu, eu descarreguei o pente, acabando com ele. Chega de me arriscar. Eu vou dar o fora daqui. Nos dias 95 a 97, eu continuei pelo deserto na van e finalmente vi a torre aparecendo. Era uma torre realmente gigante em ruínas, mas no topo dava pra ver árvores. Árvores? Tem que ser aqui. Como que alguém ia ter árvores, exceto acumulando recursos? Tava na hora da ação. Eu corri por da principal quando um grupo de invasores começou a atacar. Onde tá o Finkel? Os invasores eram implacáveis, se jogando no meu caminho, mas não eram páreos para o meu poder de fogo. Eu fui até o elevador. Eu tinha certeza que ele estava no último andar. Quando me aproximei dele, porém, eu pude ver que estava quebrado. Parece que nós vamos ter que pegar as escadas. Exercício sempre é bom. Eu corri para as escadas e subi a longa e sinuosa coluna. Depois do que parecia ser uma quantidade infinita de escadas, eu saltei para o chão de um escritório. Mas invasores estavam me esperando para emboscar. Vocês precisam de muito mais do que isso para me vencer. Ainda bem que eu tirei um tempinho para atualizar minhas armas e armaduras. Eu tomei vários tiros, mas nada muito ruim. Ao limpar uma sala dos invasores, eu vi que um deles dropou alguma coisa. Uau, olha só isso! Lançador de foguetes? Agora eu fiquei animado. No dia 98, eu demorei um pouquinho para recuperar o fôlego antes de correr para a batalha final. Fazia quase 100 dias que eu não tinha uma vista como essa, então eu fui dar uma olhadinha. Esse mundo foi destruído, mas ainda há esperança lá fora. Enquanto houver boas pessoas apoiando sua causa, é o seu dever recompensá-las com o que elas merecem. Hora de acabar com isso. No dia 99, finalmente cheguei ao topo da torre e vi alguém sentado em uma cadeira, com vista para o deserto. Finkel, acabou. Seus invasores estão mortos e você não tem pra onde ir. Você perdeu. Ele riu.
Zozo, não é? Sente-se. Não há necessidade de mais violência. Você já não sofreu bastante.
Ele era apenas um velho, porque as pessoas tinham medo dele. Talvez eu pudesse entrar em um acordo. Eu me sentei e disse, olha, tem muitas pessoas boas nesse mundo. Eu sei que de alguma forma podemos trabalhar juntos, sem mais nenhuma destruição. Ele parou por um tempo.
Você quer saber como consegui essa cicatriz? Eu costumava ser como você também. Acreditava que as pessoas podiam ficar juntas. Vivíamos em um mundo cheio de recursos naturais, o suficiente para que todos pudessem ficar bem felizes. Mas ficaram felizes? Não. As pessoas foram deixadas nas ruas para lutar por cada pedaço de comida. E é por isso, foi por isso que eu larguei aquela bomba.
Eu não podia acreditar. Finkel estava por trás da destruição desse mundo inteiro. Por que você fez isso? Havia outras opções. E olha pra você. Você não é melhor que as pessoas que você acabou destruindo, sabia? Você está certo, Zozo. Porque esse é o único jeito que as coisas devem ser. Então, por que não deveria ser eu que tomo? Porque eu não devo conseguir o que quero. Você perdeu a cabeça.
Eu vou te mostrar como consegui essa cicatriz. Vou te mostrar o preço que paguei por esse poder.
Ele apertou um botão no braço e começou a tremer. Uma explosão de luz e fumaça apareceu ao seu redor. Ele se transformou num gigante ciborgue mutante.
Lamento que você tenha viajado longe para morrer. Vou esmagá-lo como um inseto. Ninguém pode me parar, nem mesmo você. Você entendeu?
Ele começou a me atacar, e tudo que eu podia fazer era correr. Esse cara é maluco, eu tenho que dar um fora daqui. Enquanto me perseguia, ele atravessou as paredes. Tentei dar uns tiros, mas parecia que teve pouco efeito em sua pele metálica de ciborgue. Tudo que eu podia fazer era fugir. Eu tô ficando sem ter pra onde correr. Parece que teremos uma última batalha. No 100º dia, eu cheguei a uma grande sala aberta enquanto o Finkel subia as escadas atrás de mim. Eu tava preso.
É hora de aceitar o seu destino, Zozo. Tenho os recursos, tenho o poder. Eu tenho seu amigo.
Meu amigo? Ele começou a dar uma risada mecânica meio louca.
John, não é? Ele está aqui, meu prisioneiro. Ele mantém as fazendas operando. Quem se importa? Você não verá ele mais.
Ele soltou um grande grito e deu um soco no chão. Isso fez um grupo de zumbis se levantar do chão e atacar, mas sem problemas. Eu sabia como lidar com isso. Eu mirei nos zumbis e comecei a atirar. Nada iria me distrair do meu objetivo principal. Ué, é só isso?
Não, eu vou te mostrar.
Ele começou a correr, tentando me esmagar com o seu corpo metálico. Eu peguei a minigun e descarreguei ela. Eu percebi que ele tomava mais dano quando eu acertava suas partes humanas. Você não é tão forte assim. Ele bateu com raiva no chão, tentando me atingir com ondas de chão. Ele conseguiu acertar alguns golpes, mas eu fiquei bem. Ao passarmos pelas janelas, eu tive uma ideia. Ei, bicho feio, aposto que você não vai conseguir me pegar. Ele me seguiu até a janela, mas eu consegui fazer a volta. Eu peguei meu lançador de granadas e disse pra ele: seu reinado acabou. Tenha um bom voo. O foguete explodiu perto dele, porque ele passou para trás da janela. Quando ele caiu, meus pensamentos voltaram para John. Ele estava aqui? Eu tinha que procurar. Ao olhar por cima da borda, eu vi que Finkel tinha sobrevivido à queda, mas ele estava bem ferido.
Você acha que pode matar uma máquina? Eu nunca vou ser parado. Nunca.
Foi então que eu escutei um rugido familiar e o Skylurker zumbi veio voando.
Não, você de novo não.
O dragão abriu sua boca e começou a derreter o Finkel com seu sopro de dragão. Depois de um tempo, ele se foi e o Skylurker foi para longe. Eu rapidamente me virei e subi as escadas. Eu tinha que encontrar John. Ao chegar ao topo da torre, eu comecei a procurar por toda parte. E finalmente eu consegui achar ele.
John!
Zozo, é você?
A gente se cumprimentou e ficamos muito felizes.
Vamos, amigo, vamos pegar essa água doce e levar para o nosso povo e reconstruir o nosso mundo.
Carregamos água no meu trailer e partimos para o deserto, de volta na base. O mundo estava um pouquinho mais seguro, mas esse era um deserto nuclear, não é? Quem sabe qual o próximo problema que teríamos?
On day 1, I spawned in as a normal guy. No wait, I'm a Navy SEAL. Awesome, I'm a trained warrior. But wait, what's this? I looked closer and saw I barely had any hearts and no armor. I was just a recruit. It looks like I haven't even been trusted with a weapon. Bummer. I guess I better take a look around and see what I can find. I took a peek around the deck and saw that the ship was pretty empty. This was a huge ship. It was kind of eerie, nothing seemed to be going on. And as I looked around, I noticed there wasn't any land nearby either. What do I do now? Well, I'm a Navy SEAL. I should know how to swim, right? I walked over to the edge of the ship and jumped into the water. I swam around the anchor for a bit, but didn't see anything else around. Suddenly, I heard some movement in the water behind me, and I was attacked by a shark. Shivering timber, it's a great white. The shark bit at my ankles as I furiously swam toward the anchor. I grabbed onto the chain and clambered up as the shark snapped furiously below. Soon, I reached the top deck. Yikes, I guess I'll be staying out of the water for the time being. Sometime later, the sun was beginning to set. As I watched the sunset, there was suddenly a huge explosion. Whoa, what was that? I headed off in the direction of the blast. As I moved across the ship, I saw there was a huge hole blown in the top of the deck. As I got closer, I saw it was filled with zombies to attack. There were zombies on this ship? Things just got interesting. The zombies were determined to keep my friend, but I was actually well trained in handling combat, so I managed to fight them off. One of them also had dropped a stone sword, which I made quick use of. As the last zombie disappeared, I noticed it had dropped something. What's this? It looks like a flashlight. I can use this to navigate the inside of the ship. I settled myself down for the night and couldn't help but think, where did all the zombies come from? Did they used to be SEALs too? On day 2, I felt like I had no choice but to start exploring the hole left behind from the explosion. I didn't love the idea of going into a hole that was full of zombies before, but what other choice did I have? It's pretty dark down here. I better use that flashlight. The flashlight let out a little bit of light, and I set off into the darkness. As I walked the corridors, I couldn't help but get the feeling something was watching me. What's that? I looked toward one of the doors. I could have sworn I saw something. This place is giving me the creeps. I kept moving through the maze of tunnels when I heard a squeaking up ahead. Okay, I definitely heard something that time. I got a little closer and was attacked by a bunch of rats. These were no ordinary rats though. Their flesh was rotted and their eyes glowed with a red hue. I quickly took them out. I've got a bad feeling about this. I continued down the hallway but could hear another sound up ahead. It sounded like some heavy thuds. Maybe some kind of machinery? I kept going when suddenly the source of the noise came into the light. It was a giant zombie. Uh-oh. The zombie hit me as I ran away. There's no way I could take this guy on. Just ahead, there were some open doors, and I quickly ran inside. As the zombie chased me, he hit the wall, smacking his head. This is the exact situation where a brain comes in handy. He let out a low groan and stumbled away from me. That's when I noticed he dropped something. I picked it up. Whoa, night vision goggles. These could not have come at a better time. I was getting really tired of being surprised in the dark. After I put them on, the whole ship was lit up. Nothing is gonna sneak up on me now. On day 3, the zombie threat had left, so I decided to do some more exploring. My new night vision goggles had made things much easier. As I ran through the hallways, I tried to open different doors, but everything was locked. This is gonna be a tough 100 days if I can't get into anything. I continued through the maze until finally I found a door that was open. When I entered the room, I saw it was full of storage. Amazing! I hope I can find some good loot in here. I began rummaging through the boxes and saw that there were a ton of building supplies. I kept looking and soon came across a whole stash of food. I can't believe my luck. All this food looks good to eat too. I stuffed my pockets full. Who knows if there was any other food aboard? I managed to find another container full as well. Soon I had gone through all of the boxes except for one big one. I jumped up and was surprised to see what was inside. Hey, who are you?
You're not a zombie.
No, and neither are you. Who are you?
My name is Marcus, but my friends call me Switchblade. Well, they used to call me that, I suppose.
Yeah, what's going on around here?
All I know is there was some kind of zombie infection that spread through the whole ship. I got separated from another group of sailors who were headed for the wrecks. They might still be alive.
We decided we'd go look for more survivors, but first, we needed to get to the flight deck and regroup. On days 4 to 5, Switchblade and I had made it back to the top of the ship. Using the materials I had gathered in the supply room, I started putting together a simple base. Nowhere on the base was 100% safe, but at least here, we could be near the edge, and we knew zombies wouldn't be able to attack during the day. Once the tent was set up, I got to work on the inside, filling it with all of the crafting tables we'd need, along with some beds for us to sleep in for the night. As a final safety measure, I put up a fence across the ship, so that even at night, zombies wouldn't be able to sneak up on us. When it was all done, Switchblade came and took a look.
Nice work, Zozo. This base is top-notch.
With the base complete, I headed over to the crafting table and made a set of stone tools. I couldn't get through any of the doors, but maybe with some tools I could just break through the walls. With my new set of stone tools, I headed over to the ship wall and tried swinging my pickaxe. Not even a dent. I tried a few surfaces, but no luck. At the very least, I now had some tools in case of an emergency. That night, I headed outside with my goggles on to see if the zombies would give us any issues. Looks like they're keeping their distance. This should be a safe place for us to work out of.
On days 6 to 8, Switchblade met me inside the tent to discuss our next move.
Well, it's not the most detailed map, but take a look at this.
Switchblade threw the map up on the wall. He was right. It's a good thing you chose the military and not art school.
This should give you an idea of how to get to the bunk area, where I believe the other sailors had headed. There's no guarantee anyone is there, but more sailors is an invaluable asset at this juncture.
I agreed, and so I headed out of the tent and into the hole. Using Switchblade's map as a guide, I made my way down a corridor I didn't notice before. By following that, I came across a staircase that took me even deeper into the ship. And I can't help but have a sinking feeling about this. I reached the bottom and started moving ahead through the darkness. I could hear some shuffling up ahead. There was a small group of cave spiders. Spiders, 12 o'clock! I charged forward with my sword in hand and started hacking away. The spiders managed to land a few hits, but it wasn't anything I couldn't handle. Soon enough, the small group was all destroyed. Time to get to those sailors. I pushed just a little farther ahead and came across the door. I tried to push it open, but it didn't budge. I had no idea if zombies were nearby, so I gave the door a small tap. Psst, hey, is anyone in there? No response. Maybe I was being too quiet. I raised my voice a little more. Can anyone hear me? Do you copy? Is there anyone inside? This time I thought I heard a little bit of movement inside, but nobody was responding. Looks like I've only got one more option. I started banging on the door. Hey, wake up! Your buddy Switchblade sent me. The door flew open.
Man, have you lost your mind? Don't you know there's zombies around?
I was trying to be quiet, but no one was answering.
We thought you were a zombie trying to sniff us out. You wouldn't have been the first, you know.
I get that. I'm sorry. So, who are you guys?
We're from Switchblade's crew. I'm actually the first mate on the ship. I suppose I'm the acting commander of the ship as well.
If you're the acting commander, that means something must have happened to the captain. I'm sorry for your loss.
I am too, although I don't know if I would call it a loss. The captain is technically still alive.
You mean he's a zombie?
Yeah. Before this all happened, we spotted a mysterious island offshore. The captain went to explore and returned with this mysterious artifact. That very night, a zombie outbreak occurred. Ran down here.
That's awful. Well, maybe we can figure out how to stop everything. Do you have any more information about the captain that can help?
Yes, well, he is a zombie. He's not quite as far gone as the rest of them. In fact, I think the secret...
But before he could share that secret, the zombie appeared over his shoulder and killed him. He had forgotten to lock the door. The zombie horde came pouring into the room, and I did my best to fight against my sword. I shouted in fear as the zombies kept trying to rip us to pieces. Luckily, I was pretty good at fighting these guys, and I was able to take them all out. We better hurry and get out of here, guys. There could be more on the way. We took off running and headed back up towards the base. On days 9 through 10, I emerged from the boat with the 2 sailors. We were all still processing the loss of the first mate, but we had to focus on our own safety. I wonder what the first mate was going to tell us. We soon arrived back at the base, and I got right to work building them a tent of their own. They had mentioned having a background in medicine, so I decided to set them up in their own medical tent. We didn't have too much in medical supplies yet, but seeing the base double in size was giving me hope. We all felt like we could use a little bit of hope, so I offered to make a statue that could serve as inspiration to us all. There was a certain Navy SEAL I had read about that I found particularly inspiring. The interesting thing about him was that he wasn't from the past, he was actually from the future. After a bit, I was running low on supplies, so I stopped for the time being. Any guesses on who you think I'm building? Let me know in the comments. On days 11 to 13, I woke to a strange noise. Is that barking? Something doesn't sound quite right about it. Down in the water, I could see a seal, and it was being chased by the shark from earlier.
Can someone give me a hand down here?
The seal can talk. That's interesting. Let's see if I've got anything that can help. I ran back to my tent and opened up one of the crates. Inside was a collection of rocks. I grabbed a handful and ran back over to the edge of the boat. Hey shark, suck on this. I started chucking rocks down into the water and managed to hit the shark a few times. He kept chasing the seal around, but I could tell it was bothering him. Eventually, it was enough to let the seal get away. Hey, climb on up. The seal swam up to the anchor and ascended the chain. When he reached the top, he plopped down in exhaustion.
Oh, thank you. You really saved my life.
No problem. Gotta look after my fellow seals after all.
Oh, because you're also a seal. I get it.
Why was that shark chasing you anyway?
I have no idea. He's hungry, I guess. But have you seen what's going on under your ship? There's something down there that I think would blow your mind.
What do you mean?
There's this massive rocky column coming out of the earth and into your ship. I've never seen anything like it before. You should go down there and take a look.
I'd love to, but I don't think I can just do that. I'm gonna need some scuba equipment to get down there.
Suit yourself.
I headed over to the other sailors and let them know what I had learned. They were just as confused as I was, but let me know there was an equipment room back down on the ship that should have the scuba gear I'm looking for. They also gave me a stash of iron they had collected. Thanks guys, this will be helpful for sure. I headed over to the crafting table and put together a new set of iron armor. I also took some time to make an iron sword. If I was heading back into the boat, I needed all the help I could get. On days 14 to 15, I took my new gear and headed back down into the ship. I always had a pit in my stomach when I went down here, but there's no way I'd be able to survive out here without searching for answers. After After a little bit of exploring, I could hear something up ahead. More spiders! Disgusting! I leapt into battle with my new iron sword and started hacking and slashing. With each kill, the spiders shriveled and faded away. As I cut my way through the spiders, I noticed there was a group of zombie rats watching too. Come and get some! The spiders had all been destroyed, but I guess the rats were feeling a little intimidated. They all ran away in fear. Yeah, that's what I thought. I pushed forward through the dark tunnels and eventually reached the dive room. Awesome! Now I can snag some scuba gear. I opened the door and saw the giant mutant zombie from earlier was inside. What the heck? How did you get here? The zombie wasted no time attacking me. The joke was on him though. This time, I was prepared. How do you like me now? I bobbed and weaved as he tried to hit me with shockwaves and pounded me in the face. I was doing well, but this guy packed a punch. I still only had 5 hearts. My new gear and experience was still too much for him though. I came out victorious. Not so tough anymore, are you? With the adrenaline still pumping through my veins, I felt an extra surge of energy and was promoted to the rank of Seaman. And check it out, now I have 10 hearts. Feeling stronger than ever, I took a look around the room. Hanging up was a full scuba suit, so I grabbed each piece and placed it in my inventory. Then I saw something laying in the corner of the room. Awesome, a harpoon gun. Now I can protect myself from any underwater threats I come across. I checked the nearby crates and saw they were full of harpoons. I gathered them all up and headed back up to the flight deck. On day 16 to 19, I had arrived back on the flight deck, and I noticed that the seal was still there. Hey, how's it going?
To be honest, not great. That shark is still down there, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get away from him. I was hoping I could stay here for a bit.
Yeah, that should be fine. But you do know this ship is infested with zombies, right?
I'll take zombies over sharks any day.
Okay, but what about water? Don't you need it, at least a little bit?
I do. I was hoping you might have an idea about that.
You know what? I think I do. Hang tight and let me get something set up. I grabbed some building supplies and started working on a tent for the seal to stay in. Once I got the outside set up, I got to work making him a tank to live in. This way he'll have some water he can easily access, even though he's not in the ocean. Once that was finished, I headed over to do some more work on the statue. I managed to get a decent amount done, but still had a long way to go. There was certainly a good shape taking place, but can you tell what it is yet? On days 20 to 22, I headed into my tent to get geared up. I grabbed my scuba gear off the armor rack and put it on. Then I opened up the nearby crate and took out my harpoon gun and harpoons. I know that shark is still out there, so I have to take him down before I can even start looking at that column the seal mentioned. But before I jump in, could you help me out? Over 40,000 of you have joined the Zozo Navy, and we'd love to have even more join up with us for even bigger adventures. So hit the subscribe button and let's do this. I put on my scuba helmet and got ready to jump over the edge of the boat. Here goes nothing. On days 23 to 26, I got a running start and leapt off the side of the boat, landing below. Alright, let's find this shark and take him out. With my harpoon gun in hand, I swam out from the boat, scanning the scenery for a glimpse of the aquatic monster. I swam and swam, but nothing. Maybe the shark left after all. I didn't see any signs of him anyway. Just when I was starting to feel safe, ouch! You're gonna pay for that! I took aim with my harpoon gun and fired. I was able to hit him, but he showed no signs of slowing his attack. Oh man, I'm really starting to feel out of my element down here. The fight was intense. I kept firing my harpoons as the shark kept trying to take chunks out of my arm. Our fight had moved under the boat, and suddenly the shark got a hold of me and started pulling me deeper and deeper. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. As the shark pulled me deeper and deeper, I hit him with harpoons. Managed to get several hits in, but suddenly I heard a hissing noise as one of his teeth punctured the oxygen flow in my helmet. I'm too deep to go without oxygen. What am I gonna do? I had an idea. If I could time this right, I could ignite the oxygen coming from my helmet and use it like a grenade. Catch this! Threw my helmet and it exploded on impact, killing the shark. There was no time to celebrate though. I couldn't hold my breath forever. I looked around and saw a cave nearby. Maybe there's an air pocket. I swam as my oxygen levels continued to drop, bursting through the wall of water onto dry ground. That was way too close. But what am I supposed to do now? On days 27 to 29, I decided my only option was to head deeper into the cave and see what I could find. What I saw next was totally unexpected. Is that an octopus? Sitting at the bottom of the cave was a giant octopus. As I got closer, he started talking to me.
Hello there. I can't help but think you're a little lost.
That's one way of putting it. Do you know a way back up to the surface?
There's only one way, which is back the way you came. But breathing is the problem, right? All you need is the scuba mask I have. It will give you all the oxygen you need.
Great. So, I have it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. Are you going to give it to me?
I will. Help me first.
You should have just said that in the first place. What can I do to help?
My wife was kidnapped by a horrible giant squid, and I need someone to rescue her. He's hiding out in a sunken pirate ship. I need you to take him out. Don't ask him any questions. You will try to.
Okay, I can probably manage that, except for one big problem.
What's that?
I can't breathe underwater.
Oh, yes, that's simple. As you swim toward the ship, you'll see some clams lying along the seafloor. Give them a knock with your fist, and they'll let out oxygen bubbles. You now need to breathe.
really hope you're right about that. I started making my way out of the cave, but stopped to mine all the various ores. That way I'd have more supplies for later. Once I had collected as much as I could, I left the cave and started swimming in the direction of the pirate ship. As my oxygen level started to run low, I swam up to a clam and gave it a tap. Sure enough, a stream of bubbles came out. Okay, looks like he was right. They didn't teach me that one in SEAL training. As I was starting to swim away, though, I felt something brush along my back. It was a school of piranhas. Get your teethy grins away from me. I was so distracted by the fight, I nearly ran out of oxygen and drowned. Luckily, I was able to hit the clam before it was too late. At long last, I managed to fillet the rest of the fish. Now it's exhausting and it's getting late. I should try and find a cave to rest in. I swam a little further and soon saw a cave along the seafloor. I swam in and saw it had a nice pocket of air. The cave was also full of resources, so I made sure to grab those before settling in for the night. On days 30 to 35, I left the cave and continued to search for the pirate ship, grabbing oxygen from clams along the way. I soon found myself in a colorful coral reef, and eventually saw the pirate ship lodged in the middle. I swam up to the ship and started to take a look around. As far as I could tell, the ship looked deserted. Might as well check the chests for anything good. I opened the crates and found some gold and gunpowder. One of the crates even had an enchanted infinity book inside. Just then, I saw something moving on the other side of the boat. It was the giant squid!
Get away from my ship!
Oh, someone thinks they're a real tough guy. I swam over to the squid as he hit me with his tentacles, knocking me back. Why'd you kidnap an innocent octopus's wife? The giant squid stopped fighting.
Kidnap? Innocent? Wait a second, I think you have the wrong idea.
The octopus told me you would try to trick me. Nothing you say can change my mind. Just then, the octopus's wife popped up.
Wait, hear us out. My ex-husband was lying to you.
Okay, this was definitely a plot twist. What was going on? First things first, though, I had nearly run out of oxygen. I quickly punched a clam as the octopus's wife began to escape.
My ex-husband was so evil. He was mean and killed humans for fun. That's where he got that scuba mask he has. My squid friend here helped me to escape.
Friend? I mean, yeah, we're friends, but Molly, I thought it was more than that.
Not now, Jerry. Look, let's all head back. I think together we can teach Chad a lesson.
His name is Chad? Say no more. Let's go. Without delay, we all took off for Chad's cave. We soon arrived after a bit of swimming. I'll go in there and draw him out, and you guys can do your thing. I made my way back inside the cave and talked to Chad. Good news, your wife is just outside and is waiting for you.
Oh, good. Well done, well done. I sure hope that nasty squid.
As we swam out of the cave, Jerry was waiting for me.
You've messed with her for the last time. Oh, you're still alive? Don't hurt me.
I watched as Jerry smacked the octopus and swam away. The guy was squirting ink all over the place. How embarrassing. As those two swam off, Molly headed inside the cave and grabbed the scuba mask out of her chest.
Here you go, Zozo. I think you've earned this.
She tossed out the mask, which I quickly grabbed and put on. Just in time, too. I was nearly out of oxygen. Thanks, Molly. You guys take it easy down here. On days 36 to 40, I was planning on heading up to the surface, but took a moment to check out the column attached to the ship. This column doesn't look like something the ship ran into. It looks like the column grew and ran into the ship. Something fishy was definitely going on, but I needed to get back up to the ship to talk to the crew. As I climbed aboard, I saw the base was under attack. The sun hasn't set yet. How are zombies attacking now? As I got closer, though, I saw they weren't zombies at all. They were some kind of aquatic humanoid monsters. They were much stronger than the zombies. Look, you guys stink. But more importantly, where did you come from? I was able to keep myself from taking too much damage and noticed that some of them had dropped sapphires. But at long last, the monsters were all defeated. I went and took a closer look at the fence and saw they had broken right through. Looks like we've got some work to do. But before then, I had to get out of the scuba suit. I hung the suit back up and stashed the loot I had found at the base. The next day had rolled around and I decided to upgrade my gear, just in case the monsters tried to attack again. I quickly smelted down all the iron I collected, then used that iron to make an anvil. I placed the anvil down, then used the infinity enchantment I had found to enchant my harpoon gun. Now I'll have unlimited ammo. Next up, I had an idea for what I wanted to make with the sapphires the monsters had dropped. I grabbed a hammer and used it to shape the sapphires into a blade. With my gear upgraded, I headed over to talk to Switchblade about how things had been going, and fill him in on what I had discovered.
It's been rough, to be honest. We had been fighting off wave after wave of monsters. It's a good thing you showed up when you did, because we didn't think we were going to make it.
I'm just glad everyone is okay, so what are you thinking for our next move? Switchblade led me outside.
Well, as you can see, they were able to break right through our wooden fence. Our best bet is to upgrade the wall, and we'll do well to get a proper HQ set up.
Sounds like a plan. Let's gather some supplies and get right to it. On days 41 to 43, we had finished gathering the supplies we needed, so I started by tearing down one of the old planes on the deck. The new fence was going to be a bit bigger, so we'd need a little bit of extra room. The plane was soon cleared, and I got to work building a metal security fence across the deck. In addition to the fence, I also put up a guard tower so we could have some leverage on any attacking monsters. They would have a heck of a time getting through this. After I finished the fence, I got to work on the headquarters. Having a sturdy building to store and plan from was going to be much more reliable than something a horde of zombies could tear through in a matter of minutes. Once the exterior was complete, I went ahead and filled the inside with everything we were going to need. I decided to get to work on the next part of the statue. I only had a little bit of materials on hand, so I just did a little bit of work on the one side. Just as I was finishing up, I heard a loud crash outside. What in the world was that? I ran outside and took a look over the edge of the ship. A submarine had crashed into the side of the boat. Where did this come from? As I was looking down, the sub's hatch opened and a dazed officer stuck their head out. "Hello down there. Can we help you?" She looked around confused.
I think so.
She didn't seem like she was alright, so I quickly jumped off the side of the boat, swam over to the sub, and climbed aboard next to her. Where did you come from?
Hi there. Sorry, I'm a little frazzled. My name is Alice. I've been tracking this ship for weeks without rest. Funny enough, it wasn't until I fell asleep that I finally found it.
Well, here, let's get on board and we can chat more. We jumped into the water and climbed up the boat. Once we were on the deck, we continued our conversation. So why were you tracking the ship?
Some time ago, I was searching for an ancient artifact, the same one that the captain of the ship came into contact with recently. He beat me to it, but I don't think he understood what it was. I've been desperately trying to find this ship. Not because the artifact is valuable, which it is, but because we need to destroy it, and I'm the only one who knows how to do that.
Yeah, you're telling me. That artifact seems to be the source of all the problems here. We're more than happy to try and destroy it. Just then, the seal flopped over.
Zozo, something about this all seems off to me.
What do you know? You're just a seal. I'm a trained submariner.
Yeah, a trained submariner who just crashed their sub.
Okay, you two, calm down. Look, we know there's something weird going on, and this could be a shot to fix it, or at least end it. What do we know about the artifact?
Well, the captain probably has it near him, up in the control tower, so we should focus on getting to that.
Okay, sounds good. The doors are all locked, but maybe the other sailors know a way around that. I headed over to talk to the sailors. There was good news. There was actually a master key to the entire ship. The bad news, though, was that the key was most likely in the armory, deep in the belly of the boat. Well, I figured I'd have to go back in there at some point. We'll get this done. On days 44 to 49, I headed back down into the ship. As I navigated the curving passageways, I heard the shuffling of the head. There we go. The zombies came sprinting around the corner, but they were no match for my new sapphire sword. I was able to pretty quickly overpower these guys, but how would it hold up against a group of those monsters? With the zombies out of the way, I headed deeper still into the ship. Soon I found myself in a room full of different internal mechanisms. I could hear something in the room ahead. Sounds like more zombies, but something is different. I poked my head through the doorway and could see one of those monsters leading a group of zombies around. Is he commanding them? I very quickly found the answer to that question because the monster caught sight of me, let out a growl, and all the zombies charged. Don't listen to him, he's the enemy, not me. I tried to get at the monster, but the zombies moved almost like they were protected. I had no choice but to fight them off first. Get back, you heads. Soon enough, the zombies were all destroyed, and I was able to engage the monster. He was strong, but he couldn't do much all by himself. Soon enough, he was taken down too. A familiar rush of adrenaline came pouring in, and I could feel myself getting stronger. I suddenly gained 4 more hearts and was promoted to a petty officer. More health and strength. Nice! On days 50 to 53, I kept making my way to the armory. Soon, I could see the door, but outside of it was another one of those monsters. It was walking down the hallway behind a larger group. What are these guys doing? I should follow them and see where they're headed. I should probably give these guys a name too. I'll call them blobs. These blobs certainly seem to have some level of intelligence. They weren't like the zombies who would mindlessly attack anyone nearby. The blobs seemed to be up to something. I followed them through the winding hallways and even had some close calls. I think they may have suspected they were being followed, as I had to duck into a side room to avoid being detected at times. Feels like we've gone down several floors. We've got to be close to the bottom of the ship at this point. Soon enough, I followed them into a room and couldn't believe what I was seeing. There were several blobs roaming around, but more concerning were the cages hanging from the ceiling. There's sailors in some of those cages, but something is turning them into zombies. That something must have had to do with what I saw on the ground. There was a massive hole with pink goo dripping into it. This must be where the column meets the ship. So the column must be hollow. It's a tunnel of some sort. Before I could get any closer though, one of the blobs noticed me and attacked. I wanted to fight him off, but could see I had all of their attention now. I don't know what's going on here, but I don't want to end up in one of those cages. I booked it out of there. On days 54 to 57, I was running for my life. The blobs were hot on my tail, but I was starting to put distance between us. I'm not going to be your next experiment. I was a pretty speedy guy and was able to get away. Oh, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, the armory. Soon enough, I found my way back to the armory and headed inside. Oh man, why did they tell me about this place before? The armory was full of all kinds of good stuff. I walked up to the center table and took a look at everything. Glittering in the middle of the table was a brand new shotgun. Oh, now we're packing. The blobs won't want to meet me around a dark corner. The next thing I picked up was the master key. Now I'll be able to get into any part of the ship. I checked out some of the crates and managed to scrounge up some ammo for the shotgun. Then I took a look at the armor hanging up. Is this special ops gear? It is! I pulled it off the rack and put it on. With everything equipped, I saw that my armor was maxed out. Oh yeah, now I'm ready for a fight. After I'd grabbed everything else I could, I headed out back to the flight deck. On days 58 to 62, I arrived back on the flight deck and went to talk to the SEAL about everything I had seen. Hey bud, you'll never guess what I found down there.
Oh no, don't tell me. More monsters?
Even worse, that column you saw is a tunnel of some kind, and they're turning the sailors into zombies. Just then, Alice walked up.
They're probably just summoning an ancient god.
Ancient god? What?
Oh yes, the ancient artifact is like a beacon that calls to the disciples of the god Akuno to begin preparing for his arrival.
You can't be serious.
Oh, I am. By harvesting the souls of men, they give him the power to travel from his prison below, up and into our world. It's incredible.
Incredible? Don't you mean horrible?
Yes, it's horrible. By incredible, I just mean, like, insane.
How do you know all of this anyway?
Oh, I read about it in a book. I'm a very learned explorer.
Right. I was going to have to keep my eye on Alice, but in the meantime, I thought it'd be best to get to work on the statue. If we couldn't stop Akuno from coming to this world, at least there'd be an intimidating statue he'll have to look at. Yeah, I'm not feeling too good about it at all. But at least the next phase of the statue was complete. On days 63 to 66, I decided to dive into the water and try and get more supplies for the statue. I swam deep and saw just what I was looking for. Perfect, I'll just collect these and be on my way. I took out my pickaxe and quickly mined up everything I was going to need. It was hard work mining underwater, but having a mask that let me breathe made everything much easier. Speaking of which, I should check in on Molly and Jerry. Maybe they noticed anything in the tunnel. As I swam near the cave, Jerry came swimming over and Molly came out to greet me. Hey guys, I was just checking in. Have you noticed anything weird about the tunnel over there?
We were hoping you'd come by. We've been noticing some strange vibrations coming out of it. What's going on?
Well, it's bad news, unfortunately. Apparently, there's an ancient god ritual in the works. There's an ancient artifact that we need to destroy to stop it, but I have no idea what I'm going to be up against.
I think I know something that could help, actually. The pirate ship we were living in before had remnants of something that looked very similar to the tunnel here. I think it may have had something to do with why the boat sunk.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, and there were some books buried in the crates. I can't read, but maybe they will contain some helpful information.
That's an awesome tip. I'll go take a look. I took off in the direction of the ship and arrived soon after. Before I head in there, though, have you hit the sub button yet? The more subs we have, the stronger our navy will be. On days 67 to 70, I swam down into the pirate ship and decided to take a look around. I grabbed some gold and gunpowder from the crates before opening a crate that contained the captain's journal. I opened it up and started to read. Day 75. We spotted an island full of
zombies. Lost a lot of men fighting inside, but it was worth it, I think.
This captain's crew had to fight zombies too. They must have been near the artifact. I'll keep reading.
We found this strange, mysterious book.
So the artifact must be a book.
I'm not comfortable holding it, so I gave it to one of my mates.
I couldn't believe what I was reading. But why did their boat sink? Did the blobs attack them too? I read on.
Day 78. There is a submarine behind us. We're under attack, taking on water.
A submarine took them out. I've got a sneaking suspicion I know who was driving it. I better get back to the ship. Alice knows more than she's letting us think. I swam out of the ship, but before I could get anywhere, I was attacked by Chad.
I'll make you pay for tricking me.
Tricking you? It's not my fault you're a jerk. Chad was surprisingly strong, but he didn't know I had gotten stronger too. Jerry should have finished you when he had the chance. I swung my sword and finished him off. He wasn't gonna be bugging anyone now. On day 71 to 74, I returned back to the ship and climbed back up on board. As I climbed aboard, Alice came running up to me.
You're back. I'm so happy to see you're okay. Did you find anything interesting?
I wanted to confront her about everything, but we didn't know what she was trying to do. There was still a chance her intentions were good, even if she took down a ship. No, unfortunately, I didn't find anything. Looks like our best bet is to try and confront the captain.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear it. Best of luck fighting the captain. Just remember, grab the artifact and bring it to me, so I can destroy it.
I headed over to the command tower and unlocked the door with the master key. As I entered the tower, I was immediately attacked by a group of blobs. These guys have been here so close to our base. I had no idea. Using my shotgun, I was able to mow them down pretty quick. They didn't stand a chance against a ranged weapon. I then made my way to the next level and was met by another pack of blobs. It was a tight space, so they managed to get some hits in, but by using the table, I was able to get a little bit of space and finish them off. That was a close one. Now to find the captain. Maybe these guys were just holding him prisoner. On day 75 to 78, I reached the top floor and saw the captain looking out over the base. There was a strange glow about him, but he looked okay. Captain, I'm here to risk... Oh no. The captain had turned around, and I could see he was mutated like the other sailors. The glow must have been coming from the artifact.
Akuno will return. Akuno is master. Akuno will rule this world.
Captain, you've got to break free. We can stop him. The captain was too far gone. He wasn't hearing a word I was saying.
Akuno requires your soul.
Just then, the captain pulled his gun and started firing. No, I don't want to fight you. I didn't have a choice. If I didn't fight, he would kill me and use me to attack all my friends. The captain was a good shot, but I was a trained SEAL. Sorry, but this is gonna hurt. I noticed that the captain had started throwing some kind of energy ball at me. It must be a power he got from the Akuno. We can't allow this kind of dark magic in our world. Hang on to your hat. I'm sending you to the underworld. I took aim and blasted my shotgun one final time, sending the captain to oblivion. After he disappeared, I saw a book laying on the ground. It had to be the artifact, the Necronomicon. Now that just sounds evil. I'm not opening this thing. I can't risk getting sucked into all this madness. Let's see if Alice can actually destroy this thing, or if she's up to something else entirely. On day 79 to 84, I made my way down the tower and headed into the HQ building to meet with Alice. She could barely contain her excitement when she saw me walking up.
Zozo, you must have it. I can feel its energy. Quickly, give it to me.
Hang on a second. I can't give this to you until you explain to me exactly how you plan to destroy it.
Don't worry about that. Just give me the book.
Suddenly, a glow appeared around Alice. She was possessed by the book too. Alice leapt forward and tried to grab the book from me. Alice, get a hold of yourself. This book will destroy the world.
Akuno promised me power to protect his book. I won't let you stop me.
Looks like she was pretty determined, but the seal and I were ready. Pull it! The seal flipped a switch on the wall, which dropped a cage on Alice, trapping her inside. Now listen, you're gonna have to stay here until we can figure out how to destroy this thing.
You'll never destroy it. The only thing that can destroy it is Akuno himself. You'll never win.
Akuno himself? I ran outside to chat with the seal. Well, it's not looking good. I think the only option is to enter the tunnel and find this Akuno. I'll have to try and trick him into destroying the book somehow. It looks like it's our only option. The seal agreed. On days 85 to 89, I started tearing down the security fence so I could replace it with an even better one. If I failed in my mission, it meant Akuno was headed for this world, and my friends were going to need a fighting chance. After a bit, the new fence was finished. I also needed to finish the statue, so I dove off the ship to go and mine out the remaining supplies I would need. I swam to the bottom and found a deposit of materials I could use. I mined them out, then brought them back to the ship. Then I headed into my camp to grab some supplies to upgrade my weapons. First, I crafted a workbench and set that down. Then, by using the workbench, I crafted some additional shells for my shotgun. To finish up, I then crafted a stock for it as well. Well, I'm about as powered up as I can be. Now I just need to finish that statue, and we'll be on our way. On days 90 to 94, I got started on the last section of the statue. By now, I'm sure you can tell who it is. So, what do you think? Did you guess it correctly? He's a big hero of mine, and hopefully he can inspire the next batch of recruits. With the statue complete, I headed down to have a quick chat with the seal. Hey buddy, I just wanted to say thanks for all your help. And here's something to show my appreciation. You're an honorary Navy SEAL too. On days 95 to 97, I headed out of the base, through the security tower, and made my way toward the hole. This could be the last time I ever see the light of day. I descended into the boat and started making my way through the ship corridors, and was immediately attacked by zombies and blobs. Whoa, these guys were ready for me. Akuno must have been coming for him. By using the shotgun, I blasted my way through the first level of the boat. I was having some close calls, but I managed to get through relatively unharmed. Poor sailors, I don't want to hurt them, but they give me no choice. I continued down to the next level and started facing off against some blobs. Be gone, fish face! These monsters were something I could never get used to. I had to banish them from this world. Soon I had managed the lowest level of the ship and was getting close to the tunnel room. As I approached, I saw another blob. He was bigger than the others and had a strong glow around him. He must be their leader. By using my sapphire sword, I managed to get some hits in, but he was hitting back too. Oof. Yeah, this guy is way more powerful than the other ones. He was using a trident that was stronger than anything I had faced yet. It might be time to try something new. I pulled out my shotgun and worked on creating a distance between us, but it was difficult in tight space. Get a load of this. I kept firing away, and finally all of the zombies were gone. I kept on him until at long last, he was defeated. As he disappeared, I got that familiar surge of adrenaline and grew in size. And check it out, now I have 20 hearts. Feeling better than ever, I entered the room and was immediately swarmed. I started fighting off all of the enemies, but there was a lot of them. I had no choice but to hurry and jump into the hole. Here goes nothing. I jumped into the hole, falling for what felt like forever. But eventually I hit the ground with a thud and blacked out. On day 98, I woke up laying at the bottom of the hole. Oh, that didn't feel so good. Where am I? I took in my surroundings and saw I had fallen into some kind of deep cavern. Just ahead, there is a portal. That must take me to Akuno. I don't like the look of that, but I know that with support from you and my friends, we can do anything. I took a deep breath and ran headfirst into the portal. On On day 99, I appeared in what looked to be an entirely different dimension. Whoa, this place is insane. It's almost like I'm underwater, but I'm not. Up ahead of me, I could see a huge otherworldly temple. That had to be where Akuno lived. My gun in hand, I ran forward into the temple. As I ran into the building, I could see Akuno waiting for me. Akuno, you thought you could come to my world and destroy everyone, but instead it's me coming to yours to destroy you. Akuno didn't seem surprised at all.
Catch me off guard. Please, you've been a pawn in my plan this entire time, just like all the other foolish humans.
What did he mean, a pawn?
That book can allow me to influence anyone who reads it, but I can't travel to your dimension without it. And now you've brought it straight to me, just in time, too. I understand my minions have nearly completed preparing an army for me.
Why are you doing this? What good does destroying another world do for you?
Command this world, but for what? Not a soul roams here, and I'm kept bound by the limitations of this flesh. A human soul gives me freedom I can't get elsewhere. So I will take the souls of Earth, starting with you.
If you want this book, you're gonna have to pry it off of me.
That's just what I intend on doing.
I immediately opened fire with my shotgun. It didn't seem to be doing anything.
Pathetic. Your human weapons are no match for my magic. You'll never break my enchantments.
I fired a few more shots, but he was right. This wasn't doing anything. Just then, I noticed there were 2 purple orbs hanging from the ceiling. They had an almost lifelike quality about them. Let's see what you think about this. I opened fire on one of the orbs, breaking it open, causing it to explode.
No!
He didn't like that and started attacking me. Clearly this was doing something. Oh, not so clever after all, are we? I fired on the other orb, which caused it to explode as well.
You paid for this.
Fired on this time I can tell you. At the end of them, attacking me. Jeez, these guys at will? There's no way we can let them into our world. The boss converged me and I finished one with a shotgun. As soon as I had Kuno summoned you. Kuno launched his purple fireballs at me and I continued to pick up. A ring of fire appeared around me, and I jumped back, blowing the book out. Lightning struck the book, destroying it.
No!
Akuno erupted in an explosion and was destroyed. I did it! I heard some rolling thunder, and suddenly a bolt of lightning came out of the sky, teleporting me away. What now? On day 100, I appeared at the top of the hole, back on the ship. Inside of the cage in front of me, I saw one of the zombies start to change. But this time, he changed back into a sailor. Oh, hello? What's going on? Hang on, I'll help you. I jumped up to the cage and busted the sailor out. There were several other cages around the room, so I hurried and broke out all of the other trapped sailors as well. As I did so, I explained everything to them. They were all pretty confused, but I led them up to the flight deck so they could get some rest. With the sailors all safe in their bunks, I met back up with the seal and switchblade.
You did it, Zozo. On behalf of the crew, I can't thank you enough.
Alice is feeling better too.
Just then, Alice walked up. The seal was right. She was looking normal.
Oh, Zozo, I feel so awful for everything I've done. But I'm so glad you were here to save the day. Our seal friend here and I are going to go adventuring together. This time I'm not going to be reading any scary books.
I'm just glad everything is back to normal, and thanks for everyone's help. I can't wait to see where our adventures take us next.
On day 1, I spawned in as King Kong. Check me out, I'm the king of the world. But wait, why do I only have a few hearts? I'm a massive ape for crying out loud. That's when I realized I was on a playground. Looks like I'm not the king quite yet. From out of nowhere came a man wearing a black suit and tie. Oh, he must be super nice. We can always trust strangers in nice suits, right?
Don't run, alien. You're coming with me. You're in trouble.
Alien? Why is he calling me that? Just then, the man in black started to try and capture me. I'll never go with you. Kidnapping is wrong. I couldn't believe this guy. I had no choice but to run.
Stop making a fuss and get into my unmarked vehicle. I have candy.
The man in black was chasing after me and kept calling me an alien. What's this guy's deal? I ran into the forest and climbed up a big tree. Nice try, kidnapper. After resting for a bit in the tree, I jumped down to see if the man in black was gone. The coast was clear. Phew, I hope I never see that guy again. Just then, I heard some rustling. Was he back? Nope, it was a badger. Oh boy, I'm glad it's just you. There was a really weird dude chasing me earlier. The badger didn't want to chat. He was mad that I was on his turf and tried to attack me.
Back off, Badgie! I punched him and knocked him away. Huh, I'm not so weak after all. Nice try, punk. That badger had definitely learned his lesson. Or so I thought, because it wasn't long before I was surrounded by an entire badger gang. I'm having a really rough day. They had me surrounded. Suddenly, I felt something in my chest, and I let out a giant roar. The badgers jumped and ran off. I have no idea where that came from, but it worked. I'll have to remember that for the future. It was getting dark, so I climbed back up into a tree for the night to sleep in the branches. Wow, from up here, it's almost like I could touch the moon. It's huge. As I fell asleep, I couldn't help but wonder if I'd ever find a family out there, so I wouldn't be so alone. On day 2, I decided it was time to make my way in this world. I started to wander around and it led me to a jungle. Oh, this certainly feels like the place to make a home. I started to cut down wood and gather stone. I made my crafting table and got to work creating tools and a couple of weapons. Easy squeezy, weapon pleasey. I knew I was going to need a base very soon, so I started collecting resources for that too. But this was the jungle, and it wasn't long before I was disturbed by a very grumpy venomous snake. I know how to handle this. I took a deep breath and roared, and nothing happened. Uh-oh, maybe snakes don't have very good hearing. Oh well, I'll just have to take care of him the old-fashioned way. It was a good thing I had just made a sword, which I used to quickly take him out. Now that the snake was gone, it made me want to build a really well-hidden base. I didn't want the man in black to find me, or anything else for that matter. As I went deeper into the jungle, I soon saw a giant boulder. That rock would be a good foundation for my base. I got right to work constructing the beginnings of my jungle home. It was coming along nicely, but I soon got tired and needed to rest for the night. It was cozy in my small but sturdy base. I fell asleep thinking of plans to eventually construct my home into a jungle temple. On day 3, I woke up bright and early to explore the jungle. Suddenly, I heard a squeak and saw a cute little green creature running away from a big crocodile. I followed him and saw the poor little green creature was cornered by the croc. Hey, stop right there, croc. How about you take a bite out of this? I started hitting him with my sword. He snapped at me, but I was able to dodge his blows. We brawled for a bit, but eventually I was able to knock him out. I looked around for the little green guy and saw he was running away. Hey, I'm not mean, I promise. He didn't stop running, so I followed him. Don't be scared. Look, I've got a banana. Want one? The little green creature turned and stopped running. You're probably hungry. Here you go. He really liked it, and I think it helped him trust me.
Like banana I do.
Oh, he can talk. I asked him his name and where his home was.
Luno, my name is. Lunarian, I am. On the moon, I live, but from the moon, I fell. Lost, I am. A lot of mean creatures here there are, but you, nice you are. Alone, I am.
I'm alone too. That's pretty cool you're from the moon though. I have no idea how to get you home, but I'm happy to try. The alien was relieved to hear I would try and help him. I invited him to stay at the base until we figured something out. He agreed and we went back together. On days 4 to 5, I made it back to the base. We added another room so that Luno had a space of his own. I'm going to need more materials to build some more of this temple. You stay here, Luno. I'll be back. I walked around the jungle and began mining and collecting all sorts of things from the temple. What was that? I thought I heard something. Guess not. I got back to collecting things. I heard some more rustling behind me and some malicious giggling. I turned and saw the group of badgers that had ganged up on me earlier. Oh brother, not you guys again. When are you going to just leave me alone already? I took in a big breath and gave my best banshee roar. Some of the badgers ran off, but some of them just stayed there. That's strange. Well, now I wasn't defenseless like last time. I brandished my sword. I got this in the badger. I started swinging and hitting the badgers that had stuck around. I'll bet they wish they had run away. After I had gotten rid of all of the badgers, I noticed one of them had dropped something. It was an item that protected against sound attacks. Pretty clever badgers. Gotta hand it to them. I finished gathering materials and headed back to the base. I told Luna what had happened with the badger.
Strong fighter you are.
Ah, shucks, Luno. It was getting late and had been a long day, so we settled in for the night. Luno looked up at the moon before he fell asleep. He missed his home. It was close, yet so far. On days 6 to 8, I woke up ready to face the day. I wanted to find upgrades for the base, and Luno wanted to explore a little bit too. I told him to be careful and call out to me if anything happened. While I explored below some azalea trees, I noticed an entrance to a cave. I know what this means. Iron time. I hopped down into the cave. It was so lush down here. I got out my sword and quickly took care of the slimy pests. I found some really neat, dark-colored cobblestone, plus plenty of iron. This cave rocked, pun intended. I couldn't wait to check out more, but it was then that I heard something from outside the cave. I better take a look. I carefully peeked out of the cave and saw the men in black running past. He was back. That was close. He could have seen me. What is he up to now? That was Luno's stream. I rushed out of the cave to find Luno. I no longer cared about my safety. I couldn't let the man in black kidnap him. This is terrible. I should have never let Luno go off alone. I wasn't going down without a fight. Feel my wrath, kidnapper. I went to knock his blocks off, but before I could get over there, he suddenly evaporated into particles. What kind of kidnapper magic was this? I was left alone with only my regrets to keep me company. What was I to do? On days 9 to 10, I was so discouraged. The man in black was too cunning. There was no chance I'd be able to save Luno. I didn't even know where he was taken. Maybe a walk will clear my head. I wandered around the jungle and through the forest. Eventually, I ended up in a familiar spot. It was the playground I started off at. I climbed back onto the small skyscraper. There was something comforting about being on top of it. I'm supposed to be be King Kong, king of the jungle, but I couldn't even save my friend. Sitting on the skyscraper gave me an idea though. I know, I can build a statue to help take my mind off of things. So I went back towards my base. I stopped at an area that was nearby, but not so close that it would give my base away. I started clearing the area for my big project. Once I was done clearing the area, I started the foundation of the skyscraper. Not too shabby. It was a great start, but that would be enough for now. It was about to get dark and mobs would be spawning. I headed back to the base and crafted some gear with iron to pass the time. I hoped Luna was okay. After a while, I decided to call it a night and got some sleep. On days 11 to 12, I got up bright and early. I was looking forward to building my statue, but I was going to need a ton of materials to build my skyscraper. I headed out of the jungle and into a bamboo forest. As I was exploring, I noticed a large building hiding among the plants. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. There was an old spooky looking mansion. I was so intrigued by it. I went inside and had a look around. I wonder who used to own this place. Maybe it was an explorer. I was taking a closer look at things when I was startled by the sound of someone clearing their throat. I turned and there was an old man looking at me.
Hello there. May I help you, old chap?
Sorry, I didn't think anyone lived here anymore.
Indeed I do. This old house isn't what she used to be, but I'm too old these days to keep up with the yard.
Oh, well, I like the way it looks. It's very earthy, and you have some really cool artifacts here. What a collection.
Thank you, dear boy, but these relics are all fake. You see, I'm an explorer, or I was when I was a bit more spry. When I would find something fascinating, whether it was an animal, artifact, or relic, I didn't want to take it. No, I wanted others to enjoy finding it too. So I would come home and recreate it. That way, the original would be right where it should be.
It's very honorable of you. I have mad respect for your respect.
Cheers. You know, you remind me of someone I met before. This might fascinate you if you'd like to see it.
He led me into his backyard, and there in the middle was a model of a giant King Kong looking gorilla.
I found this gigantic creature on an island where it was worshipped as a god. I was so amazed, I went home and built this replica here. It's my most treasured discovery, and I've always hoped I'd meet another, as I've heard this creature is no longer living.
I could tell he was thinking I was just like this great specimen. This is inspiring to see, but I'm much too small. I'll never reach that size.
This ape started out as a small bugger, just like you. Day by day, he grew stronger and bigger until he was a towering, fearsome giant. Maybe you too will steadily grow so big.
I wasn't so sure about that. I mean, I hope so, but I failed to save my friend. It was hard to believe I was destined for greatness. I said cheerio to the old explorer. I was glad I had met him. Then I continued collecting materials while also heading back towards home. While I was mining, I couldn't help but daydream about one day being a real king of the jungle. On days 13 to 15, I was making my way back to my base when I got the feeling I was being followed. I picked up my pace, hoping that would help, but I still couldn't shake that feeling. When I looked behind me, I finally caught a glimpse of something. Nope, I wasn't going to wait around to find out what it was. I booked it. I ran as fast as I could, but I was right. Something was following me, and that something was just as fast as I was. It was a tiger. It looks like I have no choice. I flipped around and faced him. No more running. I would just have to give it my all. Chew on this, tiger. I used my strength, my roar, and my sword. I gave it my all. He hit me a few times. There was no denying that this kitty was tough. This battle is intense. Even though it was a hard battle, I actually was holding my own. Whoa! All of a sudden, we both went tumbling off a cliff. But did that stop us? No! We landed in the water and kept at it. There was a fire that got ignited in me. Something instinctual, something primal. I let out a huge roar. We kept brawling, but in the end, I got the last blow and he was done. He came out victorious. Yes! I was so proud of myself. I could really step up to the plate when the odds are stacked against me and come out on top. I felt strength welling up inside of me, and I instantly evolved into a bigger version of King Kong. Okay, I wasn't quite the size of a jungle king, but I'd say I was at least a prince. Just call me Prince Kong, Prince Pong, Pong. Yeah, maybe I'll just stick to being called Zozo for now. On day 16 to 19, I was feeling so confident that I had some pep in my step. Maybe things weren't so hopeless with helping Luna. I had figured out how to defeat the tiger. Maybe, just maybe, I could figure out how to rescue Luna. I decided to return to the place of the kidnapping to see if I could find any clues. Bingo! And Sloppy was his name-o. There it was, a map on the ground. Looked like he dropped it in the chase. His mistake was my advantage. I looked it over and saw that it had a building on it labeled Men in Black's Secret Lab. These dudes really need to do some training on how to not compromise classified information. What a bunch of rookies. The map changed everything. This meant I had a shot at finding Luno, and this time I was going to save him. But first, I better get ready for battle. I wanted to upgrade my gear, so I went back to the lush cave and mined a bunch more iron. Some spiders crawled up and tried to bother me, but I showed them who was boss real quick. Mind your business, spiders. Get it? The spiders weren't amused. Oh well, you go squish now. I was on a mission. I would not be deterred. Once I gathered enough, I went back to my base and got to work, crafting a full set of heavy-duty iron armor and iron weapons. Now, I was ready, I hoped. On day 20 to 22, I set off, following the map to the secret lab that was no longer a secret. Seriously, can you believe they just dropped that really important map? I approached the area where the place was supposed to be, but I didn't see anything anywhere at first. But then I spotted it. It was a very well-hidden bunker lab. Without the map, I'd have never noticed it. I guess I can give them a little credit for camouflaging.
Just then, some guards came out of the bunker. I quickly ducked out of sight.
Yeah, that little green alien is really adorable.
It's too bad he won't be around after today.
I was just getting used to having the little guy around. I think I'm gonna cry.
Pull yourself together, Fred.
Hey, I have feelings too.
I'm sorry, Fred. I know what this is really about. It's about the last bagel that Jerry took.
He already had one, Megan. Who does that? A monster, that's who.
Let it out, buddy. Have a good cry.
Talk about drama. I had to get in the door. Just then, 2 more guards came out to talk to the other ones. The door was ajar. This was my chance to sneak past the guards while they sorted out their feelings or whatever that was about. Okay, I'm in. That wasn't so hard. Just gotta find out where they're holding Luno, kick booty, and get out. No biggie. I turned a corner and found myself in a cafeteria full of guards. Uh-oh, wrong turn. Everyone turned and looked at me. So how about them burgers, huh? Talk about beefy. Well, I'll see myself out.
Intruder, get that gorilla!
That was my cue to run. I ran deeper into the base. They were so shocked to see a big gorilla, they weren't ready to fight. I took them out with just a few big punches. Ooh, one of them dropped a key. I know what to do with that. I put the key in the lock of the door they were guarding. Open sesame. Luno was inside the room.
Zozo.
He was so excited to see me. He was surprised how much I had grown. I told him I was sorry for taking so long to rescue him. He was just happy to see me and told me I was very brave. What a guy. No time to lose, Luno. We gotta break you out of here. The battle is only half won. We tried to hurry and make our way out without running into anyone else, but of course that was too good to be true. The man in black cut us off and blocked us from getting any further.
I'm not the bad guy here. This is what needs to happen. Surrender, or I will have to use this.
He flashed a fancy-looking gun. The gun didn't shoot bullets. Instead, it produced a terrible, debilitating sound. I quickly equipped my noise-canceling ear protection that I picked up from the badgers. But poor Luno was spinning with confusion. No one was going to hurt my friend on my watch. I charged the man in black. I gave him a super punch and knocked him to the ground. He didn't get back up. He was out cold. Total knockout. You didn't stand a chance against these guns. Luno was still a bit disoriented, but he was okay. We rushed out of the lab and into the wilderness. The man in black never knew what hit him. On day 23 to 26, we returned to the jungle temple. I kept apologizing that I hadn't been able to stop the men in black from taking him, but he told me he didn't care, that it wasn't my fault.
Blame yourself for other actions. Do not.
I guess he had a good point. I tried my best, and sometimes bad things just happen. So, are you okay after being captured?
Heavy is my heart. Homesick.
I wish I could help. If only I could reach the moon. Wait a minute, I'm building a skyscraper sculpture. What if I build it so tall that it can reach the moon?
Great idea that is. Great friend Zozo is.
We ran over to the sculpture and continued building together. Phew, this was a huge undertaking. We definitely were going to need way more materials than we had in our stash. We would go find more supplies tomorrow. That night, as we both sat and looked up at the stars, we saw an interesting constellation. Does that make you think of anything? On days 27 to 31, I spotted a wandering trader walking by with his llama. I ran out and flagged him down. Good morning, can I see what you're selling? I am in need of a lot of andesite.
Is that so? I don't have a lot on me right now, but I'm on my way to a quarry that has tons of stuff. I often go there to ply my wares.
A huge source of materials that I can use for the skyscraper? What good luck. Thanks for that info. I'll certainly be taking a visit there.
I got other stuff though, if you want to make a trade.
I don't have any money.
That's okay. You can buy on credit and I will come collect later. It's the newest craze. Buy now, figure it out later.
That sounded good to me. I looked at his wares and saw an enchanted iron chestplate and a better helmet. I selected these items and then bid goodbye to the trader. I'd have to remember to come up with some money later. I went over to where Luno was and let him know I needed to make a journey to the quarry. I told him to wait at the base and make himself at home. I'd be back as soon as I could. Eat all the frogs and bananas you want while I'm gone. I headed out and eventually found myself wandering through the savannah. At one point, I started hearing some weird laughing around me. Back up, buddies. Trust me, you don't want a piece of me. But they clearly did want a piece of me. They didn't waste time in jumping all over me. There were so many of them, and they were fighting like there was no tomorrow. I was able to take quite a few of them out, but with so many around me, they definitely got a few good hits in. My sword proved to be strong too, but I had to give these guys some credit. They may have been smaller than me, but they really fought with a lot of heart. Unfortunately for them, it was me who ended up taking all of their hearts. Eventually, they were nothing but dust. Look who's laughing now. Actually, I feel a little bad for taking them all out, but fish gotta swim and Zozo's gotta survive. On days 32 to 35, I spotted the quarry in the distance on a mountain. As I got closer, I noticed it was pretty quiet. I didn't see any activity. Where is everybody? I poked around the quarry, searching for someone. Anyone. Finally, I came across an office. I walked in and saw a foreman sitting alone.
Well, how do you like that? It's one of them big gorillas. I'll be mine. Never seen one of your types around these parts.
I came here to get some skyscraper materials. Where is everybody?
Shoot, you're out of luck, big feller. This here quarry had done shut down. Yes, sirree. Why, this quarry used to be a real resource hoedown, but we had to shut things down because of that gosh darn monster.
Monster?
As sure as I'm standing right in front of you. There's a terrible lizard creature snatching up my workers. No one dares work here anymore. It was an HR nightmare, and if I ain't got without laborers, then I can't get no resources to sell.
Well, if I take care of that monster for you, would they work for you again?
I reckon that'd do it.
Looks like I had my next mission. Slay the lizard, get the quarry back into working order, get boatload of materials. I started searching around for the monster lizard creature. I jumped down the mountain and eventually noticed a cave opening. That seemed like a good place for a monster to hide. I crawled around the cave, following its twists and turns. Eventually, the cave opened up and there laid a giant Komodo dragon. It was snoozing. I cleared my throat. Hey, I'm Zozo. I was just popping in to ask that you don't kill any more of the workers at the quarry, because it's really bumming everyone out, and the dragon jumped at me and snapped. Whoa, I'm sure we can talk this through. Nobody has to get hurt. The dragon was not interested in negotiations. I had no choice. I had to fight back. This dragon had a mighty bite. I was striking the lizard whenever I could and dealing some major blows. But this lizard wasn't going down easy. There was a reason it had become king of the quarry. Komodo dragons had a terribly venomous bite. Thankfully, I had upgraded my armor. Otherwise, I might have fallen prey to this clever lizard's venom. The dragon chased me all around, but I could tell it was losing hearts fast. It doesn't have to be like this. You can go find another place to live. Don't make me do this. These workers just want to make a living. You don't need to keep eating them. The lizard would not listen to reason. Can't say I didn't try. With my sword drawn, I dealt the final blow. I vanquished the dragon. Ooh, and it dropped a pendant. Most importantly, I can get this quarry up and running again and get Luno back to the moon. I looked around the Komodo dragon's nest for a second to see if there was anything of interest. I didn't see anything, but then I heard a little voice.
Mama?
Oh, she was a girl dragon with a baby. My bad. This poor baby was without a mother, and it was my fault. I felt terrible. Hey there, baby dragon. I'm not gonna hurt you. I hope you can forgive me about your mom.
She wasn't my real mom. She was a really mean stepmom. Honestly, you did me a favor.
Phew, that was a relief to hear. Imagine if they had gotten along. This would have been super awkward. I told the baby that she was welcome to be my friend and to let me know if there's anything I could do for her. Then I headed out of the cave and back to the office. The baby followed at a distance. On day 36 to 39, I told the foreman that the monster had been taken care of and that the workers could come back now.
Yeah, well, ain't that just a kick in the pants? That's mighty grand. There's just one teensy-weensy problem.
Another problem?
You see, my workers ain't around no more. With no work here, they're fixing to make a new quarry of their own over yonder. But word is, that dog won't hunt. They's trapped in the middle of a newly formed lake after a big flood in that there area.
All right, point me in the direction and I'll see what I can do.
Go that way.
I stepped outside the office and saw the little dragon poke his head out from a nearby mine. I felt so bad. She didn't have anyone to care for her now, so I told her she could come with me. I hope this wasn't a fool's errand. Eventually, we came upon the lake, and sure enough, just as the foreman said, out in the middle was an island with some small houses. I crafted a boat. We sat out up across the water and soon reached the other side. Once we got on the shore, the quarry workers came out to greet us.
Are you the rescue team? We have been waiting so long. Monster! Killer monster!
Oh no, I should have realized the baby would trigger these workers. No, I took care of the monster for you. This is just a cute, harmless baby. There's no need to be alarmed. I am here to rescue you and take you back to the quarry. As I said, there's no dangerous monster anymore. You now have a safe work environment. So what do you say? Want to get out of here? The workers cheered. They were tired of being on the tiny island. I offered them my boat, but they said it wouldn't be possible because they needed to take all their equipment with them. That was quite the conundrum, but that's what I was here for, to fix all the problems. I sailed back across the lake and started chopping down a bunch of trees. Eventually, I had enough to construct a simple bridge. Before going back to the island, I found a cave and collected some cobblestone. After grabbing some of that, I decided it was a good idea for me and the baby to take a nap. We had had a really long day and would need the energy. On days 40 to 43, I started to construct the bridge out of wood and stone to get across the lake. Halfway through making the bridge though, I hit a problem. More like a problem tried to hit me. There was a shark in the water. I should be able to give this guy a nice big conk on the head. I reached down to hit the shark, but it bit me. I kept struggling to climb out of the water. I saw the shark coming for me. I'm done for. But just as it reached me, the baby Komodo swiped its tail, smacking it hard in the face. The shark turned its attention onto the baby, and she snapped her venomous mouth at the shark. It didn't stand a chance after that. Thank you for saving my life, little one. And I'm still sorry about your stepmom. She really didn't seem upset by it. By the way, do you have a name?
It's Bubblegum.
Nice. That's a cute name. I finished the bridge and made it back over to the workers.
Thanks, Mr. Zozo. We'll start heading back to the quarry with all our stuff.
That was good to hear. I hadn't expected so many bumps in the road, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Bubblegum and I got back to the quarry before the workers did, so I went to the office and let the foreman know the good news. He was so giddy that he was hooting and hollering.
We'll be up and running lickety-split. You'll be the first one to get what you need, and we'll give it to you on the house for all your troubles.
Sounded fair to me. I thanked him, and he let me know it'd be ready soon enough. On days 44 to 49, I returned back to my base with Bubblegum by my side. I told Luna about the drama and introduced Bubblegum. Then I noticed that the wandering trader was still hanging around. Hey, it took a bit of trouble, but I got things at the quarry back in order. They'll be starting production immediately. He was so happy to hear that. His line of work was no longer compromised.
You know, I have a network of other traders who could help bring the other materials over. That way you can get your stuff quicker. What do you say?
Sure, that would be great. Just let me know the cost.
Just put it on the credit.
Okay, I sure hoped I wouldn't live to regret that. Oh well. I noticed that Luna and Bubblegum were getting along really well. Hey Luna, I was thinking that Bubblegum could stay at our base. Are you okay with that? Luna loved the idea, so I started cutting out a spot to make room for Bubblegum to enjoy. Then it was time for some much needed sleep. On days
50 to 53, the first load finally arrived from the quarry. You people sure work quick. Talk about a speedy delivery.
We upgraded you to Wandering Trader Prime.
What's that going to cost me?
Don't worry about it. We'll just put it on your credit.
Okie dokie. I realized I was going to need somewhere to store all these materials. That was no problem. I built more of the skyscraper, but unfortunately, I realized the next hurdle: glass. I needed a lot of glass. This project was surely exhausting. I know what will help me figure out my problem: sleep. In the morning, I spoke with the traveling trader and asked if he had any connections to some serious glass stash.
You know, I do actually know of a glass factory, although it's some distance away.
Well, sounds like I'm due for another adventure. I'll set out now. I felt better leaving Luno alone now that Bubblegum was there to keep him company. I traveled through a few different biomes and eventually wound up at the glass factory. It felt like deja vu. I had a sneaking suspicion that this place was not in working order, just like the quarry. I entered the factory and saw that it was staffed by piglins.
You there. We have lost enough. Just leave us in peace.
I'm not here to cause you any trouble. I'm here to purchase some glass. Is there a problem with the factory?
Oh, there's a problem, all right. We've been overtaken by raiders. They told us they won't let us do any more mining for coal unless we pay them for access. But we're just piglins. How in the world are we to pay them?
That stinks.
I'm sorry, but I had Brussels sprouts for lunch. It makes me gassy.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Well, anyway, let me know how to help you. I'm pretty good these days at roughing up bad guys. Let me go have a chat with them. The piglins were excited to hear it and pointed me in the direction of the raiders. I was happy to get going because there was a really stinky smell around that piglin. I went in the direction they pointed me to and saw the mine was full of raiders. I'm ready to raid the raiders who raided the mine. No more Mr. Nice Kong. These dudes were slowing down my skyscraper production, not to mention being jerks to the piglins. I charged into the mine, muscles ablazing. I was tired of all this drama. I had a moon to get to. I didn't have patience for these punks. It's chopping time. They didn't know what hit them. I swung my sword and took out a bunch of them with ease. That's what I'm talking about. I got lower into the mines and saw diamonds all over the place. Sweet sparkles. Don't mind if I do. Is that pun getting old? I don't care. I'm just going to keep saying it. I quickly mined a bunch of diamonds and then went back to kicking some mob bum. There were a lot of them, so they got a few hits in, but these guys were like pesky fleas. Annoying, but no match for what I'd been through. Sadly, my armor was getting pretty damaged. Once at the bottom, a vindicator with hoarding the stash. So, you've been keeping the piglins out of the mine so you can have all the diamonds to yourselves. Diamonds may last forever, but your reign of terror is over. But then it came at me hard. Now I was starting to get nervous. My hearts were starting to go down. Then I got a weird idea. The vindicator was instantly drawn to it, as if he forgot all about the fight.
If it fits, I seats.
The vindicator captain was trapped. Oh, I can't believe that worked. I jumped down and landed endless blows to Vindicator. If you sits, I chop you to bits. Finally, the Vindicator was no more, and I was left the champion in the room of diamonds. I looked around the room some more and also found some chests full of gold. I can pay back the traders with this. I really had come a long way since my time on that playground. On days 58 to 62, I woke up and took a bunch of coal and diamonds and went back to the glass factory. I walked in and they all squealed with delight that I wasn't dead.
Praise coal, you weren't overtaken. Does this mean you won, or did you flee?
I'll let all this coal do the talking. I showed them some coal.
You got coal, but coal can't talk, you know. You are very strong, but you seem to have knocked a few marbles loose up in that noggin of yours.
I know, it's just a saying. Oh, never mind. Anyways, yeah, I got rid of all the raiders. Now you can go and get everything you need.
Huzzah! Now we can mine our business for free.
About that, you said you didn't have a way to pay the raiders, but why didn't you use the diamonds to pay them? Piglins seemed confused. They had no clue what I was talking about.
Oh, you mean these shiny rocks? Bless your heart. Those silly rocks are utterly useless. Yes, too hard to even craft or melt down into anything. Again, I think you might need to see a doctor soon about that head of yours.
Oh, brother. I'll just let them think what they want. They weren't the brightest bunch, but they knew how to make some good quality glass. That's all I needed them to know about. So, should I be able to get regular deliveries of glass soon? Piglins let me know that they would make sure I was their priority for sending glass to. And as a gift for helping them out, they gave me a furnace sword. It showed how much they valued coal over diamond. This sword was so cool. I thanked them for the great treasures I now possessed. I couldn't wait to show my friends what I had found. On days 63 to 66, I returned back home to my base. I had glass from the factory, and now would get regular deliveries coming from the depot very soon. I was very excited about how things were looking up. I told my friends all about my adventures fighting the den of dangerous raiders at the mine. They were both so impressed and excited to hear about it. And then I said, if you sits, you be chopped to bits.
Huh, nice one, Zozo.
Yes, that it you still have.
I decided to craft diamond armor for each of us. Once I had the armor finished, I walked out and found the wandering trader. I was excited to fix my credit score with him. Hey, I'm ready to settle my debt. He couldn't believe I had enough to pay him. I gave him a giant amount of gold, and he was super happy about it.
Finally, my wife won't be so mad at me anymore for not getting paid for my labors all the time.
With the stash of new materials I had acquired, I began to add more to the skyscraper. You know, some windows, some walls, that kind of thing. This bad boy was getting some good height to it. Luno came and admired the work I had done. He said he was lucky to have a friend that cared so much about getting him home. I knew he would do the same for me. I also know he would like and comment on my YouTube videos, and you should too. On days 67 to 70, I was on top of my skyscraper when Luno pointed to something in the sky a good distance away.
What could that be?
Oh, I think it's a bird. Wait, no, it's a plane. No,
It's the man in black! Oh no, he had found us! It'd be pretty hard not to see, I guess. I'm sure you could see it from miles away. The man in black was traveling via jetpack through the sky.
I'm sorry, but that alien must come with me. Give him up or I'll have to take him by force.
His name is Luno, and he is staying. Don't make me beat you up again.
I would like to see you try.
I jumped at him, but he flew off the skyscraper. Ugh, get over here and fight me like a man. He zoomed around me. Every time he got close, I would swat at him, but he was always just out of reach. I was running all around the skyscraper top. Then the man in black dive bombed me. Dude, I almost fell off. He dive bombed me again and I slapped him away. The next time, the man in black didn't come at me. He made a beeline for Luno instead. Luno was about to be taken. Luno! Luno held his little green hand up towards the man in black, and the man in black stopped moving in midair. The little alien had mind powers. Luno, you never told me you had special powers.
On the moon, they are not so special.
Here on this planet, we consider that a superpower. Now hold him right there, Luno. I'll finish him off. I punched the man in black's jetpack enough times that it malfunctioned, and he went plummeting to the ground. Look, he's falling. With style. We sure make a good team, Luno.
Thank you, friend. A great warrior you are. A good heart you have. A secret, I must tell you. Fell from the moon? I did not. Come here to seek help? I did. Being killed by a moon monster, my people are. In need, we are, for a champion. Told you I should have. Worried I was, that you would not accept the challenge. But now, I know you are the most brave hero. Sorry I am, for not being upfront.
Don't be sorry. I would be happy to help once we reach the moon. Thank you for being honest. Our conversation was interrupted by screaming from down below.
What happened to the MIB we should see?
On days 71 to 74, Luno and I got to the bottom of the skyscraper only to discover that the man in black was still alive. I felt kind of bad for him. Well, I felt bad until I saw he had bubblegum on a leash. The man in black managed to get his jetpack working and took off with bubblegum, leaving us shocked at the turn of events. This guy is the worst. I can't believe he survived that fall. And now he has sweet baby bubblegum. Luno and I were so sad. Why would he take her? It just didn't make sense. Did he think she was an alien? What did he want with her? I spotted something on the ground. Maybe it was part of the jetpack. It was a strange material. I didn't recognize it.
You okay there, Zozo? Sounded like there was a big fight happening.
A piglin delivery guy stopped over to check on us. Yeah, there's this jerk who's been trying to capture us, and he took off with our friend. He dropped this.
I've seen that material before. It was over in Stony Peak Mountain. Yep, definitely seen that stuff. But I don't know what it is.
There wasn't much to go on, but it was all I had, and decided to follow the clue. On days 75 to 78, I hurried and made it to the Stony Peak Mountains. It was beautiful up here. Lots of stony peaks. Imagine that. Atop the peaks, I noticed something that actually wasn't a peak. It was an observatory. Right on, that's gotta be what I'm looking for. I knew it wouldn't be a walk in the park getting up the mountain, and I was right. Mobs, mobs, mobs. Say hello to my little friend. I used my new furnace sword. I was on fire. I kept swinging and swinging, hitting them as hard as I could. Eventually, I made it out on top to the top of the mountain. The fun had just begun. I was at the observatory door, facing 2 robot guards. I don't suppose you'd just let me pass.
Turn back. You are not permitted to enter.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I came this far, so either you're gonna let me through, or I'm gonna rip your arms out of your metal sockets.
Hostile enemy detected. Annihilate.
Looks like it'll be the hard way. I dodged their weapons and got a hold of them and let it rip. Didn't take too much to disassemble these dudes. I kicked open the doors and went ape crazy. I really tore it up in the place. There were plenty more robots as I searched the many hallways, and sure, they dealt me some damage, but I managed to obliterate them. You won't be back. I fought my way to the basement, but there was no sign of bubblegum. I couldn't help but wonder if I had come here for nothing. What if my friend wasn't here? No, I had to stop that kind of talk. I still had to search to the top. On days 79 to 84, I headed for the top of the observatory. And what do you suppose? That smug man in black was waiting for me at the top. Bubblegum was in a cage next to him. Well, 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 if it isn't the man in splat. Get it? Because we tossed you off a skyscraper? I noticed there was a giant telescope pointed at the moon. Didn't anyone tell you it was rude to spy on people?
You don't know anything about me or this operation. I demand that you bring me the little green alien. I will trade you for your non-alien friend here.
Let me think about that. No. But you will give me back my Komodo dragon and leave us alone forever. And if not, well, then this conversation has got me really fired up. Let's rumble. We went head to head. This guy had all sorts of techie weapons. He knew he had to up his game against me. Clearly, he had expected this fight. We aimed, we hit, we blocked, we jumped. Why do you even want the alien? Just so you can torture him in your stupid little lab with your emotionally distraught guards? Yeah, that's right. I know all about your bagel incident. I won't let you hurt my friend.
Ugh, Fred. I'm so firing him when I get back. Listen, we aren't going to torture the aliens. I'm trying to protect it from violent animals, like you. And yes, we will study it a little, but nothing harmful. I saw that alien come down from the moon in my telescope. I've been searching for him ever since, and then you butted in.
We continued to fight, but I slowed down a bit. Hold on. We both want to help Luno. That's the alien's name, by the way. You'd know that if you were friendly for once, instead of using force to get the alien. He needs help. There's a moon monster destroying their lives, and I'm going to help stop it. We stopped fighting.
That explains a lot of what I'm seeing in my telescope. I think I had the wrong idea about you, and I think you had the wrong wrong idea about me. I'm sorry. I see now that you were looking out for the aliens, Luno's best interest. Maybe we better stop fighting each other and team up instead. What do you say?
Well, as much as I was looking forward to kicking your butt King Kong style, I guess we can let it be. Now, can you let my baby friend go, please?
Yeah, sorry. We thought she was an alien too.
You really need to get out more.
So, what was your plan to save the Lunarians?
Building that skyscraper to touch the moon. Then, I'll go to the moon and face the monster. We got Bubblegum out, and the man in black told me to return to the base and that he would be there soon. First, he needed some time to work on a tech weapon and started the trek home with Bubblegum. A jetpack would have been handy, but oh well, walking was fine. On days 85 to 89, I arrived back to the temple with the baby in tow. Luno greeted us excitedly. He couldn't believe I had found Bubblegum.
Nothing there is that you can't do. A hero you are.
I was excited to tell Luno all about the encounter with the man in black. I explained that he wasn't going to be a threat any longer, but in fact, he was going to help. Luno and Bubblegum went inside to catch up. I was lucky to have found those two. I didn't have a family, and if I really was a King Kong, it sounded like I was the only one. Family comes in many forms. There's the family you're born into, and the family you make along the way. A wandering trader interrupted my monologuing.
I've been watching you. I'm moved by how much you care for your friends. It reminds me of our good friend Johnny. Rip. He was always sticking his neck out for me and saving me from things. In his honor, I'd like to give you an upgrade, free of charge. This will make you even stronger, if you can imagine that.
I thanked him profusely. What a nice guy. I climbed up into the temple and realized I hadn't had much time for renovating the temple. I wanted it to look impressive for the man in black. I added upgrades and a lab area for the man in black, in case he needed it. It took a lot of hard work, but after a while, I was able to get everything completed. That's when I heard some shouting. Oh, what now? It was a piglin and a delivery person. They weren't in any trouble. Quite the opposite. They were excitedly letting me know that the deliveries were complete. Oh, thank you for your hard work. On day 90 to 94, I crafted the enchantment materials the trader had given me. I was able to fully enchant all my armor and gear. I was super excited about that. This armor is perfect. I was ready to finish the work on the skyscraper. I buzzed around, building it taller and taller and taller and taller. This skyscraper was truly a ridiculous height now, and it was practically out of the Earth's atmosphere. I steadily climbed to the very top of the skyscraper to see how much closer I needed to be to the moon. I realized I was having a hard time breathing. There wasn't much oxygen up here. I guess I hadn't thought about that. This could be my undoing. Just then, as if he had planned it this way, the man in black appeared beside me.
Nice work on the skyscraper, Zozo. It's looking pretty stellar. That's a word kids still use nowadays, right? At any rate, I made you the spacesuit to help you breathe out here.
Wow, I was really glad he and I were on the same team. I thanked him, and then he also gave me an item that would make me super strong.
Wait to use it until you're on the moon. With the change in gravity, it'll work really well. Just don't use it here on Earth. It hasn't been studied yet, and I don't think it'll have the same effects.
I guess that man in black wasn't so bad after all. On days 95 to 97, it was an exciting day. The skyscraper was finally complete. Now I really am king of the world. I knew that little tiny gorilla on the playground skyscraper would have been really proud of me now that I had come a long way. Pun intended. Luno joined me at the top. He was used to the atmosphere and didn't need anything special to breathe. So, what do you think?
Incredible it is. Strange to be back in space it is. I am scared to face the monster, but with you by my side, win. We will.
I told Luno to go back down to Earth and that he didn't need to come to the moon with me this time. Instead, I would let him know when it was safe again. Luno listened to me and went back down. I built a small bridge to connect the tip of the skyscraper to the moon. The bridge reminded me of how it's important to stay connected by subscribing to the channel, so we can always connect you to our exciting new adventures. On day 98, I took one small step for me, one great leap for the Lunarians. Houston, the King Kong has landed on the moon. It was so cool being on the moon. This gravity was crazy. I started to bounce around to take in my surroundings. I didn't see a single soul, but I did see a half-destroyed moon base. Something had definitely been here causing trouble. It was then that I remembered what the man in black gave me. I pulled out the strength potion and chugged it down. I could feel the power coursing through my veins. Whoa, this feels amazing. I started growing like crazy, becoming a mighty King Kong, just like the one the explorer had told me about. He was right. I did have it in me to become a great Kong. Zong Kong. Zong Zong? Either way, I was mighty. And check out my hearts. Now that's what I'm talking about. All this commotion must have gotten the attention of the moon monster though, because he came out of his hiding space next to the ruined base. Prepare to meet your match. The monster opened up its mouth and breathed lasers at me. Whoa, I didn't expect that. I then crashed into him, knocking him off balance. He continued to shoot lasers at me. Ew, those lasers are wicked hot. We rolled and brawled all over the moon. He had some really powerful attacks. They hurt and did some major damage to my health. I wouldn't have stood a chance if it wasn't for this mega strength potion I took, so I sucker punched him real hard. I opened my mouth to test out my supersized roar, but the sound waves didn't work right on the moon. Shoot, I was really hoping to use that ability. I would just have to make do with what I had. Heart counts for a lot, and I was doing this for the creatures I cared for. On day 99, the fight raged on, and I found myself losing. This beast was just too powerful, and I was sure he had advantages of being on his own turf. I was pushed towards my skyscraper. I had to make a decision. If I didn't retreat now, I could lose the battle altogether. I got onto the bridge and started destroying it as I ran across across to the skyscraper. At least I'd have the last minute to regroup and heal myself before... Oh no, the beast took a running leap and jumped onto the skyscraper. I just let this heinous creature off the moon. Oh, this was bad. This was very bad. I couldn't allow him to climb down and start destroying Earth, and it was all my fault. I fought with all my might, and I was super weak now. Things are not looking good. I think this is the end. The monster got ready to deliver his final blow when suddenly he stopped. He was frozen. I looked around. To my great relief and surprise, I saw not just Luna, but a bunch of other little aliens that looked just like him. They were using their mind powers together, bravely and triumphantly. You saved me.
Saved us, you did. Showed us bravery, you did. Help Zozo, we must. Now, finish him.
They positioned the monster on the edge of the tower, and I used all my King Kong strength to knock him into next week. He fell from the skyscraper, down, down, down to his death. We had done it, together! On day 100, we were back at the Jungle Temple.
I figure you guys might like this big telescope for my base. That way you can check in on your family super easily.
I really misjudged you, Man in Black.
You can call me Kim.
Kim, I'm really glad we're friends now. Please feel free to visit anytime you like. It was time to say goodbye to my space friend. I didn't want to tell him, but I was super sad about him leaving. He felt like family to me, but he had his real family to get home to, and I would not get in the way of that. I guess this is goodbye. I'll never forget you. We all looked up at the moon together.
I'll never forget you either, because returning home, I am not doing. I wish to stay here.
I couldn't believe my ears. I was so happy to hear he wanted to stay. It was the perfect situation, and Bubblegum was really happy to hear that Luna was staying too, and waved at the Lunarians, waving back at us. On day 1, I spawned in as Iron Man. And look, I'm not a baby. I'm all powered up. I flew around firing lasers. This was really cool. These zombies have met their match. Time to say goodbye. I blasted the zombies out of the way. They were no match for the might of Iron Man. Once they were all destroyed, I was floating over the forest, scanning the area. Suddenly, something hit me out of nowhere. What was that? I didn't see who it was, but I heard a voice.
Say goodbye to your power.
I had hit the ground, but managed to survive. But look, now I only have 5 hearts. I had to hurry and leave the area though. Whoever that was could come back. Later, as I was escaping through the forest, a group of zombies came running up to me. I know how to handle these guys, but that was when I had my suit and powers. I didn't stand a chance now. I had no choice but to run away. I can't believe someone caught me off guard. They better watch out, because I'll stop at nothing to get my power back. But that was another day, so I settled in for the night. On day 2, I woke up all alone, still feeling weak without my powers. I had to figure out who was out to get me. I've got quite the mission ahead of me. I'm going to be building and making all kinds of really cool things. But before I can do that, I need to start with the basics. I went outside and got right to work punching trees. With the wood I had collected, I then made a crafting table. Using the crafting table and my leftover wood, I made myself some wooden tools, including a sword. Time to find some lunch. I went outside and soon came across a rabbit. That's going to have to do for now. I chased it down and got its meat. I might be trapped in the wilderness with no powers, but that doesn't mean I have to eat raw meat. As I took a look around, I soon came across a village. In the middle of the village was a campfire. Let's get cooking. I laid down my rabbit meat and let it sizzle. Soon, I had some cooked meat. I took a bite and was feeling much better. Suddenly, I realized what kind of village it was. It was a pillager village. Uh-oh, time to run. Pillagers chased me, but I managed to get away without losing my life. Later that evening, I took the simple supplies I had collected to start making myself a house to stay in. If those pillagers found me, at least I would have some walls to protect me. Soon, the hut was complete, and I settled in for the night. On day 3, I awoke to a knock on the door. Who could that be? I opened the door and saw it was Captain America. Or well, I guess it was just Steve Rogers. He wasn't looking so good. Steve, what's wrong? You're not looking like your normal fit self.
I was worried something had happened to you. I see now I was right. Your friend Ironmonger is to blame for this. I was minding my own business when he suddenly came out of nowhere. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to take away all of my powers. We might not be strong enough to help him right now, but we need to hurry and warn the others he's coming for him.
That's a good point. Let's stick together while we figure this out. Steve agreed, and so we figured it would be good to start building a proper base. We did some scouting around and soon found a nice cliffside that would work perfect. I didn't have my powers, but I could still get shipments of stuff sent to me. After a bit, an express delivery with all the supplies we'd need showed up, and we got to work. Building a house on a cliff like this reminded me of my mansion in Malibu. It wasn't going to be quite like that, but I was hoping to eventually make something just as impressive. Soon, the beginning of our base was complete. Thanks for your help, Pete. We'll let you know if anything else comes up. On days 4 to 5, Steve came over to talk. He wanted to know if I knew where any other superheroes were. Sorry, buddy, I don't. I really wish I did, though.
Well, you're a pretty smart guy, right? Is there something you could invent?
I thought it was a good question, but nothing came to mind. I stared at my empty crafting table when suddenly I had an idea. Oh wait, maybe that could work. I headed out to the caves to gather the materials I would need. If I could just get everything I would need, this special item would be the perfect solution to our problem. By the time I had made it into the deepest part of the cave, I had already managed to make myself some iron gear. It was about to come in handy as I was suddenly attacked by a bunch of magma cubes. Alright, boxheads, you're just what I was looking for. I swung my sword and managed to take a few of them out. As they disappeared, they dropped some charged coal. Once the threat was taken care of, I also found some nearby palladium, which I happily mined up. Alright, that's everything I'm going to need. Let's make this special item. I soon arrived back at the house and got right to it, smelting down the palladium into ingots. I also needed a compass, which Steve gave to me. At long last, the final pieces were starting to come together.
together. I went to the crafting table and used the palladium, charged coal, and compass to make my special item, a superhero radar. Sure hope this works. Steve and I headed into another room, and I set the radar down in the center. I placed a lever on the wall and flipped it. The radar started to make a sound, and a purple line came out of it. That line is pointing us to a nearby superhero. Now we can help them. On day 6 to 8, I checked the radar again to get a clear direction of where to go. I told Steve to hang back at the base and keep an eye on the radar, just in case anyone else popped up on it. Let's go see who it's gonna be. I left the base and ran off in the direction the radar had indicated. Hopefully I could get to them in time. After a bit of traveling, I soon reached a village, but it looks like the place was abandoned. Hello? Is there anyone here?
Thought it was you stomping around.
Black Widow had come out of nowhere. Natasha, I can't believe I found you. There's no time to explain, but I need you to come with me.
Listen, I don't trust anyone that much, even you. You're gonna have to give me some kind of explanation.
Okay, Steve is back at my base, and you see neither of us have our powers anymore, so we've got to hurry to get out of here, or the same will happen to you.
Don't have your powers? Who or what did that to you?
Ironmonger! It was an answer to her question, but also an exclamation. He had popped up out of nowhere. Black Widow had sprung into action, trying to fight him off. I was still too weak though, and had to run away. Hang in there, Natasha. They continued to fight, but it was no use. Ironmonger was too quick, and managed to hit her with a special gun. He had taken away all of her special abilities.
Huh. I don't know what you two are up to, but knock it off. Go live normal lives like the ordinary people you are.
Before he could do us any more harm, we ran away. I couldn't believe he was able to do it again. On days 9 to 10, Black Widow and I arrived back at the base. We met up with Steve.
Natasha, it's good to see you. Wait, did something happen?
It was Ironmonger. I had gotten there in time, but he showed up and was able to steal her power.
Oh no, did you see where he went?
No, we had to get out of there. I hate this feeling. I've never felt so useless.
It's okay. Keep your head on straight.
I need some time to clear my head. I decided to get to work, building Natasha her own place to stay at the base. It was good to have a project to keep my mind busy. I couldn't believe I was beaten by my own friend. Soon, Natasha's room was complete. On days 11 to 12, I went to check the machine and saw there was a new signal, but this time it was different.
What is it? What does it mean?
Not 100% sure. It's a new invention that even I don't understand completely.
Well, if it's pointing to a friendly, it's worth a shot trying to save him.
Yeah, I'm not so sure, Cap. What good are we as rescuers if we can't really rescue someone? Ironmonger is just going to show up again.
You don't know that. And come on, you know there's more to this than just being the strongest.
That's certainly something coming from you. I'll see what I can find. I left the base and headed in the direction the radar was pointing. As I looked around, I felt like I wasn't seeing anything. That's when I realized I was back at the place I had crashed on day 1. Suddenly, I noticed something nearby on the ground. I picked it up. Jarvis, is that you? What are you doing out here, buddy?
Hello, sir. I'm delighted to see you have found me.
So am I. How are you?
I am here, but I am damaged. I am sorry for the loss you have suffered.
So am I, buddy. But hey, do you think you can help? You've got all that information from my suit stored in your memory, don't you?
I do. Or rather, I believe I do. My memory banks have been damaged, but it seems plausible they can be recovered. We will need to find the correct materials in order to recover it.
Sure, we can do that. I built a suit once. I can surely do it again. What's on that materials list of yours? Jarvis gave me the list of what I needed, and I headed off right away. On days 13 to 15, I arrived at some caves and headed on in to gather up the materials Jarvis had mentioned. First, I gathered up a bunch of iron, which was one of the main things I would need. Then I found some titanium, which was also going to come in handy. Alright, that should be everything I need from here. I then left the cave and found myself in a herd of cows. I took some of the cows out in order to get some leather. That was all the ingredients I was going to need. Time to get back to the base. On days 16 to 19, I made it back to the base and went into my garage. It was crafting time. I put the iron in the furnace and started smelting iron ingots. Then it was titanium's turn, which started smelting into titanium ingots. While the ores were smelting, I then opened a nearby chest and grabbed some glass I had. Then at the crafting table, I added the glass to some iron and palladium to make myself a new arc reactor. At last, power! With my new palladium arc reactor, I could start to put together a new suit. I grabbed the ingots I needed out of the furnace, then used iron, titanium, leather, and the arc reactor to make myself a chest plate. Oh yeah, here we go. With the chest plate finished, I then used the rest of my materials and made the leggings, boots, and of course, the helmet. This isn't the best suit I've ever made. In fact, it's just as good as the first one I built in a cave in the desert, but it'll be better than having nothing.
Hey, what have we got here?
Steve and Natasha had walked into the garage.
You built a new suit. It's gonna be so good for you. How did you pull it off?
It was with the help of Jarvis. I found him at the crash site. His memory is damaged, but he remembered enough to help me build the suit.
Think that's a good idea?
Do you think it's not?
No, it's great. It's just that you said Jarvis was damaged. I'd hate to see something go wrong.
I assured him that Jarvis was working well enough to help me make the suits again without putting any of us in danger. That seemed like an excuse though. Steve was probably just jealous I was getting my powers back and he wasn't. Before I could say anything else though, Natasha mentioned that she and Steve had gotten more food and stored it in the kitchen. All that crafting had made me hungry. I went over there to cook up some steak. This is going to be much better than wild rabbit, that's for sure. When the steak was ready, I scarfed it down. Delicious! I then went and started to make some more upgrades to the base. I was a man of luxury, so I decided the house needed a swimming pool. I picked a good spot and got the thing installed. All this building has given me an idea for one more big project. I headed out and got to work building a statue. These were dark times, and there was always one thing that could be a light in the darkness. Let me know what you think I'm building. Soon, the first part was complete. On days 20 to 22, I heard a notification go off on the radar, telling me another superhero had been found. I went and told Steve and Natasha the good news. They both wanted to come with to find who it was, but I told them it might be good for just me to go, given that I was the only one who had regained any of my power. As I put my suit on, I saw my health increase to 8 hearts. I was also stronger and had a flamethrower attack. It was time to help our fellow superhero. As I got closer to the place the radar was pointing me to, I saw a large tower in the middle of the forest. I knew just who I would find inside. As I reached the top, I could see Dr. Strange was there. "Steven, be on your guard. Ironmonger is running around stealing everyone's power."
What?
He immediately got ready to fight. It was just in time too, as Ironmonger came flying over, firing down on us.
The good doctor. I think you've got just what I'm looking for.
Dr. Strange was ready though, and he started to put up a good fight. Ironmonger was going to have a much harder fight this time. I may have spoke too soon though, as Ironmonger managed to land a hard hit, knocking out Dr. Strange. Ironmonger lifted his weapon and started draining Dr. Strange's power. I had to do something. Oh no you don't. Even though I wasn't super strong, I charged in and managed to stop Ironmonger from taking all the power. Problem was, he was now focused on me. Dr. Strange was back in the fight though, and together we put up a good fight. In the end, we managed to hurt Ironmonger enough that he backed down.
This isn't the last you've seen of me.
He flew off. Steven, are you okay?
I still have some of my powers, but I'm definitely weaker than before. I need to go rest.
Dr. Strange opened a portal and walked through it. Well, that was a quick exit, but at least we could stop him from losing everything. I better get back to the base and see who else we can help. On days 23 to 26, I was on my way back to the base when Jarvis piped up with some helpful information.
Sir, my sensors are indicating a lot of silver nearby. I think that could help.
Jarvis then told me what direction to go, and I headed there right away. As I arrived at the location he was sending me to, I didn't see anything. Are you sure this is the right place? There doesn't seem to be anything here.
The silver may be beneath something, but I am 99% sure it is here.
Well, guess I better start breaking blocks. I started breaking things as I looked around and soon saw an entrance to a dungeon. What is this all about? As I went deeper into the dungeon, I ran into a bunch of piglins. You piggies better watch out. That's when I noticed that they had all kinds of materials stored down here. Hope you guys don't mind if I use some of this stuff. As I fought my way through the gang of piglins, I noticed that they dropped silver ingots.
There, sir. The silver I was detecting.
I happily picked the silver up and continued to fight the piglins. There were hoglins around as well, and they were a tough challenge. But I was up for the fight and soon made it to the dungeon's boss, a piglin brute with armor. You look strong, but I'm stronger. It turned out I was right. The piglin brute was really strong after all. He knocked me back, but I stayed in the fight. He wasn't going to get the better of me. After a long fight, I finally took him out. He didn't drop anything. But look, a chest. I went over to the chest, which was filled with silver. This should be more than enough. I hurried back out of the cave. On days 27 to 31, I arrived back at my base. I met back up with the team to tell them the good news. Guys, I was able to find Dr. Strange, and together we were able to fight off Ironmonger. Dr. Strange was weakened, but he was able to keep his powers. Everyone was really excited to hear the good news and couldn't believe Ironmonger had shown up again. Everyone, that is, except Steve.
He kept his powers, huh? Well, good for him, I guess.
I didn't know why Steve wasn't excited like everyone else. He really must be jealous someone else got to keep their powers. I left the room and went to work on a new set of armor. With all the new silver I'd collected, I was going to be able to build an even better suit. I took my time making each set, and soon I had a full set of Iron Man Mark II armor. Oh yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. With my new suit on, I noticed I had more health than before. I still couldn't fly yet, but I could jump a little higher and felt stronger too. I showed it off to the gang, and everyone was really impressed. If I kept finding more materials, I would be back to full strength in no time. I had to find more materials. On days 32 to 35, I decided to see what else Jarvis could find for me. I'm thinking of adding some more weapons to the suit. What do you think it can handle?
Scans show it is not strong enough to handle your repulsor cannon, but there is something else that might work. We'll have to travel far away, but I believe it will be worth it.
Show me the way. Jarvis explained the way to go, and eventually we made it to an entirely new biome. Alright, Jarvis, what direction?
Down, sir.
It looked like it was time to dig. I think I knew what he had in mind. I kept digging and soon made it into a magma chamber. Let me guess, we need some lava.
No, sir. We're searching for a very specific mob. It should be here.
I started to explore. Could you tell me what I'm looking for? Just then, I almost ran into a monster. It was a mutant blaze. Yikes! Thanks for the warning.
Sorry, sir, but my sensors aren't quite as sharp down here.
The mutant blaze's fire attacks were strong, but my new armor was doing its job. I was taking much less damage than I normally would have. I'm gonna put you out, Firehead. I kept on swinging, and at long last, defeated the blaze. As he disappeared, I saw he had dropped a blaze core.
The blaze core? That is just what we need, sir.
On days 36
36 to 39, I made it out of the hole and headed back towards the base. As I arrived back at the base, I went to the crafting area and got right to work on the new suit attachment. Using the blaze core, I was able to make myself a flamethrower. Oh yeah, I'm starting to heat up now. I called the others over and showed them my new toy.
Whoa, that new flamethrower is so hot right now.
Natasha was really excited about it, but Steve less so. No surprise there, he was just jealous. On days 40 to 43, I heard the power detector going off again. It must have found another superhero. Maybe with my new gear, I can even defeat Ironmonger this time. I let the others know that I would head out by myself again. Until they could get their powers, it just didn't make sense to put them in harm's way. I would handle everything. I set off in search of the superhero, and soon found myself in a thick forest. Hello, is there anyone around here? I kept shouting and looking around, but couldn't find anyone. All I saw were a bunch of bats flying around. Suddenly, they attacked me. What the? Get away from me! Using my new attacks, I managed to fight off the bats, but then I was attacked by some wolves. This forest is crazy. What's going on around here? The wolves snapped their teeth and swung their claws, but I was able to keep them away and knock them out. I still don't see anyone, but it's starting to get late. I better build a shelter for the night. I soon found a nice clearing and got right to work building a shelter. After a bit, my camp was set up. Time to get some sleep. I'll keep looking in the morning. On days 44 to 49, I woke up in the middle of the night to a rumbling sound. What was that? I ran outside and saw there was a huge castle that had appeared out of nowhere. Well, nothing else to do but take a look. I ran into the castle and was suddenly attacked by a whole bunch of spooky mobs. There were bats and all kinds of skeleton creatures. I had to fight for my life. Back off, you undead creatures. You'll never take me alive. I kept fighting my way through the castle until finally I saw something different than the mobs. It was Blade. Blade, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? I've tracked a vampire to this castle and I'm so close to finally beating him.
I've come to warn you. Ironmonger is going around stealing power from superheroes. You've got to get out of here.
Thanks for the warning, but I've come too far to quit. I don't see Ironmonger anywhere, so I think I have time to finish my mission.
Well, let me help. Together we can get it done even faster. We soon noticed a coffin and walked up to it to take a look. We opened it, but it was a trap.
Oh no, what is this? I can't move.
Me either. Jarvis, clear this gas out of my suit. Jarvis got right to work, but he wasn't quick enough. Ironmonger had shown up.
Huh, stay still. This won't hurt at all.
Ironmonger used a special item and was able to take away Blade's powers. Jarvis had just cleared the gas from my suit though, and I was ready to fight.
I thought I told you to keep out of this.
Ironmonger didn't stick around to fight me, but instead released the vampire before flying away. Without his powers, Blade was in for a real fight. Come on, Blade, I'll help you. Blade and I got to work swinging at the vampire. Even without his powers, Blade was a good fighter, getting lots of hits in. He wasn't good enough though, and the vampire was able to really hurt him. You'll pay for that! I started attacking him even more than before and could tell I was starting to win. When he was at his weakest, Blade jumped forward and knocked him out with a stake for good.
Thanks for your help. I couldn't have done this without you. Here, take this stake. You never know when it could come in handy.
Thanks. I'll be sure to keep it close. I'm sorry about your powers. How about you come back to my base with me and we can figure this out?
That sounds like just what I need right now.
On days 50 to 53, Blade and I returned to the base. Then we met up with Natasha and told her what had happened.
I'm sorry to hear it didn't work out this time. It sounds like he's getting smarter.
I'm sorry too. But hey, where's Steve?
Oh, he said he had some errands to run and left. He didn't tell me what those errands were.
That's odd. Just then, Steve came back to the base.
Sorry about that. I was just collecting some more materials to upgrade the base. I thought you could use some new materials for our new guest.
That was a fair point. He was right, too. Blade needed a place to stay. Using some of the materials Steve had gathered, I was able to put together a room for Blade. Steve had also mentioned wanting a training room, so I got to work on that. Just because they had lost their powers didn't mean they couldn't stay in shape. Soon, everything was complete. On days 54 to 57, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. I decided I needed to talk to Natasha in private. Hey, I wanted to ask, has Steve been acting strange to you?
Now that you mention it, he has. I haven't seen him do anything strange specifically, but he doesn't seem like he's been his normal self. I usually try and let people just do their own thing.
You see, the thing is, Ironmonger always seems to show up right around the same time I do. I'm not saying Steve is somehow tipping him off, but I want to be sure he's not involved.
Say no more. The next time you guys go, I'll keep an eye on him. That would be strange, but we'll feel better if we can rule it out.
Thanks, Nat. I appreciate it. I then reached out to Jarvis to help with the next stage of rigging up the superpower detector. If Steve was really tricking us, I needed to get the super detector to trick him. Jarvis said he knew what I needed to get, but there were some special items I needed to collect first. Let's get exploring. On days 58 to 62, Jarvis led me to a cave that was filled with spiders. I was pretty strong at this point, and these spiders were no match for me. I easily knocked them out of the way. Aha! There's the gold ore you wanted me to get. I quickly mined up all the gold I needed, then hurried back to the base. There, I crafted some special wiring out of gold and took it to the superpower detector. After I attached the new wiring, the detector started to go off. Everyone came running into the room. The detector found another super. Hang tight, guys. I'll go get them and help them out. Everyone agreed, and as I went to leave, I gave Natasha a nod to let her know the plan was on. She nodded back. I soon reached a mountaintop where the detector was pointing me to. Of course, no one was here, but I needed to put on a good show. Oh, hey, Thor. I can't believe you're here. Just then, Ironmonger popped out.
Aha! Huh?
I was ready for him and gave him a good hit.
What the? There's no Thor here. I can't believe I've been betrayed and tricked like this.
What do you mean betrayed? How did you know I would be here?
I've said too much.
Ironmonger flew away. Something was definitely going on. I hurried back to the base. As I arrived, I could see Natasha was waiting for me.
You're not gonna believe this.
What happened?
After you left, I followed Steve just like you asked. Once he had gotten far enough away from the base, I saw him pull out a communication device. I got close enough to hear who he was talking to. It was Ironmonger.
You're right. I can't believe this. We've got to confront him right away. On days 63 to 66, I headed into the base to find Steve. I soon found him.
Hey, you weren't gone for very long. Did you find anyone?
There was no one there, but you probably already knew that.
What do you mean? How could I have known that?
Because you've been in contact with your friend, Ironmonger. Give it up, Steve. We know.
You don't know anything.
Just then, Steve started to transform. Suddenly, Steve was gone, and Mandarin was standing there. Mandarin! So it's been you all along. I should have known it was someone evil trying to trick us.
Well, you just aren't very smart, are you? You've been leading us as superheroes this entire time.
What do you want with us?
I've been absorbing all of the powers. Soon, you'll be unable to stop me. I was hoping I could wait for you to build another supersuit so I could steal its powers too, but no matter. You'd never stop me.
I leapt forward to attack him, but he was right. He was really strong. He knocked me out of the way and was able to escape. He wasn't fully powered up yet, but if he was this strong already, we were going to be in real trouble. On days 67 to 70, I went to talk to Natasha and Blade. I couldn't believe I had been tricked. I apologized to them for leading Mandarin right to them.
Don't worry about it. You were trying your best. Now that we know who we're really up against, we have a better chance of stopping him.
Thanks, Nat. I appreciate the support. And speaking of support, I appreciate all of you watching too. After this video, search for more Zozo. Z-O-Z-O.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've managed to repair my memory banks and unlocked a new design for another part of the suit.
Oh, that's great news. What do we need to build it?
It looks like we'll be needing some diamonds, but I'm not detecting any on my scanner.
You need diamonds? I haven't seen any underground, but while I was tracking the vampire, I stayed in a village full of them. I'll tell you where to go.
Blade explained where the village was, and I set off to find it. I soon arrived and saw that Blade wasn't lying. There were diamonds everywhere here. The villagers had all kinds of diamond tools and armor. Hey there, nice armor. Do you guys have any extra diamonds you could spare?
I might have some, but I can't just give you them for free.
That's understandable. How much do they cost?
You know, we've had quite a bit of a problem here, and if you can solve that problem, I'll give you everything we can spare.
Sounds like it must be a pretty big problem then.
Yeah, there's a monster that has started living in our diamond mine, and we haven't been able to go in there for weeks. Take care of that monster for us, and we'll give you our spare diamonds.
Okay, I'll do it. Tell me where to go. On days 71 to 74, I arrived at the diamond mine, but the place looked abandoned. I guess the monster really cleared this place out. Better see what I can find. I went into the cave, but didn't see any diamonds. I didn't see anything for that matter. The place was super dark. As I went deeper into the mine, I placed torches to help me see. The mine kept going deeper and deeper. I was starting to wonder if it would ever end. At long last, I reached what seemed to be the final room. There's nothing here. Maybe the monster left or something. Just then, I noticed that the torches I had placed along the wall were starting to go out. One by one, they broke, getting closer and closer to me. Suddenly, the vampire from before appeared. What? I thought we defeated you. The vampire smirked and then attacked. He was even stronger than before, and this time he had some tricks up his sleeve too. He burst into a ball of smoke, summoning a group of bats. What in the world? This is crazy! The vampire had disappeared. I had to defeat these bats. I ran around trying to cut down as many as I could. Suddenly, I felt a hit. The vampire had reappeared. Get out of here, Dracula! I still couldn't believe this guy was still around, but I guess it's true. Vampires can never really be defeated. That's when I remembered. The stake! The vampire was getting weak now, and it was time to finish him off. I grabbed my stake and hit him, finishing him off. He would be back eventually, but at least I could get my diamonds in the meantime. I hurried back into the village and met up with the villager. It's done! The monster is gone. Now let's see about those diamonds.
Amazing! You saved us! Here, you can have everything we have to spare.
The villager tossed out a single diamond. I gave him a look. I thought you said you were going to give me all the diamonds you have to spare.
I did. We only have one diamond to spare.
Jarvis piped up.
That should be all we need, sir.
Thanks. Well, here, you guys might need this. I tossed him the stake and headed off, back to the base. On day 75 to 78, I arrived back at the base. It was time to make what Jarvis had remembered. As I went to the crafting table, Jarvis told me what I needed to do to craft a new repulsor. It wasn't my full suit, but at least it was a stronger weapon than before. Just then, Natasha came into the room.
You You've got your repulsor up and running? That's great.
Yeah, problem is, I don't know where to go to find Ironmonger or Mandarin.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. When I heard Steve, or I guess Mandarin, talking to Ironmonger, I thought I could hear some machines in the background.
Blade came into the room.
Machines? There's a factory not too far from here. Maybe he's hiding out in there.
It's worth a shot. I'm not sure where else to look. They all agreed, and I decided that before I would leave, I would go ahead and finish the statue. It took a lot of hard work to get it done, but I soon had it all finished in no time. So what do you guys think? Did you guess what it was correctly? On days 79 to 84, I soon arrived at the factory Blade had told me about. I'm not sure if this is right, but we'll find out. As I got closer, I was suddenly attacked by a group of zombies. If there were zombies around here, there was a good chance Ironmonger or Mandarin were around too. I managed to fight through the wave, but avoided using my repulsor. In case Ironmonger was watching, I didn't want him to know I had it. Soon, all of the zombies were defeated. On days 85 to 89, I entered into the base. That's when I saw Ironmonger standing amongst a bunch of zombies trapped in cases of liquid. What are you doing?
I knew you would show up here eventually. I'm doing what needs to be done. You superheroes think you can just do whatever you want. Zombies can be controlled, so I'm taking your powers and giving them to them. Then I will control all the powers on Earth.
Oh, I see. You don't want to stop superpowers. You just want to be in charge of them yourself. I won't let you get away with this.
Huh. You've been trying to stop me this entire time and have never beat me. Today, I will finish you for good.
We'll see about that. Ironmonger flew up in the air as a door opened, letting zombies into the room. There were a ton of them. Uh-oh, I better take care of these first. I ran around the room trying to take out as many zombies as I could. This was a tough fight with so many things going on at once. I had to defeat Ironmonger though. My friends were going to need all of their powers back. Where is Mandarin hiding?
You'll never find him, because you'll never leave here.
Ironmonger and I were now fighting each other directly, and it was getting intense. He hadn't expected all of my upgrades though, and I was really hurting him.
How did you get so strong? I thought I took everything away from you.
A suit isn't a brain, and that's what's going to defeat you. I fired my repulsor at him and took him out for good. As he disappeared, I saw he had dropped some unique parts, which I picked up.
Sir, we can use these materials to remake your strongest suit.
Yes! Now we just need to find Mandarin and get everyone's powers back. Let's do this! On days 90 to 94, I made it back to the base. I ran right over to Natasha and Blade to tell them the good news. I was able to defeat Ironmonger. The bad news is that he was trying to inject zombies with your powers.
That's horrible. It's a good thing you beat him, though.
Speaking of, any way to get our powers back?
Before I left, I saw he had some kind of machine that must be storing your powers. If you guys go there, you may be able to get them back.
Right on. Thanks for all of your help.
You've got it. Now I've got to get to work returning to my final form. I rushed over to the garage as the others set off for the factory. Using the materials Ironmonger had dropped, I got to work building my final Mark III version of my armor. After a lot of hard work, my armor was restored. Yes, it's going to feel so good to fly again. I ran up the stairs of the house and over to a balcony. Here we go. I jumped off and nothing happened. I landed in the water below. Jarvis, what's going on?
Sorry, sir, but while your suit has been restored, the flying capabilities still need some repairs.
Don't you think you could have told me that before I jumped off the cliff?
My apologies, sir.
It's okay, no harm done. Now where do we need to go? On days 95 to 97, Jarvis instructed me that we would be heading to the Nether, so I got to work building a Nether portal. I hadn't been able to get a diamond pickaxe, so I had to get creative. By using lava and some water, I managed to fashion a Nether portal together. It took a bit to get it all done, but soon I had my own Nether portal ready to go. Alright, Jarvis, show me the way. I stepped into the portal and soon found myself in the Nether. This place always gives me the creeps. Let's make this quick. There was some quartz nearby, so I quickly ran over to it and mined it up. Luckily, that was all I needed, so with my pockets full, I jumped back into the portal. Back in the garage, I got right to work, crafting the flight module. It didn't take too long, and soon, it was all complete. I walked back towards the cliff, jumped off, and it worked. Yahoo! I'm a flying man once again. I took some time flying around, feeling good that I was finally powered up. Just then, Jarvis delivered some interesting news.
Sir, the superhero detector at the base is going off. The signals are off the charts.
I hurried back to the base and went into the detector room. The machine was going crazy. The signal is way too strong for it to be Natasha and Blade getting their powers back. Mandarin must be up to something. It was time to take him down. On day 98, I headed off in the direction the detector was pointing. Not too much later, I saw a giant base rising out of the ground. This has to be Mandarin's base. Just then, I was attacked by a bunch of zombies. Oh no, he must be trying to do the same thing Ironmonger was. I've got to get to him, and quick. I was so strong that I knocked the zombies out of the way, no problem. But there was still a lot of them. I also couldn't help but notice some of them were stronger than others. I had to hurry and get to the top. Out of the way, zombros. I kept firing my repulsor cannon until at long last, all of the zombies were defeated. I ran over to the stairs and started heading up to the top. As I got close, I passed a sign in the distance. Oh, subscribe! You should do that right now. And once this adventure is over, go look up some more of my other ones. Just search Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, to find them. On day 99, I reached the top of the tower and saw Mandarin floating in the sky. Wait, how are you floating?
Impressive, isn't it? You're too late. I've absorbed your friend's powers, and now you'll never be able to defeat me.
No, I don't believe it. I'm going to knock their powers out of you.
Bring it on, rich boy.
Mandarin started firing energy blasts at me, causing some big explosions. I returned fire, launching attacks with my repulsor cannon. I had to be careful though. Getting caught in those explosions really hurt.
The time of the superheroes is over, and the time of the supervillain has begun.
I managed to get a hit in with my repulsor, which stopped his monologue. But suddenly, a bunch of yellow smoke appeared, and Mandarin was gone. Where did he go?
Looking for me?
Mandarin reappeared, launching more energy blasts. He could teleport now. This wasn't looking good. I had started to fly around, but this was tough. I was hanging in there, but I didn't know how long I could last.
What's wrong? Am I too strong? Let me make this easier for you and finish this.
There was another plume of yellow smoke, and Mandarin copied himself. I was getting attacked from all sides. Oh no, he's too strong! I was taking out some of his clones, but there was no way I could keep this up. I finally took out the clones, but took a heavy hit. One more hit, and it was all done for me. I removed my mask.
I'm going to enjoy this. You have been a thorn in my side for too long.
Suddenly, a portal opened, and all of my friends came running through, including Dr. Strange and Captain America.
Thought I ought to pay you back. This guy stole my face. That's America's face, not his.
We were able to get our powers back.
All thanks to you. Now let's return the favor.
Well, aren't we all just one big happy family? Well, you're too late. I'm not just as strong as all of you. I'm stronger.
Mandarin cloned himself again, and we all started to fight. It was on now. He was still strong, but there was no way he could take us all down, because even though we might be equal in power, we had something he didn't. Friendship.
No, it can't be. How can I be losing?
We had defeated all of his clones and surrounded him in the center of the platform. Well, thanks for playing. Tell Ironmonger we say hello.
No!
I blasted him with my repulsor, destroying him for good. My friends and I all gathered together. Steve, I was wondering what had happened to you. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, the doctor here came and found me. By the time we met up with the other two, they had just gotten their powers. We came here right away.
Just in time, too. Suddenly, another portal opened, and Hulk came through. Wait a second, this isn't where I was trying to go. Where's Abomination? Uh-oh, that Hulk sounds like me. Looks like me from another video somehow wound up here. Can you help him get back? After this video is over, go watch my Hulk video. On day 100, we had all arrived back at the base. The world was safe once again, and everyone had their powers. But we would stay vigilant and keep an eye out. You never know when trouble could strike again.